the ladder to heaven, right? So that's how it is. Son-in-law, don't let your mind wander anymore. We will have you and my 3 daughters in the future until let them down. Dad, don't worry, I will never let them down. Oxian didn't expect that he had such good luck. Although he almost died, he was able to get 3 sisters as wives as soon as he logged in. God was kind to him. Next is eating, drinking and chatting. It took a full 3 hours to finish. This time Huaxian was drunk. The cultivation level of the 10th level of the Evolver is completely unable to withstand the strong alcohol. Fell drunk on the table. Daughter, what are you doing standing there? Why don't you take your son-in-law to rest? Okay, Mom and Dad. The 3 sisters helped Huaxian leave. When they arrived in the living room, the 3 sisters became entangled. My 2 sisters, I am the first one to approve of my husband. It's not too much to let him stay at my place tonight, said Enyao. His expression was serious, leaving no room for negotiation. Yuan Seal and Diana smiled bitterly and could only give up and said, okay, the husband is yours tonight. Sister, you must take down your husband while he's drunk. Hey, sister, what are you talking about? I'm ignoring you. After saying this shyly, she trotted back to the room holding Huaxian. Ding dong. He shut the door heavily. Yuan Seal asked, Sister, do you think my sister will do something to her husband? Have no idea. Sister, would you like to guess? Anzu asked with great curiosity. Most likely. After all, my husband is so outstanding. He has cultivated to the 10th level of Evolver in just a few hours. If it were me, I would definitely seize the opportunity to become my husband's woman. Oh, what a pity that my husband's virginity was taken away by his younger sister. Yuan Seal said regretfully. Anna rolled her eyes and said, Men, do you think you are the same as us women? Go and have a rest. Sister, how about my husband being mine tomorrow? Let's talk about tomorrow's matters tomorrow. Anna said and left quickly. In Enyao's room, she put Huaxian on the bed, looked at the unconscious Huaxian with a flushed face, and considered whether to take action. After hesitating for a long time, Enyao took the risk and muttered, Hubby, you said I was naked today, is it okay for me to take a look? As he spoke, his heartbeat quickened, and he nervously undressed Huaxian, then slowly took him off. When I saw Huaxian's muscular body, my eyes lit up and I almost drooled. Although the power is restrained, the sense of physical strength is still there. In short, the visual impact is very strong. After Enyao reacted, he looked at Huaxian's pants and became a little eager to get involved in the mystery. I closed my eyes and struggled for a while. I comforted myself by saying, Lucky star, you are my husband, so whatever I do to you is not excessive, right? As she spoke, she placed her delicate hands on Huaxian's trousers and took them off bit by bit. When only the waistband was left, the mysterious outline made Enyao open his mouth in shock. Gurgle. I couldn't help swallowing, and I was a little out of my mind and couldn't control the mysterious temptation anymore. When Huaxian was naked, Enyao's face was already red. He heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Huaxian, who was still drunk and unconscious. Then, a long time later, Huaxian let out a strange cry and came to his senses a little. Enyao was so scared that he almost fell off him. As if he had done something bad and was afraid of being discovered, he stared at Huaxian's face nervously. Finding that Huaxian showed no signs of waking up, he breathed a sigh of relief and continued doing what he wanted to do. At this time, Huaxian narrowed his eyes into a tiny slit and looked at Enyao, who was busy and nervous. It's funny inside, and it feels really good. Chapter 838, Sister, what do you think we should do? The next day, Huaxian woke up early. Enyao was busy for a long time last night and was very tired, so he hasn't woken up yet. Huaxian lifted the quilt and looked at her seductive body, and suddenly became aroused. He turned over and pressed on him. Enyao wakes up screaming. Look at Huaxian. The latter grinned, showed no mercy at all, and attacked aggressively. The battle was over in more than an hour. Huaxian felt bitter in his ear. This physique was suppressed and his body was completely broken. Fortunately, Enyao was taken down. Husband? Love you. I love you too. After a while of being affectionate, the two got up. Sister, husband, the food is getting cold, and you finally got up. Enzu shouted. Noticing Enyao's odd posture, a look of envy flashed in his eyes. Honey, let's go eat, Enyao said shyly. The main thing is that I noticed my sister's gaze and looked at places I shouldn't look at. It was too embarrassing. At dinner, Huaxian asked, Where are my wifey Yuan Seal, my parents, and my wifey Anna? Dad went hunting, Mom is working in the fields, and sister went to look for wild vegetables. I will stay at home and wait for you, or I will go out to look for wild vegetables too. And we will also look for wild vegetables. Okay. The 3 of them went out. Yuan Yao, Yuan Zhu, and Da Fuxing. Hello? Hello, man. Hello. Auntie? Huaxian also greeted him. Soon we arrived at the end of the village. At this time, a sexy woman walked out of the house. Hello, widow? Yuan Yao. Yuan Zhu, hello, who is he? And widow? What were you doing yesterday? He is our husband. Wow, it turns out you all have husbands. So handsome. Handsome boy, may he know your name? The widow asked Hu Xian with a seductive look. Yuan Seal rolled her eyes and said, Widow, don't try to get our husband, you don't stand a chance. As a widow, what else can I do except to take advantage of other people's husbands? By the way, you guys should go pick wild vegetables too. Let's go together. No, you go first. You're so stingy. If I had a husband, you could borrow my house to sleep with me for a night without any problem. Look how you're still on guard against me. After saying that, he strode away. The way he walked was swaying, which made Hu Xian's eyes widen. Honey, what are you looking at? An Yao asked. I didn't see anything. Let's go find Anna. Hubby, don't set your sights on a widow, I tell you. She is a jinx. She has had 5 husbands, and all of them were killed by her, so you'd better stay away from her. I know, I have the 3 of you, how can I be fooled by her? Just rest assured. Soon, we moved away from the village and arrived at the basin behind the mountain. From a distance, you can see some people digging wild vegetables. Sister, where are you? An Yao called Edie and asked. Inside the basin. Why are you here? Is your husband here too? Well, it's my husband who is anxious to come and see you. Then come here quickly. Hubby, my sister is deep in the basin, let's go there quickly. The 2 men, one on the left and one on the right, pulled Hu Xian and ran away. Hu Xian discovered that those who dug wild vegetables were all women. And most of them were young girls. They all looked at Hu Xian curiously. Some people also flirted with Hu Xian and tried to seduce him in various ways. There's a snake. Suddenly, a girl screamed. An Yao said disapprovingly. It's just a snake, what's there to be afraid of? Look, what a big snake. More people screamed in panic. Only then did Hu Xian and the others turn around and look over. Sure enough, a python as thick as a bucket exuded a fascinating aura. Hu Xian's expression became serious. This python was at least at the 30th level of Evolver. Help! The python attacked the first girl who screamed. Step into the air. Hu Xian performed the air step. Although he could not fly in this world, he could burst out with extremely fast speed. Approach the girl and knock her down before she is swallowed by the python. At the same time, burst out with all your strength. Roar! A roar! This scene shocked the whole audience. Everyone was worried for Hu Xian. After all, his explosive strength is nothing in front of this giant python. In fact, most of them are better than Hu Xian. So, they all thought that Hu Xian was finished. However, the next second, a look of fear flashed in the giant python's eyes, and it turned around and left quickly. Yeah, victory. My husband won. Thank you, benefactor, for saving me. The women at the scene gathered around. Husband, aren't you afraid? An Yao asked with lingering fear. Hu Xian pointed at his clothes and said, Can't you see that my clothes are soaked with sweat? To be honest, I almost peed myself. Hu Xian didn't pretend to be cool. His powerful strength was gone now. Just now, when facing the giant python, he had a feeling that if the giant python attacked him, he would most likely be dead. Fortunately, he made the right bet. Although his powerful strength has not been sealed, the dragon blood in his body is still there. The reason why he roared with all his strength just now was to activate even a little bit of dragon blood and scare away the giant python. Judging from the fear in the giant python's eyes when it retreated, the dragon bloodline should still have some effect. Hero, you are so brave as long as you are willing. I, Xian, am always ready to marry you. Me too. Yuan Hong. Me too, Anya. The girls around expressed their opinions one after another. Those married women are very envious. Who wouldn't like such an outstanding and brave man? My lucky star, although I am a widow and have a bad reputation, I will be yours as long as you are willing. Hey, how can you do this? My husband saved you, and you still want to occupy our husband. Hubby, let's go. An Yao said this in a hurry, then pulled Hu Xian away. You're so stingy. Man, we are all from the same village, so what's wrong with sharing? That's right. These 3 sisters want to monopolize such an outstanding man. They are just dreaming. He must find a way to become his woman. I didn't run far. Anna came running over breathlessly, carrying a half basket of wild vegetables. Sister, husband. What happened just now? Sister, you don't know. Just now there was a super huge python, which felt more powerful than the village chief, and almost ate 10 Xian. Fortunately, our husband was so brave that he saved her and scared away the python. However, those people saw that our husband was excellent, so they all wanted to take advantage of him. Sister, what do you say we should do? Chapter 839, Wolf King. What else can we do? We are all from the same village. There is nothing we can do. It depends on our husband's self-control. Uxian smiled and said, don't worry. Ladies, as long as you don't speak up, I will never give in. Hubby. I know you're the best, I love you. Enyao hugged Uxian and kissed him fiercely. Seeing Yuan Seal and Diana, who had never experienced sex, their faces turned red. Okay, let's pick some wild vegetables. Our family's financial situation is not good, and we have to go to the market tomorrow, Anna said. Okay. Let's go pick wild vegetables, husband, let's go pick wild vegetables together. Okay. For Huxian, it was also a pleasure to have three beauties accompany him in digging wild vegetables. Although they are all ordinary beauties, their purity and elegance are really rare. Huxian dug for a while and said, wives, there are so few wild vegetables here. Husband, there are people coming here every day to dig. Of course there are few wild vegetables. Fortunately, this basin is big enough. Otherwise we would have run out of wild vegetables to dig. Enyao said. Is that so? Then I'll go look for it. After Huxian finished speaking, he randomly chose a direction and walked away. Honey, we just dug up some vegetables from there recently. So there aren't many wild vegetables there, Enyao shouted. It's okay, I'll just look around. I think my husband just wants to be lazy and doesn't want to dig wild vegetables. Hey, stop talking. Picking wild vegetables is for us women to sleep with. It's only for men. It's good enough that my husband can come. Huxian came to a distance and saw that there was no one around. He squatted down, found a small wild vegetable and asked, hey, there are a lot of wild vegetables here and there. TSK. I won't tell you, I will never let you threaten my companions. On the main leaf of the small wild vegetable, there was a human face that only Huxian could see. Huxian discovered that this ability to communicate with all things is of great use in this world. After all, now that he no longer has a system, any ability he has is his golden finger. If you don't tell me, I will uproot you and leave you no chance to regenerate, Huxian threatened. You are so vicious. But even if I tell you, you will uproot my people. I promise that when I dig wild vegetables later, I will not harm the roots of your people, so that they can all grow in a cycle. How about that? How can I trust you? If you can't even trust me, who else can you trust? After waiting for a while, Ikai said, okay, I'll believe you this time. Hey, Xiao Yike. You can't trust him. You will kill your people if you do this. That's right, Xiao Yike. You must not speak. Everything around persuaded. Huxian said gloomily, if you keep doing this, I will add some fuel to the fire and burn you to ashes. Hearing this, the creatures immediately shut up. Xiao Yike said, go over there, about 30 kilometers away, there is a small ravine with a lot of wild vegetables. I am the seed of the wild vegetables, which was eaten by the mountain sparrows and grew here. Huxian nodded and said, okay, then I will believe you. So I sat there and rested for a quarter of an hour. Then he returned. Wives, how's the digging going? Honey, how is it? Have you found any wild vegetables? Enyao asked. Found it, there are still many. TSK, we've already dug over there. How could there be anything there? It's good enough that you can find wild vegetable seedlings, Enzu said in disbelief. I am your husband. Why would I lie to you? If you don't believe me, follow me. Huxian said this seriously, then turned and left. The three of them looked at each other. Let's go and take a look with our husband. It won't take much time anyway, said Anna. Okay, let's go check it out. The three of them followed Huxian. Those people who were digging wild vegetables in the distance also noticed this scene. One person said disapprovingly, Enyao and the others are really confused by this guy. Can there be wild vegetables over there? That's right, we just dug it up a few days ago there. There's no way there are any wild vegetables there. I think they are just having fun. Why bother? If they don't dig here, we can dig more. That's true. Huxian led them out of the basin quickly. Honey, where are you taking us? Let me tell you. This basin is safer here. Other places are infested with wild beasts and are very dangerous, Anna said with a frown. Don't worry. It's not far away. You will definitely be pleasantly surprised when the time comes. It's too slow to walk like this, let's run. After saying that, he ran at full speed. Among the four, he had the lowest cultivation and the slowest speed. So Enyao and the others followed him at a jog. At their speed, 30 kilometers would only take half an hour. Oops. When I had run halfway, I suddenly heard a wolf howling from the front. The cry was very miserable and sad. Honey, there's a wolf. The three women stopped when they heard the wolf howling, and they were all very nervous. He almost turned around and ran away. It's just a wolf there, it's nothing to be afraid of. Besides, it's a wounded wolf. Let's go and take a look. Only Huxian could hear that the wolf was howling in grief and injustice. Although the three girls were afraid, they saw that Huxian insisted on going over to take a look. So they mustered up the courage to follow him. I thought, if you marry a chicken, you follow the chicken. If you marry a dog, You follow the dog, so I had no choice but to follow her. After climbing over a series of small valleys and looking down from a high place, I saw, as expected, a huge wolf flying in the weeds. This wolf is so big, Enzu said in surprise. Of course, because this is a wolf king, its combat power in its prime has probably reached above the 30th level of evolutionary genes, Hu Xian said. Husband, how do you know so much? An Yao asked curiously. Do I even need to ask this? Ordinary wolves must have such a strong physique as for realm. Do you feel the pressure, as the saying goes? A lean camel is bigger than a horse even though this wolf is injured. If it really fights, even if we join hands, we are no match for it. Husband, let's leave now. Why leave? If we can subdue such a powerful wolf, wouldn't the village have an extra general? All three were shocked. But husband, this is a wolf that is hard to change its wild nature. It's impossible to be subdued. You guys wait here, I'll go try it. After saying that, he was about to walk over. A Yuan seal grabbed Hu Xian and said, Hubby, it's too dangerous. I don't want you to take the risk. That's right, husband, you have 3 wives now, you can't take risks casually. Hubby, I will never let you go. The 3 of them blocked Hu Xian's way, and none of them agreed with him taking the risk. Hu Xian was deeply touched. These 3 people were really kind to her. He smiled bitterly and said, My 3 precious wives, have you forgotten where I came from? It's deep in the mountains. I often deal with all kinds of wild animals, don't you worry, I have experience. I will never take risks. Besides, I won't take any risks when I have 3 beautiful wives like you, don't you worry. I'm sure of it. Chapter 840, Subjugation. After Hu Xian's constant persuasion, the 3 were finally convinced. Okay, husband, we believe you, but if there is any danger, you must run away immediately, understand? I know, don't worry. Everything will be fine. After saying that, he kissed the 3 of them on the face, then pushed through them and walked towards the Wolf King. A Yuanwaya was fine, but Yanni and Du and Seal both looked very red. Hu Xian walked quickly towards the Wolf King. Sensing a stranger approaching, the Wolf King roared angrily. At the same time, he struggled to stand up. However, his injuries were too severe, and his struggle caused him to lose blood faster, leaving him on the verge of death. All I could do was watch the stranger approach. After approaching, Hu Xian looked at the seriously injured Wolf King and said, You heard the conversation between me and my wives just now. As long as you agree to follow me, I will save you. Why should I trust you, human? The Wolf King asked. He was shocked this human could actually communicate with him. That's simple. In your current situation, do you have any other choice besides trusting me? Besides, don't you want revenge? The latter sentence instantly broke the defense of the Wolf King, who was about to say something harsh to refuse. Revenge, as long as you can help me get revenge, I will follow you. That's right. But I'm so seriously injured, how can you help me heal? Hearing this, Hu Xian walked up to him, squatted down, carefully bit his finger, stretched out his hand in front of the Wolf King and said, Drink this drop of my blood, and you will recover. Far away, Anna and the others couldn't see the situation here clearly and were very curious. What is your husband doing? I don't know, but it seems like the Wolf King really didn't hurt my husband. I found that my husband was very mysterious and seemed extraordinary. I feel the same way. My husband is very strong and doesn't look like an ordinary person at all. But her bloodline just awakened yesterday. The 3 of them were talking about it. On Hu Xian's side, the Wolf King hesitated for a while, but still stuck out his tongue and licked the blood on Hu Xian's fingers. I thought, people have eaten it before, so what's the big deal about eating a drop of blood? However, when the blood entered the body, it instantly turned into a tremendous burst of energy and flowed into the Wolf King's body. The Wolf King exclaimed, Dragon blood. And he felt that not only were the injuries all over his body recovering visibly, but his cultivation level was also rising steadily. Looking at Hu Xian, I couldn't believe that there was dragon blood in his body. Hu Xian smiled and thought to himself that it was true. He had the blood of the dragon even though the system was shut down, all his talents were still there. Dragon blood is a rare treasure for any wild beast or monster. After the Wolf King devoured it, not only did his injuries heal quickly, his realm was improved, and his bloodline was also mutating. Oh my god, what did my husband do to the Wolf King? His cultivation level is improving so fast, and his physique is getting bigger. It's so scary. In the distance, Anno and the others screamed in shock. After the Wolf King was shocked, ding dong, he knelt in front of Hu Xian. Wolf King Ersen, I am willing to follow you. My lord. Hu Xian clapped his hands and said, I accept your following. Thank you. Sir. Waited for about an hour. The Wolf King grew more than 3 times larger when he stood up. He was taller than Hu Xian. He was 5 meters long, with sharp fangs and teeth, and exuded a primitive aura. That's right, after eating a drop of dragon blood, The Wolf King's bloodline evolved into the Wild Wolf's bloodline, and its realm directly doubled, reaching the 64th level of the evolutionary gene. Moreover, the power of the dragon blood still remains in the body and is slowly digested by the body. Come here, wives. Seeing that Orson had almost evolved, Huaxian turned around and shouted to Enin and the others who had not yet come to their senses. When the three heard the sound, they came to their senses, looked at the tall and mighty Wolf King, felt the oppressive aura, and finally mustered up the courage to walk over. Orson, lie down, we will ride on you to continue our journey. When they came to him, Huaxian gave the order. Orson immediately lay down, and his docility shocked Enin and the others. Huaxian jumped up and said, "Wise, what are you standing there for? Come up quickly." The three of them finally reacted and carefully jumped onto Orson's back. "Aoshang, you know there's a small ravine ahead, take us there." "Yes, master." Aoshang rushed over quickly. "Honey, is his name Orson?" Enyao asked curiously. "Yeah, that's right. His name is Orson." "Husband, how did you conquer Orson?" "I helped him awaken the bloodline of the wild wolf. Not only did I heal his injuries, but I also helped him rise, of course, he is grateful to me." "Hubby, you're awesome," a Yuan seal praised. Huaxian smiled and said, "Wife, of course your husband is awesome. If you don't believe me, ask Enyao." After understanding what she meant, a Yuan seal was extremely shy and said, "My husband is so bad. Master, I sensed the breath of the master who betrayed me. I want revenge." Seeing a ravine appearing ahead, Orson suddenly said, "Orson, is there any danger in that ravine over there?" "Yes, a giant python lives in it. And I'll go and avenge you first, and then go to the ravine." "Thank you, master." Orson rushed out quickly. The speed increased rapidly, but even so, it was very steady. Huaxian and the others on its back hardly felt any bumps, so they were naturally not thrown out. This is all maintained intentionally by the Wolf King Orson. Woo. It must have been a sense of something, as dense wolf howls were heard in the distance. Hearing this noise, Anna and the others subconsciously felt scared. Funny, from the sound, there are so many wolves, probably hundreds of them. "Don't be afraid, even if there are thousands of wolves, they will be nothing but food in front of Orson," Huaxian comforted. Crash! There was a sound of galloping in the distance. Soon, countless wolves met Orson and his friends. "You are Orson, and you are not dead." The leading wolf was not much smaller than Orson before, and was very shocked to see Orson had grown several times larger. "Wolf King, is he really Orson? I sense an extremely dangerous aura from him." "He's Orson. There's no mistake about it." The wolves started talking. Orson said coldly, "Oka, I raised you since you were a child, but I didn't expect you to be so ungrateful and attack me." The law of the jungle is the survival of the fittest. Orson, you are old, and the position of Wolf King should belong to me. Only I can lead the wolf tribe to rise. Look at you, you have become a tool of humans. You are a disgrace to our wolf clan." Anna, and the others, who could not understand the wolf language, saw Orson roaring at the leaders of the wolf pack. Orson sneered, "What a law of the jungle? Today we'll let you understand what the law of the jungle means." "Master, can you guys come down? I want to tear these bastards apart." Chapter 841, Colluding with Bandits to Kill. Huaxian led Anna and the others to jump down and said, "It's a waste to tear them into pieces. Let us bite them to death and then use the wolf meat to make it useful." "Okay, I'll listen to you, master." "Oka. And you ungrateful people, today, Orson, will let you understand what it means to be the weak and the strong prey on the weak." Roar! A terrifying state of mind broke out and rushed forward. Oh my god, Orson has not only grown in size, but his cultivation has also skyrocketed. How could this happen? Orson was clearly dying. How could he suddenly become so powerful? Damn it, if I had known this would happen, I should have killed Orson. It's all Oka's fault. He insisted on torturing Orson, and causing him to die of depression. Now that Orson has returned, it's a disaster for us. When the wolves saw Orson's strong return, they talked a lot and felt full of regret. "Honey, it seems like you can communicate with wolves?" Anna suddenly asked. A Unyao and Yuan seal both looked at him. Huaxian nodded and said, "Yes, I have had the ability to communicate with many creatures since I was a child. I know there are a lot of wild vegetables in that small ravine over there, and they are also the wild vegetables in the basin you asked about." "Honey, you're so mysterious. I find I can't get enough of you," Anna said worriedly. "Honey, don't worry. I'm in mystery, and I'm still your husband. I will never hurt you or abandon you. By the way, the fact that I can communicate with many creatures must be kept secret. I don't want to be caught by those powerful forces and used as a guinea pig." "Don't worry, husband. As long as we know this, we will never tell a fourth person." "That's good." There was a lot of wailing at the scene. In less than a quarter of an hour, 1/3 of the hundreds of wolves were lying in a pool of blood. The other wolves lay on the ground, trembling and begging for mercy. It's not that they don't want to escape, but anyone who escapes will be hunted down by Orson the first time. Among the wolves that were killed, almost all were from the Oka lineage. Orson looked down at the remaining wolves in all the crowd with dignity and said, "Go away, and don't appear in my sight again." The wolves were set free. "Wolf King, can we still follow you?" asked an old wolf. "Don't you understand me? Go away." Orson refused angrily. The wolves could only flee in panic, feeling extremely regretful. Orson then returned to Huaxian and said, "Master, there is more than 150 wolf meats here." "Very good, collect them, I want to take them all away." "Life, and your space ring hold all this wolf meat?" "Ubby, it's okay, our space ring is quite big." "That's good, collect all the wolf carcasses, they are treasures and much more valuable than wild vegetables." "Good." The three of them quickly loaded the wolf corpses. Orson was responsible for collecting them. In less than a quarter of an hour, there were still 30 wolf carcasses left at the scene. "Ubby, there's nothing I can do, it just can't hold anymore. I threw away all the wild vegetables, but it still can't hold anymore." "Orson, do you want to eat?" "Master, I don't eat my own kind." "Then we can only give up." He secretly hated himself for relying on the system space and not wearing anything inside the space ring. "Let's go. Get out of here." "Ubby, aren't we going to pick wild vegetables?" "Your space rings are full. Why are you still digging wild vegetables?" "And husband, I can handle 2 wolf corpses." "So can I." The 3 men hurried over and each of them carried the 2 huge wolf corpses. Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, "You all took the responsibility, how can I not take it?" So the 4 men carried 12 more wolf carcasses. "Master, I can." "Orson, you can't carry the wolf's body if you want to go back to the village with me. Your bloodline now can change its size, right?" Orson understood what Huaxian meant. His body changed and turned into a wolf dog. "Master, why is this and that?" "That's good, let's go." The 4 people and the wolf returned to the village. It's still early and everyone is busy. They returned to the village and only the old man was there. "Oh my God, Anna, what did you do? Why did you bring back so many wolf corpses?" The old man was shocked when he saw this scene. Everyone knows that the lowest combat power of a wolf is at the 10th level of its evolutionary genes, and the Wolf King is at an even higher level. In addition, wolves live in groups, so the hunters in the village will actively avoid them when they encounter them. Unexpectedly, Anna and the others brought back so many wolf corpses. Huaxian said, "Uncle, we encountered a wolf pack fighting for the Wolf King. And both sides were injured, so we picked up some corpses. But the wolves reacted quickly, fortunately. We ran fast, otherwise we would not be able to come back." He brought the body back to Anna's home. "Hey, Nai, oh my God, did you destroy a wolf's den?" Mother Huaxian was cooking in the house. She was shocked when she saw the wolf corpse they brought back. "Mom, it's like this." Anna repeated the lie that Huaxian had just made up. But he didn't dare tell others that there were still many wolf corpses in the space ring. After all, Huaxian didn't want to expose Orson, and they understood that. "It's dangerous, Don T take such a risk next time." Huaxian immediately scolded sternly. "Mom, don't worry, we won't take risks next time." Huaxian smiled and said, "However, since you brought back so many wolf carcasses this time, our family's living standards will be raised several levels. There is so much wolf meat. I will make some for lunch and sell the rest in town." Suddenly, a horn in the village sounded and kept on blowing. "No, there is an enemy attack." The sound of this horn is very loud and can be heard from far away. "Oh no, the enemy is attacking the village, go back quickly." Whether they were hunting in the mountains or working in the fields, they all rushed back to the village as soon as possible. "Hurry, husband, there is an enemy attack, let's go fight." Annie and the others seemed to be used to it, and they took out their weapons and rushed out. Huaxian also hurriedly followed. Arrived at the village gate. In the distance, 2 tribesmen were riding war horses and galloping towards them, blowing horns. Enemy attack. Harbert and his men went up the mountain to become bandits. They colluded with the bandits and came towards us. While running, one person blew a horn and the other shouted, "Damn it, Talbert and his family are completely corrupt. I never thought they were this kind of people. I thought the village chief was too much to kick them out. The village chief is here." Minesweeper quickened his pace, and upon hearing the news, his face darkened and he became extremely angry. "I never expected that the Talbot family would disregard friendship at all and actually collude with bandits to deal with the village. It's really hateful." "Village chief, what's going on?" Those who were out and about have returned. Before the village chief could speak, the villager who reported the news said angrily, "It was Talbot and his clan who colluded with the bandits to kill us." Chapter 842, Die Miserably. What? Everyone who rushed back was extremely shocked. Someone said, the Tabor T clan was already very powerful, and now they have joined forces with the bandits. Our village is in danger. Village chief, what should we do? The villagers all looked at Salgia. Salgia's face was gloomy and his heart was heavy. Then he said, Big Lucky Star, take Enyao and the others and leave quickly. As long as you are alive, you are the hope of our village. Enyao said, Grandpa Village Chief. Why should we leave? It's just Tarbert, just kill him. After saying that, he looked at the inconspicuous little wolf dog beside Huxin. I thought that with him around, the village would be safe. Nonsense. Big Lucky Star, don't just stand there, take them away quickly. Our Fengling village is finished today. Grandpa, don't worry, the Talbot incident was caused by me. I will deal with them. After saying that, he dodged a horse in the hands of the messenger and jumped up. Huxin, stop messing around. The village chief quickly stopped him. He said earnestly, take Enyao and the others away, and when they grow up, avenge us. Ubby, just let Orson transform and give the village chief and the others an injection of sedatives, Enyao said. Hearing this, the village chief and his men all gathered together. What Orson? What transformation? Sau Reggae, you old bastard, you drove my son out of the village. Today is your end. In the distance, Gao Jijun's arrogant laughter could be heard. Anna? Enyao? Enzu? Are you there? Talbert, am back from now on, you will all be my sex slaves. Both father and son have the same character, both are extremely arrogant. Everyone in the village looked over. I saw people from the Talbert clan, colluding with thousands of bandits, coming in a mighty force. They are confident of victory and are not in a hurry. Aberti. You don't repent, today is your end, Enyao said angrily. You still dare to be stubborn. Enyao, after I capture you, I will start with you first. Oh my god. Isn't that Talbot and his group? Why did they bring so many people? The villagers who rushed back were shocked when they saw this scene. Village chief. What's going on? What's going on? Let me tell you, my father is now the fourth in command of Yuyu Mountain. He came here with a large army today to exterminate you, a bunch of unruly people who don't know how to appreciate their kindness. Tarbert was extremely arrogant. The villagers were in a very bad mood and felt that the end of the world had come. At this time, Huxin rode a big horse and took Orson out. He said coldly, except for the people of Talbot's lineage, the rest of the bandits leave now, and I won't make things difficult for you. As soon as these words came out, both sides were stunned. He looked at Huxin with an incredible look. I thought, is this guy crazy? Where does his confidence come from? After a while, Talbert said coldly, boy, you are very arrogant. Do you dare to come out and challenge me in a duel? Huxin sneered and continued walking forward. Isn't this considered walking out? Or are you afraid? Seeing this scene, everyone in the village broke into a cold sweat for Huxin and was terrified. Seeing this, Talbot smiled bloodthirsty and said, very good, then I will send you on your way. He rushed over on a warhorse. Ubby, be careful. Enyao and the others shouted in unison. Hearing how they addressed Huxin, Talbert became even more murderous and wished he could tear Huxin to pieces right away. Bop, speed it up. Seeing the two sides approaching, Orson is about to take action. Orson, leave this small role to me. Step into the air. Basic combat skills. Huxin used the air step. His speed increased dramatically, and he approached the opponent. The 10th level of the evolutionary gene realm fully erupted. Blessed by the devil's bloodline. Although Talbert is at the 18th level of evolutionary genes, there is a huge difference between the two. But Talbert's rival, Huxin, was just an ordinary person before, and no one believed that he could reach such a powerful level in less than 2 days. That's also why, after Huxin quickly approached him, he used basic combat skills to attack Talbert in the most tricky and deadly way. By the time he reacted, it was too late. Huxin grabbed his neck with both hands and his body was suspended in the air and spinning at high speed. With the help of this rotating force, it explodes fiercely. Flick. Instantly breaking Talbert's neck. The next few spins were extremely bloody, and Talbert's head was twisted off. Blood splattered all around. This scene shocked the whole audience. No one could believe that Taberti, a master at the 18th level of evolutionary genes, was killed so easily. My son. Gao Jijun was the first to react. Was furious that his most outstanding son had been murdered so cruelly. He was so angry and regretful that he shouldn't have let his son face the enemy. I want you to live a life worse than death. As a person at the 29th level of evolutionary genes, Gao Jijun is second only to the village chief in strength. His outburst immediately shocked the entire audience. Gao Jijun, your opponent is me. The village chief rushed out. However, an old man on the other side also moved and said coldly, Sweeper, your opponent is me. The village chief had no choice but to stop. The other party stopped in fear. I leave Orson to you, kill him without mercy. Although the previous attack killed Taverti, who had seriously underestimated his enemy, Huaxian also exhausted all his strength and sat down on the ground weakly. Oh, Orson roared. His body quickly grew larger, and soon he turned into an ancient wolf king. He rushed towards Gao Jijun, who had not yet reacted, and bit his head to pieces with one bite. This scene shocked the whole audience. No one expected that Tavert and Gao Jijun, father and son, would die so tragically. Roar! Orson went crazy and roared, rushing into the crowd and launching a one-sided massacre. None of the bandits could match him. Run, what a powerful wolf king! The bandits and the remaining members of Talbot's clan were all terrified and desperate. I never thought that Fengling village was guarded by such a ferocious beast. The people in the village were already stunned, unable to recover for a long time. After a long while, the village chief asked, "Anya, oh, what's going on with this wolf king?" The villagers nearby also wanted to know and listened attentively. "Grandpa village chief, this wolf king was injured. It was my husband who saved her. She was grateful to my husband and followed him. As a wild animal, how could a wolf follow a human so easily? What's more, the human is a wolf king," the village chief asked with a frown. "Grandpa, have you forgotten that my husband said he came from the mountains? Although he has not awakened his bloodline, he has mastered the skills taught by his family to deal with wild beasts. My husband said that he used a method to activate the blood of the wild beast in the wolf king's body, making him the ancient wolf king. That's why he was grateful and followed my husband." Chapter 843, Going to the Market. So that's how it is. That makes sense. So, the husband you picked up is really the lucky star of our Fengling village. Village chief, this ancient wolf king is so powerful. With him in charge, our village will be safe from now on. Well, as long as the great fortune star is in the village, we are safe. Everyone in the village breathed a sigh of relief, looking at the battlefield not far away in shock. There were wailing everywhere and blood flowing like a river. It was extremely tragic. About an hour, Orson came back, covered in blood mist. "Master, kill them all." Well done." Although the villagers didn't understand, they knew from the look on Orson's face when he faced Huaxian that he was trying to take credit. My heart was shocked to the extreme. More than 1,000 people. And they were killed so quickly. This is a massacre. No one will be left alive, Huaxian said to the village chief. Yes, these bandits brought a lot of weapons and equipment, as well as space rings and the like. Hurry up and bring people to collect them. The village chief finally reacted and was extremely excited. All villagers who can still move, come with me to clean up the battlefield. The villagers also reacted and were very excited, shouting, "Clean up the battlefield." This is the wealth of more than 1,000 bandits and more than 100 people from the Tarbert clan when concentrated together. It is unimaginable the village is going to get rich. Hubby, let's go clean up the battlefield too. Go ahead. And Yao and the others also rushed to the battlefield. Orson, be responsible for protecting them. Huaxian gave these instructions out of concern that something unexpected might happen. Yes, master. He returned home, sat cross-legged and began to practice. This time, Huaxian chose to practice the Dragon Clan's martial arts after all. He had mastered the Dragon Clan's martial arts, and it would be a waste not to practice it. Since the dragon bloodline is still there, practicing the dragon skills will surely be twice as effective with half the effort. Soon he entered into a state of cultivation. A few minutes later, buzz! A realm of the 10th level of evolutionary genes suddenly broke through. Huaxian was overjoyed. He had not expected that practicing the Dragon Clan's techniques would lead to a breakthrough in his physique. Not only did it make his body stronger, it also led to a breakthrough in his genetic realm. 2 hours later, husband, and Yao and the others shouted excitedly, interrupted Huaxian's practice. Even so, after 2 hours, his cultivation had reached the 10th level of the evolutionary gene, and his physique was comparable to that of the 10th level of the evolutionary gene. With his current combat power, if he were to face Albert, he could easily kill him. And Yao and the others have already pushed the door open. Hubby, you are practicing. Well, what are you so happy about? Hubby, of course we are happy. You don't know how much material we have gained this time. The village chief has counted it, and the total amount of material goods exceeds the total income of our village in 100 years. Now the village chief asked me to call you over and distribute the supplies. I won't go to distribute supplies. Right? Hubby, you are also a member of the village. The village chief said that everyone, no matter who they are, must be present. Oh well. Huaxian had no choice but to follow him to the village chief's house. When we arrived, the place was already crowded. The village chief saw Huaxian and quickly shouted, "Grandson, come here quickly." The word grandson was called in a particularly intimate way. Everyone can see that in the eyes of the village chief, Huaxian is like her own grandson. Of course, the village chief is a single person, so this grandson is considered by everyone to be the successor to the village chief's title. Huaxian walked over quickly. And Yao and the others followed behind, all very proud. Grandson, here are all the spoils seized today. Behind the village chief, various materials were piled up into a mountain. Grandson, take a look to see if there is anything you need. Once you have selected, I will distribute it. No one has any objection to this. After all, without Huaxian's Wolf King to help, now they are not distributing supplies, but just a bunch of cold corpses. Huaxian nodded and said, Village chief, I can just choose a space ring with a large space. I don't have that thing. It's very inconvenient. There are a lot of space rings here. The largest one is 1000 cubic meters, this is the one you take. If you feel it's not enough, these are 500 cubic meters of space rings. If you put things in them, it's equivalent to having several thousand square meters of extra space. Huaxian nodded, put it away, and put the largest space ring on his finger. Grandson, take a look at the other materials to see if there is anything you need, the village chief continued in a very biased tone. Huaxian took a look and found that there were indeed some medicinal herbs, so he started picking them out. After more than 3 minutes, Huaxian put away the things he had picked and said, Village chief, I have made my selections. You can distribute the rest. Grandson, except for the space ring, the materials you selected are all very common. There are so many good things here, and weapons are not bad either, the village chief persuaded. Grandpa, the ones I picked are all useful to me, I can't use the others now, so distribute them to everyone. Oh, well. And I started distributing supplies fairly. Huaxian was bored, so he went back home to practice. The first people to distribute supplies were naturally Enyao and her friends. After all, they were Huaxian's family, so they came back just in time for lunch. After lunch, Anna said, Honey, we have so much wolf meat, and a lot of supplies were distributed today. So we are going to go to town. Are we going now? Yes, let's go now. Our village is 2,800 miles away from the town. If we travel at a speed of 500 kilometers per hour, it will be night by the time we get to the town. So, when we go to the market, we go there a day in advance, rest in the town for a night, sell the supplies the next day, buy what we need, and then rush back. Is that so? And let's go now. I also need to go to town to buy some things. Mom and Dad, let's go to the town with our husbands. The three of them said to Gao Jihaoan, Are you Huaxian? The two looked at each other and smiled. Go ahead, and be careful on the road. Okay, I understand, Mom and Dad. Then let's go. Mom and Dad, Huaxian said. Everything is in the space ring, so there is nothing to prepare. Go ahead. Orson, you stay in the village and protect it. I will bring you a gift when I come back. Added Master, thank you Master. Orson was very obedient. He believed that given Huaxian's status, the gift he brought would definitely not be bad. Son-in-law, you should take Orson with you, it will be safer this way. Are you Huaxian advised? Huaxian smiled and said, Mom, the bandits have suffered a great loss. I'm afraid they won't let it go. I feel relieved if Orson stays here. As for us, don't worry. We won't be in danger as long as I'm here. Seeing Huaxian so confident, the two elders also chose to believe him. Well, just be safe on the road. I understand, Mom and Dad. Chapter 844. Grace. The four of them just walked out the door. The widow Yui Hujing walked over quickly. Hey, Lucky Star. Are you guys going out? He asked in surprise. Enyao and the others all looked at the widow with disgust and unkindness to warn her. Huaxian nodded and said, Yes, we are going to town. It just so happens that I have to go to town too. Do you mind coming together? After all, it's dangerous for me to go to town alone. Oh, well, widow, you can follow us if you want, but don't try to take advantage of our husbands. Ni Sen Yao. You are joking. How could I, an elder, do such a thing? Let's hurry on. Wait for me, I want to go to town too. En Xianxian also ran over. Abi, let's go quickly, or there will be more and more people. After En Yao finished speaking, he dragged Huaxian away at a trot. I ran a long way before letting go. However, En Xianxian still chased after him. There was no choice but to let her follow. A group of 6 people went to Fenghuo town. Along the way, their attention was focused on Huaxian. This made Enyao and the others feel even more threatened. Fortunately, Huaxian didn't pay any attention to them and continued on his way, admiring the scenery. Out of boredom, he asked, Wise, I have just entered this world and I don't know much about it. Can you introduce it to me? Okay. Enyao responded first, and then said, Hubby, our place is called the Demon Continent. As the name suggests, the main race living here is the demons. Are we demons also human? Of course, but not purely human. Are there pure humans in this world? It seems so, but it's not in the section where we live. Our demon continent is very big, super big. The village chief said that where we are is just an insignificant dot. So, There are countless races living in our demon continent, but our demon race is the largest in number and the most widely distributed. So our demon race is also the master of this world. There are races such as orcs, dwarves, demons, etc. The demon race, are they evolved from those wild beasts and fierce beasts? Yes. It is them we in the demon continent call them the demon race. Our demon continent. Along the way, Huaxian learned everything about this continent. Finally found that this place doesn't seem to be simple. Now that the system is shut down, I can only rely on myself to explore and figure out everything. About 2 hours. Perhaps it was because the road was wide, so we didn't encounter any wild beasts, or even any rabbits. At this time, we came to a fork in the road. Coincidentally, a group of people were also walking along the bank of another Y-shaped road. It was also a team of men and women, and they also noticed Huaxian and his friends. The two sides looked at each other and soon met at the intersection. Hey, Grace, you're going to market to what? Asked that wound on your face, asked the widow. Behind the other side's crowd, there was a little girl hanging, with scars all over her face and body. She looked emaciated and in a very miserable state. It's Santa Ui Hu Jing. The injury on my face was caused by a fall, Grace said weakly. Another girl looked at Huaxian and the others with disdain and said arrogantly, what do you mean by falling? The injuries on his body are because we just beat him because we couldn't stand her. Why is his mother's family? You want to help him? Because there are only 6 people in Huaxian's group, and Huaxian is the only man. And there were 12 of them in total. And 7 men, so the girl was really crazy. Why are you doing this, after all? Grace's father is from the same village as you. Grace's father is now paralyzed in bed. He is a useless person. And he has to rely on our village for support. Her mother is also a useless person. And she is also a useless person. Our village does not support useless people. Please speak more carefully. Huaxian couldn't bear it anymore and said coldly. Hey, what? You want to stand up for her? A young man walked out with a mocking tone. Huaxian said coldly, so what if I stand out? So what? The young man muttered and punched Huaxian. Hubby, be careful. Although they knew that Huaxian was no simple person, Enyao and the others still shouted subconsciously. The next moment, Huaxian reached out and grabbed the guy's wrist. The other party was only at the 16th level of evolutionary genes, which was worse than him, yet he dared to attack him. Huaxian would not tolerate it. Use sudden force. A pain caused made the other party scream. Let go. It's going to break, he roared in agony. Do you know it's going to break now? Why didn't you reflect on yourself when you attacked just now? Huaxian's voice was cold. The other people on the other side then realized that this guy, who looked unremarkable, was actually very powerful. Enyao and the others were also shocked. They felt that Huaxian was even more powerful than when he dealt with the bandits in the morning. Stop it. The mocking girl couldn't stand it anymore. So she rushed over and grabbed Huaxian's hands, trying to pry them apart. Huaxian smiled coldly and said to the girl, if you want me to stop, you can, kneel down, or his wrist will be broken. Jia Yao. Kneel down quickly, my hand is going to break. The young man shouted loudly. Ji Liao's body trembled. Feeling very unwilling. Looking at the young man's extremely painful expression, he gritted his teeth. Ding dong. Still knelt in front of Huaxian. Oh, you really care about him? It's a pity that he doesn't seem to care about you. Shut up, Ji Liao has already knelt down. It's time for you to take action. Huaxian smiled and said. I have one small request. If you kick him down, I will let go immediately. If you don't, I'll be an asshole. Upon hearing this, Ji Liao immediately looked at the young man. Seeing this, Huaxian increased the strength of his hands. The young man was in despair and pain, and was even more afraid that his voice would be crushed to pieces after he finished speaking. He bent down fiercely and kicked him. Ji Liao did not dodge after being kicked to the ground. She looked at the young man with heartbroken eyes. Huaxian kept his word and let go of his hand. Jia Yao, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Ji Han, shut up from now on. We are done with each other. Ji Liao said this angrily and moved away from him. She didn't expect that after she knelt down to others for him, he would actually kick her. Ji Liao. What do you mean? He forced me to do this. Can you blame me? Ji Han asked angrily. Ji Liao just sneered and said nothing. It's all your fault. I'm going to kill you. Ji Han blared at Huaxian, took out a sharp blade and rushed towards Huaxian with murderous intent. You have to think carefully. If I attack again, it might take your life. Huaxian's cold voice sounded. That confident, indifferent face made Ji Han feel uneasy. His momentum instantly diminished, and he looked at his companions and said, help me kill him together. I don't want a single cent of the proceeds from this market, I'll share it with you. Really? The friends were immediately interested. Ji Han, keep my word, so I take it seriously. Chapter 845, When the right person comes, the scenery is everywhere. Suddenly, those young men looked at Huaxian with unfriendly eyes. In response, Huaxian said coldly, "You can attack me, but you have to consider the consequences. Wife, record a video for me if I beat them to death and their village comes looking for me. The video will be the best evidence." And Yao and the other three all opened the video. Even En Xian and the widow were the same. "I thought, since you asked your wife to record the video and we all recorded it, she should be considered your wife, right?" When those young men who were ready to make a move heard this, they saw that Huaxian looked calm and not afraid at all. And they felt uneasy. In their opinion, without sufficient strength, how can one be so confident and calm? How could he have known that Huaxian had previously reached the middle level of Godlord, which was extremely terrifying? How could they compare to the strength of his state of mind? A young man said with a stiff upper lip. "Jiita Han, no matter what, we are from neighboring villages, so we are neighbors. I don't think there is any need to create conflict. That's right, our two villages often join forces to resist bandits, and we have various marriages. We have a very good relationship, there is no need to have conflicts over trivial matters." Everyone found reasons for their retreat. Huaxian's cold eyes fell on him. "Jiita Han, right? I have always been a person who will not offend others unless they offend me. If you want my life today, I will not let you go." While talking, he moved closer step by step. Ding dong. Jiita Han was so scared that he stepped back and fell to the ground. Huaxian clenched his fists and was about to attack. The latter was even more frightened. "Have mercy. I was just joking." In the end, Jiita Han couldn't help but beg for mercy. The murderous aura on Huaxian became more and more terrifying. And he didn't give him any chance at all. Jiita Han was so scared that he peed his pants. "Honey, forget it," Duna said. Huaxian stopped walking when he heard this, and stared at Jiita Han with a cold and piercing gaze. "You are lucky that my wife pleaded for you. Otherwise..." The words were not spoken, but everyone understood. "Let's go." Huaxian took the lead and left. And Yao and the others hurried to catch up. Grace was scared, and Zhu. "And Yao's sister, can I come with you?" She knew very well that after Huaxian and the others left, Jiita Han, who was angry, would probably vent all his anger on her. She might even be beaten to death. She was not afraid of death, but she could not let go of her mother. "Okay, Grace. Let's go together." Grace excitedly followed him out. Ji Liao and the others were all furious. Jiita Han even muttered, "Grace, just wait for me. Unless you don't come back to the village, I will make your life worse than death." Just because of what he said, Huaxian appeared in front of him in an instant and grabbed his neck. Everyone was stunned. Click. Huaxian ruthlessly crushed his neck, then grabbed his arms and crushed them, threw him to the ground and stomped on his feet, breaking all the bones in his body. In just a few minutes, Jiita Han became a useless person. Except for the head. No other bones were intact, but he was not dead yet. Not to mention Liao and the others. Even Annie and the others were frightened by this scene. "This time, let me see if you have the qualifications to torture my sister," Huaxian said coldly. When Grace heard the name sister, and looked at Huaxian who helped her, she was so moved that tears fell like rain. In this life, no one has ever been so kind to him except his parents. Now a young man suddenly appeared and was so kind to her. She was really touched. "I don't know how to be grateful." Huaxian returned to Enel and the others step by step. Ding dong. Grace knelt in front of Huaxian and said, "Thank you, brother." "Sister. What are you doing? Hurry up and get up." Huaxian quickly helped her. With one high and one low, Grace's well-developed breasts came into view, round, smooth, and white as jade, making people's eyes pop out. If it were in the past, Huaxian would probably have drooled. Fortunately, I now have a resistance value of nearly 1 billion against the opposite sex, so I am not in such a miserable state. Grace noticed Huaxian's gaze and blushed, but she was not angry. She even hoped that Huaxian could fall in love with her. She knew very well that she and her family needed someone to rely on. Seeing this, Anna and the others looked at each other and were speechless. But he also knew what had happened to Grace, so he couldn't bear to do anything and could only acquiesce. "I am disappointed that Huaxian is able to help Grace. Let's go. Hurry up." He walked away amid the horrified gazes of the people in Fenkai village. "What should we do?" a young man asked fearfully. "What else can we do? Jiita Han has been beaten like this. Take him back to the village and see how everyone will deal with this matter." Everyone took the unconscious Jiita Han away. "Husband, Jiita Han is the son of the village chief of Fenkai village. You beat him up like this. I'm afraid the village chief of Fenkai village will not let it go," Anna said. Hearing this, Grace was also very panicked. Huaxian smiled coldly and said, "It's fine if they don't come to provoke me, but once they piss me off, Orson will be able to solve everything." After hearing Orson's name, Anna and the others, who were worried at first, calmed down instantly. Thinking back to the scene of Orson's attack, I was even more shocked. Grace asked curiously, brothers and sisters, who is Orson? Enzu said, Ozane is our husband's battle P, he is very powerful and invincible. Really? Of course it's true. Brother, can you help me save my mother and father, after this incident? They will definitely not let me and my family go. Okay, sure I'll go to your village when we get back from the market. Thank you, brother. Grace didn't know how to express her gratitude, so she tiptoed and kissed Huxin on the face. She was extremely shy and trotted to the front. This was her first time kissing a boy. This little girl, Huxin muttered while touching his face. Honey, are you moved? Iunc asked. What are you talking about? In my heart, she is my sister. DSK. I don't believe it. If you don't believe it, forget it. Huxin quickly followed. Everyone trotted after him. Before night fell, the dimly lit Fenghuo town in the distance came into everyone's sight. Wow! It's so beautiful, Iunc exclaimed. It's like you've never been here before and haven't seen it before. Ubby, you don't understand before, it was just me and my sisters now. There's you. I think it's beautiful too, Grace said. Every time she came here before, she was bullied the whole time, and no matter how beautiful the scenery was, it was terrible for her. It's the first time that I feel the night view of Fenghuo town is so beautiful. Okay, since you all think it's beautiful, let's take a good look around Fenghuo town. Let's go. Yeah honey, I want to buy a lot of things, Enzu said excitedly, having already thought about what to buy. Okay, you can buy whatever you want today, your husband will treat you. Chapter 846, Rewards for Reporting. Hearing this, Enzian and Rui Hujing looked at each other and were extremely excited. Does this include them? Looking at the night view of Fenghuo town again, I think it is really beautiful. But husband, do you have devil coins? Enzu suddenly asked. Everyone's eyes fell on Huxin. They remembered that when Huxin chose the spoils, he did not choose currency. Huxin smiled bitterly, not yet. But my husband is very good at making money, lend me some capital later and watch me make a lot of money. Okay, husband, I'm looking forward to you making a lot of money, Enzu said. We are looking forward to it too, the others said in unison. Led by Huxin, a group of 7 people walked towards the beacon fire. Even though it was already dusk and night, there were still many people entering the city, forming a long queue. Why do we have to queue to enter the city? Huxin asked curiously. Because there are fees, and there are also security checks to prevent bandits and the like from sneaking into the city. A main reason is probably the fees. Iunc stuck out her tongue and said, my husband knows and still tells me. How much currency do I need to pay to enter the city? 1 demon coin per person. So much? Yes, a lot, mainly because the town lord's mansion is too dark. Someone here is saying bad things about the town lord's mansion. Suddenly someone pointed at Huxin and the others and started yelling. It immediately attracted the attention of countless people. Suddenly, countless eyes in the audience fell on them. Doctor, the city patrol team waiting at the city gate charged forward on their war horses. Their war horses are not ordinary war horses, but fierce horses with strength comparable to the 3rd level of Evolvers. They are as fast as the wind and are deeply loved by the army. Who dares to speak ill of our town lord's mansion? The leading city patrol captain asked viciously. He knew it was a lucrative job. Generally, in order to evade responsibility, the other party will spend money to avoid disaster. And this money naturally fell into the hands of him, the captain. Did they say that? The man just now pointed at Huxin and the others and said. Also very excited. Because there are rewards for reporting. The captain and the soldiers of the city patrol team noticed that the girls around Huxin were more beautiful than each other, and their eyes lit up. All eyes fell on the captain. The captain noticed the gazes of his men and smiled knowingly. He waved his hand and shouted angrily, catch them for me. Suddenly, more than a dozen soldiers drew their swords and rushed over excitedly. You'd better not do anything rash, because I know your mayor. Huxin said calmly. The soldiers were all shocked. A main reason was that Huxin was too calm, as if it were real. This made their eyes fall on the captain again. The captain looked gloomy and stared at Huxin for a long time, trying to find any flaws. However, Huxin's level is not only flawless, but also gives him a feeling of full confidence. The people who were waiting to watch the fun were also shocked when they heard Huxin's words. Looking at him curiously, they even started discussing in a low voice. This guy has an extraordinary temperament. He is not panicked at all and is extremely confident. Could it be that he really knows the town lord? I think so. After all, it's impossible for an average person to be surrounded by so many pretty girls. Yes, these girls are dressed in ordinary clothes, but if you look closely, they are all very beautiful. Hearing the discussions of passers-by, the captain became even more unsure. You said you know the mayor, so tell me, what are the mayor's hobbies? Asked the captain of the city patrol team. Mind reading. Huaxian turned on the cheating device and said with a smile, "Don't you know what the mayor likes? But it be that after following the mayor for so many years, you don't even know what the mayor likes? If that's the case, I wonder how the mayor will treat you if I tell him." Hearing this, the captain of the city patrol team trembled and was shocked. As a subordinate, I naturally understand the mayor's temper. If the mayor heard about this, I would be in big trouble. After staring at Huaxian for a while, he said angrily, "You can't say it, but you are blasting me although you disguise yourself well. Don't think about escaping my eyes. Take him down for me." Faced with the confident and smiling Huaxian, the soldiers did not dare to take any action. The mayor has a bad temper. He kills people without reason. It's just because he doesn't like it. You actually doubted me. If the mayor hears this, you know the consequences. While Huaxian was speaking, the captain of the city patrol team stared at him intently. Seeing that he remained calm, I felt uneasy. After a while, he said, "This kind of thing, everyone in this town knows about it. Do you need to tell me?" After saying that, he waited for Huaxian to speak directly. "Mayor, I have a daughter and no." "Shut up." The city patrol captain shouted loudly. Everyone in the town knew that the mayor had no son, only a daughter who disguised herself as a boy. Even he only knew about this matter by chance. And he knew very well that he must not disclose it, otherwise he would be killed without a burial place. And the person in front of me is simply a lunatic. How dare he say such a thing? If that were true, I'm afraid I would be implicated as well. He took a deep breath and said, "Since you are the mayor's friend, what are you doing in town?" Huaxian said with a smile, "Can't you bring some of my lovely wives out to show off?" Hearing this, En Yao and the others blushed. After all, so many people were watching them. En Xianxian and Yue Hujing were extremely happy. Yue Hujing, in particular, was extremely eager for Huaxian to accept her. Grace blushed slightly, looking a little overwhelmed. In her heart, she was not worthy of Huaxian. "Yes, please." Huaxian nodded and led the way towards the town. "Not only do you not have to cut in line, you are also exempt from the city entrance fee. Enter the town." En Yao asked curiously, "Husband?" The others also looked at him with curiosity. Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, "Don't you know where I came from? How could you know the mayor? And how did your words scare that fierce city patrol captain?" "I guessed." "TSK, forget it. Ubby, you said you would buy a lot of things for us. How are you going to make money? Isn't it easy to make money? Don't we have a lot of wolf meat? Let's go buy some seasonings and cooking utensils, then set up a stall and show you how your husband makes money." Setting up a street stall. "Husband, are you going to buy cooked wolf meat?" "Smart, you guessed it right." Just at this moment, a large group of troops arrived from a distance. They all rode tall horses. The leading general waved his hand and the army surrounded Huaxian and his men. The passers-by around were so scared that they quickly retreated to a distance to watch. Chapter 847, Drag him out and kill him. "It's you who claims to know the town lord?" the leading general asked coldly. "The main reason is that I have no impression of Huaxian." Huaxian smiled and nodded. "Yes, I said that." And Yao and the others around them started to panic. "I thought it was over. My husband's lie had been exposed and he was doomed. Since you know the town master, please come with us to the town master's mansion. The town master also wants to catch up with you." Hearing this, and Yao and the others turned even paler. "If I go to the town lord's mansion, I will be exposed and I will definitely die. Honey, what should we do?" And Yao asked in a trembling voice. Huaxian held her hand and said, "Don't be afraid, I'll take care of everything." And he said to the leading general, led the way. And Yao and the others saw Huaxian's confident look and chose to believe him, so they were no longer so panicked. The general was a little surprised that Huaxian was so calm. Some of them are hard to understand. And Yao and the others did look panicked, but seeing how rustic they looked, they were probably afraid that this guy was attracted to them and kept them by his side, so they didn't suspect anything at all. "You guys get off your horses." Several soldiers quickly dismounted. "Get on your horses and follow me," he said to Huaxian. Huaxian nodded and turned around to ask, "My dears, can you all ride a horse?" Everyone nodded and said in unison, "Yes." Then he mounted his horse and left with the army. The remaining few soldiers walked back with bitter faces. The people watching the show around were immediately shocked. Who are those guys? They actually alarmed the army of the town lord's mansion. Who knows? However, the soldiers have given way to the horses. It looks like it's not a simple matter. I know them. When I entered the city last time, that guy said he knew the mayor of the town. Soon we arrived at the town lord's mansion. Looking at the majestic town lord's mansion, especially the two lifelike monsters at the door, they exude a captivating aura. The main gate, with 16 soldiers on each side, also exudes a strong aura, giving people a very powerful feeling. "Honey, is this the town lord's mansion? This is my first time approaching here." And Yao asked curiously. Why is it the first time? Huaxian asked curiously. Enna said, because the town lord's mansion has a rule that ordinary people are not allowed to approach the town lord's mansion within a kilometer. Otherwise they will be killed without mercy. I see today. I will take you on a tour of the town's lord's mansion. Seeing Huaxian so confident, the last bit of worry in their hearts disappeared. The general who led the way was also surprised when he heard this. I thought to myself, this guy is still so confident even after coming to the town lord's mansion. Could it be that he really knows the town lord? But how old is this guy? How old is the town master? He jumped off his horse and said, everyone, get off your horse and follow me. Huaxian and the others quickly dismounted and followed. The soldiers just looked at them sternly. A general took the lead and went deeper and deeper and deeper. After several minutes, they arrived at the building complex. Huaxian suddenly asked curiously, don't you have any technological tools here? Why are you riding horses? Enna smiled bitterly and said, yes, but later the emperor ordered the abolition of all technological tools except communicators, so they are gone. Why did the emperor do this? Have no idea. Soon, they arrived at a hall. Ancient buildings. Huaxian felt that it might be related to the emperor. Arriving at the door, the general said, wait for me here. After saying this, he went in to report. After a while, a voice came. Come in. Huaxian took the lead and walked in. All over the city, and Yao and the others were looking around with great curiosity. Very excited. It's just because the town lord's mansion is very luxurious and the demonic power is extremely strong. Abi, it would be nice if we could live in a place like this. Huaxian thought of his own little world and said with a smile, yes. It's a pity that the small world space is also blocked due to the system's blocking. When I walked into the hall, there was no one there. This way, a sexy and slim mate shouted. And Yao and the others subconsciously compared themselves with this girl. I actually feel a little inferior. Huaxian took a step back, put his hands together, and let them go. Everyone was extremely excited about this. The inferiority complex in my heart disappeared instantly. I thought, as long as my husband doesn't dislike us, that's enough. After walking through a small corridor, we came to a small temple. A majestic old man sat in the upper seat. A young man was standing next to him. However, Huaxian recognized at first sight that he was a tomboy. When the general saw Huaxian and his men coming, he said respectfully, Master, they are here. The town master then opened his eyes. After taking a quick look and confirming that he didn't recognize him, he waved his hand and said, drag him away and kill him. I thought to myself, anyone can pretend to know me? Could it be that my method of killing people at will is no longer enough to scare people? Someone come. The general gave the order. There were hurried footsteps outside. Hear this noise. And Yao and the others all watched as Huaxian began to panic. Huaxian's expression was calm. And he even smiled as he said, I can help you give birth to a son. Hearing this, the town lord, who had closed his eyes, suddenly opened them. A large group of soldiers have rushed in. The general broke out in a cold sweat and quickly signaled with his eyes and stretched out his hand to stop them. Otherwise these soldiers would be in trouble. Fortunately, the town chief's attention was focused on Huaxian. The tomboy next to the town master asked, can you really make my father give birth to a son? As the only daughter, she knew very well that her father would be powerless to help her give birth to a daughter, let alone a son. Otherwise I wouldn't have only one daughter. And she had long been tired of giving birth to a boy pretending to be one, so if her father could give birth to a son, she could get rid of it sooner, so she was excited. Huaxian nodded confidently and said, the town master's condition is not serious. I will prescribe a few medicines and use my unique acupuncture treatment to ensure that you can give birth to a son. The town chief stared at Huaxian intently, and saw that he looked confident and did not seem to be joking. They also thought that it's better to give it a try than to have no chance at all. With a wave of his hand, the general retreated with his soldiers. The mayor then asked, you are so confident without even giving me a diagnosis? Huaxian smiled confidently. A person with truly superb medical skills wouldn't need to go through so much trouble. How old are you? Asked the mayor. 27. You are only 27 years old even if you have been learning medicine since your mother's womb. How advanced can you be? Boom. As he said this, the mayor burst out with a powerful murderous aura and pressed towards Huaxian. Huaxian's body trembled suddenly and he almost fell to his knees. Fortunately, I had a strong character and willpower and was able to resist. He also understood that the town lord was testing him. If it was fake, he would be panicked to death. Town lord, if you don't believe me, you can give it a try. Pregnancy only takes 1 or 2 months anyway. Seeing that Huaxian was able to remain calm in the face of his murderous intent and didn't even kneel down, he knew that he was quite capable. He put away his murderous aura and said, okay, I will give it a try. If you can't do it, I will kill you. If you really let me have a son, I will give you my precious daughter. Chapter 848, I can let you give birth to a son. Father. The tomboy next to her shouted anxiously. Why are you so nervous? This kid was able to withstand my murderous sorry, he has a strong mind. Even if his cultivation is low now, his future will not be bad. Besides, countless people who claim to be miracle doctors have died from this disease and failed to cure it. If he can cure it, you won't lose out by marrying him. But Dad, my daughter has someone she likes. If you dare to mention this again, I will kill that pretty boy. Hearing this, the tomboy immediately shut up, but she felt very unwilling in her heart. The look he gave Hu Xin was also full of resentment. Boy, please heal me quickly. The town master was a little impatient. Hu Xin nodded and said, this requires a lot of regular medicinal materials. It's just medicinal herbs, just tell me if you need anything. The town owner interrupted him before he could finish his words. Hu Xin nodded and said, bring me some paper and pen. The town lord nodded to the maid at the door. The latter left quickly. The town master continued to ask, I wonder which village you are from under my command. Hearing this question, Anna and the others became panicked. After all, if Hu Xin fails, the whole village will definitely be implicated. Hu Xin was full of confidence. Fengling village. Fengling village, what kind of small village is this? Why is this the first time this town master has heard of it? The tomboy at the side said, Dad, Fengling Chun is the only poorest and most backward western region. There are no special products there, the only source of livelihood is hunting and wild vegetables. So poor, no wonder this town master didn't know about it. At this time, the maid brought paper and pen. After Hu Xin took it, he walked to the tea table and started writing. The town owner and the tomboy came over and watched curiously. En Yao and the others also looked at her curiously, wondering if her husband really knew medical skills. Before long, Hu Xin wrote 3 long lists of medicinal materials, containing a total of 136 kinds of precious medicinal materials. More than 4/5 of them are used for body training and improving cultivation. Naturally, he didn't want to miss such a good opportunity to obtain medicinal materials. The town master looked at the list Hu Xin had written, frowned and asked, are you sure that if I collect all these herbs, you can let me have a son? Hu Xin nodded and said, these herbs plus my medical skills will naturally restore your fertility, Lord Town Master. As for giving birth to a son, that depends on your wife. You need to call her over so I can diagnose whether your wife has the ability to give birth to a son. If there is, you will definitely be able to give birth to a son. If not, you can't blame me. The town master had a gloomy face and said to the maid, why don't you go and call my wives over? The maid trotted away in a panic. Hu Xin glanced at her butt and said with a smile, actually, this maid is 100 capable of giving birth to a son. The town lord naturally looked down on a maid. I thought to myself, I have so many wives, it's impossible that not one of them can give birth to a son. We waited for a while in the depressing atmosphere. The maid came running over, Master, the ladies will be here soon. After waiting for a while, beauties arrived one after another. Looking at the first beauty who came in, the town master couldn't wait to ask, boy, can you see if my wife can give birth to a son? Hu Xin took a look and saw the big characters and said, there is a 3-point chance of having a son and a 7-point chance of having a daughter. The town chief shook his head and motioned the lady to move aside. Soon, the second, the third. After a while, more than 10 ladies came, but the highest probability was only level 7. The town master looked at Hu Xin with a gloomy face and asked, are you kidding me? How dare I? If the town master has any doubts, I've already said that girl has a 100 physique to give birth to a son, you can give it a try. Hearing this, the girl became extremely nervous. It was just because the dozen or so ladies around him were looking at him with unfriendly eyes. From the conversation between Hu Xin and the town owner, they also understood why the town owner was so anxious to call them over. The mayor hesitated. At this time, an old woman with amazing momentum walked in. He immediately asked, Master, I heard that you called all the concubines here, what's the matter? Hu Xin took a look and said, huh? Everyone's eyes fell on him because of his surprise. The mayor asked, what are you talking about? Hu Xin smiled and said, this lady, although she is a little older, can definitely give birth to a son. However, before you and your wife have sex, you need to take a medicine. Really? The town lord was overjoyed. This woman is his legal wife, it would be a good thing if she could give birth to a son for him. Hu Xin nodded and said confidently, of course I take it seriously. Well, heal me quickly. If you really let me have a son, I will not only betroth my daughter to you, but also give you a generous reward. Hu Xin smiled and said, simple, Lord Town Master, take me to the pharmacy, I want to make some medicine and then treat you. Okay, follow me. The impatient town owner led the way himself. Soon we arrived at the pharmacy. There are 5 pharmacists here. When they see the town master coming, they quickly greet him respectfully. Huaxian looked around the entire pharmacy. Alchemy furnaces, medicine refining equipment, and other equipment are all available. There are also many common medicinal herbs. I was overjoyed. With these things, he can use medicinal herbs to improve his cultivation. Boy, can we start refining medicine now? Asked the town master. Upon hearing this, several pharmacists looked at Huaxian curiously. After a while, the leading pharmacist frowned and asked, Master Town Master, how old is this guy? What useful medicine can he make? That's right, Town Master among the 5 of us. The youngest is 61 years old, and he's only barely good enough it's impossible for this guy to refine powerful medicine at his age. Several people were very disdainful of Huaxian. It's just a matter of saying that Huaxian is a liar. The town lord's eyes fell on Huaxian, waiting for him to explain himself. Huaxian didn't even look at these guys, and said to the town master, let them leave. The elixir I'm going to refine next is extremely strict. If there is any disturbance, all the previous efforts may be wasted. Medicine. You're still refining pills? When they heard the word pill, the 5 pharmacists were extremely shocked. It's good enough to refine medicine, but you also need to refine pills? Who doesn't know how to brag? Boy, if you can refine the elixir, I will cut off my head and give it to you as a stool, the leading pharmacist said disapprovingly. He totally didn't believe that Huaxian could refine the elixir. Huaxian's eyes fell on him and he said coldly, okay, your head belongs to me. Seeing him so confident, the guy's heart trembled and some fear came over him. But on second thought, at this guy's age, it would be a problem for him to refine powerful medicines, let alone pills, which is absolutely impossible. He sneered. Wait until you refine the elixir, otherwise you are deceiving the town master. He left halfway through his speech. Chapter 849, Promotion. The other pharmacists bowed to the town master and then left. You guys go out too, Huaxian said to Enyao and the others. The matter was of great importance, and they all remembered what Huaxian had said. They could not be disturbed at all and left in tacit agreement. Town lord. And everyone else, you have to leave too. The town's women all looked at him. The town master was silent for a while, then turned and left. They then followed and left. As for the tomboy, she did not come with them. At this moment, she left the town mansion in a panic. After everyone left, Huaxian walked over and locked the door of the pharmacy. He discovered that there was an array formation, and with a little trickery he changed it. Then he boldly came to the medicine furnace with confidence. Looking at the red-hot medicine furnace outside, Huaxian took out the herbs and started making pills. The temperature is just right. The next step is to put the herbs in order and form the pill. For him, who had mastered case-level medical skills, this was as easy as playing with mud. After all, what we are refining now are just ordinary pills that can improve one's cultivation level. Of course, this ordinary pill is compared with the pills of high level. In fact, this pill can be called a magic pill for people of low level. As each precious medicine entered the medicine furnace, a rich medicinal aroma spread out. It can be seen that these drugs are very complicated. About an hour and a half. The alchemy is finished. He could not wait to open the alchemy furnace, and 10 pea-sized pills with charming dim light were floating in the furnace. Each of them has 10 complete lines, which are called Dan patterns. In addition to being divided into first grade, second grade and infinite grades, elixirs also have elixir patterns. 1 line is the lowest, 10 lines are the highest. No matter what grade of elixir it is, each line represents a layer of medicinal power. If it is a breakthrough type of elixir, 1 line means the chance of only 1 level of breakthrough, and 10 lines mean 10 levels, which means 100 chance of breakthrough. The 5 breakthrough pills refined by Huaxian are naturally of the type that can achieve a 100 breakthrough. Looking at the 10 flawless first-grade breakthrough pills, Huaxian was very satisfied after all. For an ordinary alchemist, these herbs could only be used to refine to pills at most, but he refined 10 perfect ones. For practitioners, this is equivalent to having the opportunity to break through 10 levels. And what he needs most now is strength. Take the pill. He looked towards a rusty stove not far away. It looks like it has been abandoned for a long time. I walked over to the stove, looked it over, and decided it was still usable. And he went to other furnaces to get fire stones, added them in, and placed enough fire stones in there. While the flames were heating up the furnace, he jumped in. And take out the corresponding medicinal materials as a foundation, sink the key into the DNTN, and practice the Dragon Clan's bodybuilding exercises. This process lasted for a quarter of an hour, and the temperature in the furnace quickly rose, reaching the limit that Huaxian's body could endure. If you continue like this, you will definitely get burned. At this time, Huaxian took out a breakthrough pill and swallowed it in one gulp. Suddenly, a strong medicinal effect pushed his cultivation level to rise steadily. With the resistance of the breakthrough pill, the damage caused by the high temperature was finally weakened a little and was enough to be endured. At this time, the base medicinal materials also began to melt. Upon seeing this, Huaxian frantically practiced his bodybuilding exercises and absorbed the medicinal power. In this way, the internal and external medicinal powers are strengthened. The speed of cultivation growth can be described as astonishing. Buzz, with a muffled sound, his cultivation level broke through and reached the 18th level of evolutionary genes. But this is just the beginning. Buzz. After a while, there were 2 more muffled sounds. His cultivation level broke through to the 20th level of evolutionary genes. The medicinal power of the breakthrough pill was finally exhausted. Huaxian quickly swallowed another pill and practiced madly with the basic medicinal ingredients and body refining exercises. Not only did his cultivation level improve rapidly, but his physical condition also improved even more terribly. At this moment, his physique had already been upgraded from the 10th level of evolutionary genes to the 16th level of evolutionary genes, which was truly terrifying. When the efficacy of the second breakthrough pill was exhausted, the underlying medicinal ingredients completely melted and the medicinal power entered a powerful stage. At this time, Huaxian took out 3 breakthrough pills and swallowed them in one gulp. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying power of the medicine caused a pounding sound to be heard inside the body. The process was so painful that even the strong-willed Huaxian uttered a cry of pain. I can only grit my teeth and persevere. He practiced the body refining exercises madly, and with the help of external medicinal power, he strengthened his body inside and out and improved his cultivation. Buzz, buzz, buzz. With the combination of powerful medicine and powerful skills, his realm and physique made crazy breakthroughs. In less than an hour, when the evolutionary gene reached the 28th level, the physique actually caught up. His realm and physique were finally on par, and Huaxian began to practice steadily, which enabled his physique and realm to improve together. Although the speed has slowed down, the combat power is extremely terrifying. At this time he took out the remaining 5 breakthrough pills and swallowed them in one gulp. Although the power of the medicine was even stronger, Huaxian did not feel as uncomfortable as before because of the breakthrough in his physique and realm. With the help of the remaining medicinal power in the furnace and the body refining techniques, he achieved crazy improvements. This time, it took 3 full hours to end. When everything was exhausted, without the protection of the medicine, Huaxian could no longer withstand the temperature in the furnace and jumped out. Feel the harvest and feel extremely happy. For 51st level of evolutionary genes, the same is true for physique. Feeling the strength throughout his body. His comprehensive combat power is probably no lower than the 55th level of the evolutionary gene. Such a harvest can be called cheating. Lightly clench your fist. Crackling. The joints made a harsh sound. With a smile on his face, he looked at the furnace and then began to refine the elixir needed by the town lord and his wife. To Huaxian, they were all very ordinary pills. It only took an hour to complete the alchemy. He put away the pills and happily opened the door of the pharmacy. The door opened, and the people who had been waiting at the door felt the heat coming towards them. But no one cared, all eyes were on Huaxian. The leading pharmacist sneered and asked, "Boy, you finished refining the elixir in less than 10 hours? Huaxian smiled and took out a jade bottle and threw it over. Pharmacists are very familiar with this bottle, as it is the one they use to store medicine. Seeing Huaxian so confident, he opened the bottle cork in confusion. Suddenly, a medicinal fragrance filled the air. It made the people around tremble. Regardless of whether there is elixir in the bottle, the fragrance alone makes people understand that the contents of the bottle are not simple. Several pharmacists gathered around and looked into the bottle eagerly. The pharmacist who opened the bottle was stunned when he saw the pea-sized pill inside. Is it really a pill? After a pharmacist confirmed it, he cried out in shock. The town owner also reacted, grabbed the medicine bottle and looked at it excitedly. It's really a pill. If I take it, I will be able to have a son. As he said this, he swallowed it in one gulp. Chapter 850, Follow me. Huaxian hurriedly said, Town Master, this elixir needs to be used in conjunction with my silver needle technique to cure the disease. What? The town owner panicked. Quick, do you have any silver needles for me? Huaxian asked several pharmacists. A pharmacist quickly took out a silver needle and said, I have it. Handed it to Huaxian. Huaxian took the silver needle and applied it skillfully, saying, Town Master, bear with it. It may be a little painful. Come on, what does the pain mean as long as I can have a son? Under everyone's gaze, Huaxian performed the acupuncture quickly. As the injection continued, the town master gritted his teeth and endured the pain. Beads of cold sweat dripped down his forehead, and everyone could guess how much pain he was enduring. His wives were all worried for him. About half an hour later, Huaxian took out a pill and handed it to the town lord's wife, saying, "Take this pill, and then go to the nearest room. Town lord, you come too." The wife swallowed the pill without hesitation and turned away. The town owner quickly followed. His body was covered with silver needles, and Huaxian followed him. When the others were about to follow, the town master shouted angrily, "What are you doing here?" They were so frightened that they stopped immediately. Soon we arrived at the nearest room. At this moment, the town lord's wife felt hot all over and it was unbearable. I couldn't help but want to take off my clothes. Huaxian continued to give acupuncture to the town master. At this time, the town owner also became angry. "I can't help it." The town lord's wife let out a loud roar and no longer cared about the presence of Huaxian, an outsider. He took off his clothes like crazy. Huaxian couldn't help but take a look and thought, "What a nice figure." The town master said with a gloomy face, "Boy, it's not good for you to be here." Huaxian smiled and said, "Don't be anxious, town master. Wait for 3 more minutes. I will remove the silver needle and leave." "Since there are still 3 minutes left, why did you give the damn medicine to my wife so early? This medicine has an optimal time. Only in this way can we ensure that madam will get pregnant and have a son. Master, please take me. Please take me soon." The wife could no longer hold back and knelt down to beg. This scene caused the town owner to react extremely strongly. Huaxian was starting to have wild thoughts after watching this. Fortunately, his resistance to the opposite sex, which was close to 1 billion, allowed him to control his own reason. Otherwise, I really want to replace the town owner. 3 minutes seemed to pass very quickly, but for the town lord and his wife, it felt like a year. "Boy, isn't it 3 minutes yet?" the town lord asked angrily. He has now reached his limit. The key point is that at this moment the wife is already naked and ready to pose. Fortunately, Huaxian had his back to him. Otherwise the town chief would have killed him. "Happy? Just a few seconds," Huaxian said easily. It simmered for a few seconds. Huaxian finally started to pull out the needle. Sensing the movement, the town owner became excited. In a few minutes, Huaxian pulled out all the silver needles and said, "Town master, you can start now." "Ma'am, I'm here." The town lord pounced forward. Huaxian walked quickly to the door. When closing the door, he couldn't help but take a look, and happened to meet the gaze of the town lord's wife. This makes the latter extremely shy. "Ding dong." Huaxian quickly closed the door. As planning to leave, a familiar voice came from the side. "Come with me." Huaxian looked over and saw that it was the tomboy. Huaxian asked curiously, "What's the matter?" Then he teased, "Could it be that you have a crush on me? So you want to ask me out to get a room? Shut up. You rascal, you ray plotting against me, but you're dreaming if you don't come with me today. I'll never let you succeed, even if I die." Huaxian smiled and said, "What good will it do for me if I go with you?" The tomboy hesitated for a while and said, "I have an appointment with my boyfriend. If you can defeat him in all aspects, I will agree to my father's request and follow you. Otherwise, it will be absolutely impossible." "Is that so? Then I'd like to see what's so special about your partner that makes you so obsessed with him." After saying that, he walked towards her. The tomboy turned and left. Huaxian followed behind. And soon they came to a bamboo forest next to the courtyard wall. "Hey, why did you bring me here? Could it be that your partner is also from the town lord's mansion? You'll know if you follow me." Soon they arrived deep in the bamboo forest, and when they saw a dog hole, Huaxian immediately understood. Because the courtyard wall is also blessed by the formation, after careful observation, the dog hole is not simple. It is actually a dog hole forcibly dug out by a miniature formation that avoids the formation of the courtyard wall. From this we can see that the tomboy made great efforts to meet her lover. Huaxian became even more curious about the tomboy's lover. At this time, the tomboy had already climbed out, and the sacrifice blew to urge, "Come out quickly." Huaxian was speechless, but finally crawled out. The tomboy looked around and quickly took some weeds to block the entrance of the hole. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief, glanced at Huaxian and said, "Follow me." After crossing the streets, we arrived at Slum Street. It is also the old street of Fang Huo town. The people who live here are all poor and backward. He quickly walked into a hotel, threw a devil coin to the waiter, and walked upstairs with Huaxian. A waiter excitedly put away the devil coins without making a sound. Soon we arrived at the worst box on the second floor. Boom boom boom. The tomboy knocked on the door, being very careful about everything. "Boo. Hex, it's me." The tomboy answered in a girl's voice. The sound was so pleasant that Huaxian couldn't help but look at it out of curiosity. There was a sound of hurried footsteps in the room and the door opened quickly. Huaxian looked inside and saw a pretty boy who looked like a weak scholar. I was speechless. I didn't expect that the tomboy liked this kind of stuff. X also looked at Huaxian and asked coldly, "It's you who stole my girlfriend?" Uxian smiled coldly and said, "Robbery? You think too much the town master gave her to me? You." The tomboy was very angry. "If that's the case, why don't you refuse?" X asked. "Everyone knows the town lord's temper. Also, if you like her so much, why don't you come and propose marriage?" "Who said I didn't propose marriage? It's just that the town lord rejected me every time," Hex said, very depressed. "Lie. After I rejected you, you won't think of a solution? If that's the case, you wouldn't be able to be with her even without me." The tomboy thought this made sense, so she looked at Hex, expecting his answer. X suddenly put his arm around her waist and said, "Of course there is a way. As long as Essalia and I have a child, I believe the town lord will not reject us anymore. So Celia, let's enter the bridal chamber tonight, okay?" X. "I told you not to mention such things before my father's approval." Essalia was indifferent to this suggestion. X said, "Aggrieved lie, but Essalia, I really have no choice." Chapter 851, Disappointment. Candle Demon Hex, "I am really disappointed with your appearance." Demon Stripe Essalia roared angrily. X heard her words and said angrily, "Essalia, you have changed. Are you in love with this guy?" X, "What are you talking about? If I liked him I would bring him to see you. Since you don't like him, why don't you want to sleep with me? As long as we have a child, your father will definitely not stop us." Having said that, he rushed over, hugged Essalia and wanted to kiss her. Essalia felt even more disgusted by this. "X, you disappoint me so much." I suddenly wanted to push him away. It turns out Hex is much stronger than him, and he doesn't stand a chance. X had already picked her up and rushed to the lounge inside the box. Uxian was completely ignored during the whole process. "Damn it, Hex. I hate you. I am so blind to fall for you," Essalia roared in anger. Huff. The clothes on his body were torn to shreds by Hex. Smelling her fragrance and looking at her skin as white as jade, Hex went even more crazy. "Essalia. From now on, you are mine." "X is crazy. Save me. Uxian, save me." Celia finally asked Uxian for help. For Hex. A thoroughly disappointing delivery. Uxian, who had been watching the show, finally took action. He rushed over, grabbed Hex, and used his absolute strength to separate him from Essalia and threw him out fiercely. Boo! There was a loud bang, and a flash of light from the formation appeared, then dimmed in an instant. The wall was smashed. And Hex smashed onto the street outside. Uxian looked at Essalia. Her resistance to the opposite sex was close to 1 billion, so he had no improper thoughts about her. "Turn around and walk away. Wait for me." Celia took out her clothes, changed them quickly, and chased after him. Dust came downstairs. Hex, who had fallen heavily, shouted angrily, "Essalia, you bitch, I knew you had betrayed me a long time ago. Everyone, remember this clearly. The Devil Stripe Essalia is not a man at all, she is a woman. The town lord's only son is a woman." In anger, he directly announced the secret. What? The whole audience was shocked. Someone said, "I was wondering why Devil Stripe Essalia is a girl's name. It turns out she is originally a woman. I have long suspected that the town lord's son is abnormal, but I didn't expect it to be a woman." When the Devil Striped Essalia heard the discussions of passersby, she suddenly turned pale and panicked. She knew that this was what her father cared about most. Now that it has been announced by Hextech, it feels like something big is going to happen. X didn't take it seriously and continued madly. "Essalia, that bitch, concealed her identity and actively pursued me at the beginning, and now she has met this bastard and is going to betray me." "X, shut up!" Essalia roared in extreme anger. "Are you panicked when I expose you? Even if you are the daughter of the town lord, he will definitely kill you. Essalia hates it so much." He drew his sword and rushed over, saying, "Hex, I will kill you. I've never hated a man so much. You think you can kill me?" X endured the injury from the fall and grabbed the sword that Essalia was using to kill him. A ruthless look flashed in his eyes. He took out his sword and killed the enemy with one blow. "I thought, Essalia. You betrayed me first, you deserve to die." Essalia's cultivation level was no match for her opponent at all. Seeing this, she closed her eyes in despair. My heart felt even colder. Uxian appeared in front of her in an instant and clamped the long sword that Hex was slashing at her with the fingers. Essalia did not feel the coming of death and opened her eyes in confusion. Seeing this back, my cold heart was touched a little. "You deserve to die. You stole my woman and now you dare to meddle in other people's business. I will kill you." X went a little crazy. He let go of Essalia's sword and punched Uxian, wanting to kill him. Essalia hated him to the extreme. Seized the opportunity and strike with the sword. Phew! X was unable to react in time and his neck was cut by the sword. He looked at Essalia in disbelief. "You." Heads rolled off. Blood splattered. Uxian pulled Essalia and quickly retreated to avoid it. Hex's head fell to the ground, his eyes still staring at Essalia willingly. His mouth moved but blood foam came out. Esalia looked at Hex and her heart ached. I thought this was the man I could entrust my life to. But I didn't expect him to be so unable to stand the test just because of Huaxian's appearance. He became a completely different person. Let's go back, Huaxian said. Only then did Esalia react. He suddenly looked at Huaxian and was very surprised when he thought of what had happened. Before, X had clearly torn her clothes to shreds. If it were any other man, he would probably have behaved like a beast to her. But he didn't. Besides, his father said that his cultivation level was not high, but now, Hex, who he thought was very good, was completely powerless in front of it. This guy also has advanced medical skills, so mysterious. Thinking of this, Celia suddenly found that she didn't seem to dislike him at all, but was rather curious about him. Wait for me, he shouted and chased after him. The people around were in an uproar. Oh my god, the town lord's son is not a son, but a daughter? Shush, keep your voice down whether this matter is true or not. It is not something we can discuss, be careful or you may lose your head. This time Huaxian chose to go through the main gate of the town mansion. Celia caught up with him and asked curiously, you don't seem to be afraid of anything. What do I need to be afraid of? Huaxian asked back. Celia said, you have caused my identity as a daughter to be known to the whole city. Aren't you afraid that my father will blame you? You'll have a little brother soon. So why should you be afraid? Are you so confident? I've always been confident. Then tell me, do you like me or not? Not annoying. Don't hate it? That means you don't like me? I am the most beautiful woman in Fenghuo town. Oh, the most beautiful woman in Fenghuo town? I want to see if she lives up to her name. A few young men came out from the fork in the road not far away. The one who answered was the young man walking in front. Huaxian ignored him and strode forward, while Celia trotted after him. Several young men quickly caught up with them and surrounded them. The leading young man glanced at Huaxian, and his sneering face suddenly turned ferocious. He slapped Huaxian hard and said, you dared to leave when I'm here? You're looking for death by ignoring me. Next second, Huaxian grabbed my wrist. The young man was stunned and subconsciously wanted to curse. Huaxian applied gentle force. Click. The wrist was crushed. Chapter 852, Good Things Are Interrupted. Bang. The young man didn't even have time to scream. Bang. Huaxian punched him hard in the face. It flew out heavily and fell to the ground without any sound. The other aggressive young men were frightened when they saw this. When I felt Huaxian's cold gaze looking at me, I was so scared that I shivered. Run. One of them yelled and turned around and ran away. The rest of the people also dispersed. Huaxian grabbed the stunned Celia and left. Feeling the warmth from Huaxian's hand and looking at his thin back, she felt a sense of security and stars gradually appeared in her eyes. Hey, you're going to marry me, right? After a long time, Esalia asked. I don't know, Huaxian answered casually. My father promised me to you. And you didn't refuse from now on. I, Esalia, will be yours. After saying that, she struggled to free herself from Huaxian's hand and took his wrist. My biggest wish is to be able to go shopping on the street with the person I love. I didn't expect that the person I liked had changed, but my wish came true so easily. She knew that faced with such an outstanding son-in-law, there was no reason for her father to refuse him. Along the way, the two did not attract much attention, because except for the people at the scene who knew Esalia's identity, no one else would associate a girl with the town chief's son. However, as we approached the town's mansion, seeing them walking towards the town's mansion, passers-by nearby became curious. When they arrived at the gate of the town mansion, the guard did not recognize Esalia in her female form, but he felt that she looked very familiar. Instead, I got to know Huaxian, who had arrived earlier. Mr. Hu, when did you go out? I had no memory of Huaxian leaving the town lord's mansion, so I couldn't help but ask. I've been out for a while. After Huaxian answered, he took Celia in. Mr. Hu, I finally found you. The master is looking for you. The old butler saw Huaxian running over breathlessly and said, because I was too anxious, I didn't notice Esalia at the first time. You are a lady, what are you doing? The old butler was shocked. Old butler. Yes, it's me from now on. I am no longer a tomboy. Esalia said courageously. By the way, you said Daddy is looking for my man. Where is Daddy? The old butler finally reacted and said quickly, the master is in the study. Hubby, let's go. Celia took Huaxian and left. The old butler looked at this scene and felt that something was going to happen, so he hurried over. Soon we arrived at the town lord's study. Boom boom boom. Celia knocked on the door and said, Dad, we are here. Come in. Esalia pushed the door open and walked in. The town owner was seen smiling and flipping through an ancient book. He looked up when he heard the footsteps stop. Seeing that Esalia had returned to her female body, he frowned subconsciously. He remembered something and his eyes fell on Huaxian. He looked at Celia again and said with a smile, Son-in-law, your medicine and medical skills are really amazing. After fighting with your mother-in-law, I felt like I was 18 years old again. Your mother-in-law was so tired that she couldn't get out of bed. As he said this, he couldn't help but burst into laughter excitedly. When Esalia understood, her face turned red and she felt extremely shy. Dad, my daughter is still here, he reminded carefully. I know you are here since you have returned to being a girl, and it seems that you have a good relationship with your son-in-law. You don't have to pretend to be a man anymore. Thank you, Daddy. Devilstripe Esalia was extremely excited. Son-in-law, are you sure that my wife can have a 100 chance of getting a son? The mayor asked. I'm sure. Besides, other ladies of yours who have a certain chance of winning the bid can also give it a try. I believe that it won't be long before you will have many children. The mayor was extremely excited when he heard this. He smiled and said, and I won't bother you two anymore. After saying that, he left quickly, thinking to himself, I'll try with the next lady. Devilstripe Esalia's eyes fell on Huaxian. Huaxian also happened to look over here, and their eyes met. The latter's eyes were evasive, his face turned red and he lowered his head. Now that she has gained her father's approval, she completely regards herself as Huaxian's person, so she lets Huaxian do whatever he wants. It's late at night, it's time to go to bed. After saying that, he turned and left. However, Celia misunderstood Huaxian's words and followed behind shyly. After walking for a while, I realized that the direction was wrong. Esalia mustered up the courage to say, my room is over there. Huaxian paused. A smile appeared on his face. Then I'll take you back to your room first. Esalia was stunned. After realizing it, she seemed to have misunderstood Huaxian's meaning, and her face turned red with embarrassment. He secretly looked at Huaxian, actually worried that Huaxian would dislike him. Not long after, they arrived at the door of Esalia's room. Celia pushed the door open and said after hesitating for a while, come in and sit down. Huaxian thought about it deliberately and said, okay. I walked into the house and closed the door subconsciously. This scene made Esalia, who had almost felt relieved, nervous again. She came to the table and said, husband, please sit down. Husband? Huaxian looked at her in pretended surprise. Celia was extremely shy, gritted her teeth and said, yes, Daddy has agreed to our relationship, so you are naturally my husband. Huaxian did not sit down, but moved closer to him, very close with their faces almost touching. Then he asked, are you sure you want to be my woman? Esalia was extremely nervous, smelling the masculine scent of Huaxian. She felt as if all the strength in her body was being drained away. My feet were unsteady and trembling. A sound as thin as a fly was heard. Huaxian took the opportunity to hold her in his arms. At this moment, Celia felt that she had lost all her strength and completely collapsed on Huaxian, her breathing becoming unusually rapid. But Huaxian smiled. It is confirmed that this is Esalia's first contact with a man. It has come to this, and I am not in the mood to tease anymore. He bit Esalia's cherry lips hard. Esalia's body trembled violently and she completely fell, like a lamb to be slaughtered, allowing Huaxian to slaughter her. Huaxian moved skillfully, and in a short while, Esalia was naked. The body is curvy and flawless. Although it is not as beautiful as a divine beauty, it is definitely top-notch. In a small place like Fenghuo Town, she is definitely the most beautiful woman in the world. Just when the two were about to take a step closer, boom boom boom, there was a knock on the door. A hazy atmosphere suddenly ended, and Esalia shyly pulled the quilt to cover her head. His good time was interrupted. Huaxian stood up with a gloomy face, put on his clothes, walked over and opened the door. Seeing that it was the old butler knocking on the door, he asked in a deep voice, what's the matter? Chapter 853, Stop it. The old butler was an experienced person and knew what was going on when he saw this situation. He said awkwardly, it's like this. Candle Demon Hex is dead, and now the Candle Demon clan has come, and they insist that it was you and the young lady who killed Candle Demon Hex. I asked the mayor for instructions, and he told you to solve it yourself. Okay, I understand. Knock knock. After saying that, he slammed the door shut. The old butler stood there in a daze. He said bitterly, Mr. Hu, it is like this. The Candle Demon clan is the largest clan in Fenghuo Town. Its strength is second only to the town lord's mansion, and there are clan members serving as disciples in the demon sect. They have a strong background. Even the town lord will give them some face. Plus, Candle Demon Hex has the same name as the town lord, so the two families have a good relationship. It's not good for you to leave him alone like this. Huaxian still didn't take it seriously. He quickly walked to the bedside and was about to take action. Celia stood up and put on her clothes, saying, hubby, the Candle Demon clan is not simple if we don't know how to deal with it. I'm afraid it will really cause trouble. We have plenty of time for other things, so let's deal with the Candle Demon clan's affairs first. When he said this, He looked into Hu Xian's eyes. I thought, if you don't have confidence, we can go to Dad for help. Hu Xian said depressedly. Okay, let's deal with the people of the Candle Demon clan first. His tone was cold and you could tell he was very angry. Seeing that Hu Xian was not panicked at all, Celia felt relieved but also excited. This is his man, he is not afraid at all when facing the Candle Demon clan, which is second only to the Town Lord's mansion. Husband, are you really just a villager in Fengling village? I couldn't help but ask. Of course not. I knew it. I am the genius of Fengling village. Before Celia could finish her words, Hu Xian interrupted. Celia rolled her eyes and said, but, Fengling village is one of the poorest villages in Feng Huo town. How could it cultivate a talent like you? So, you must be lying to me. Hu Xian smiled bitterly and said, "Can't you just play dumb? Why are you so smart? Husband, you won't hate me, will you?" Celia suddenly became a little worried. That's not the case. But there are some things that cannot be known by outsiders, so I hope you don't tell anyone. I understand, I'm sorry. Husband, I promise I won't ask any more questions, and I won't tell anyone else, not even my father. That's good. Hu Xian said in a very relieved tone and then hugged her in his arms. Celia was immediately overjoyed. Unconsciously, I became more and more attached to Hu Xian. Soon they arrived at the reception hall of the Town Lord's mansion. The Town Lord's mansion is so great that it has made us wait for a long time. This angry voice could be heard from far away. The old housekeeper had already trotted over and said bitterly, "Patriarch Jin Hongyao, don't worry. People are on the way." Ah, people? Could it be that the person who came is not the town master? If this is the case, does the Town Lord's mansion really not take my Candle Demon clan seriously? A violent roar erupted from the hall. Hu Xian and Celia just walked to the door of the hall. Someone is coming. A woman's voice came, very angry. Everyone looked towards the entrance of the hall. And I saw Hu Xian and Celia walking in. "It was you who killed my son?" And Hongyao asked angrily. Obviously, everything has been known through the surveillance at the scene. Hu Xian ignored the other party. Under the angry gazes of the other three people, he pulled Celia step by step towards the main seat. This scene made the three members of the Candle Demon clan so angry that their faces turned pale and they clenched their fists, unable to hold back and ready to explode. The old butler standing by was terrified when he saw this scene. Looking at Hu Xian's back, I thought, this guy is too arrogant. I'm afraid something might happen. Boy, I'm asking you a question. Tian Hongyao roared angrily. The powerful energy has locked onto Hu Xian, and is ready to explode at any time. Hu Xian still ignored it. Celia, who was being held by him, seemed to be worried and unnatural, and her hands were obviously shaking. The main reason was that she was next to Hu Xian, and also felt Tian Hongyao's powerful aura, so she was very panicked. Being ignored by Hu Xian again. Tian Hongyao was furious. What an unreasonable young man. I don't care who you are, if you kill my son, then you should be buried with him. He turned into a shadow and rushed towards Hu Xian. Husband. Celia was extremely nervous. Hu Xian turned around slowly. He said in an extremely cold voice, "You are only at the 47th level of the Evolver. And you dare to act so arrogantly in front of me?" As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and grabbed Tian Hongyao's violent fist. This scene shocked the whole audience. Everyone was stunned. How is this possible? Tian Hongyao then exclaimed. Looking at Hu Xian, I felt even more terrified. No wonder he could easily kill his own son. I didn't expect that he could also easily take on his own attacks. This guy's realm is probably above the 50th level of the Evolver. Could it be an old man pretending to be young? No matter which one it is, if you are not careful today, you will be in trouble. Break it for me. Buzz. It exploded with all its strength, and terrifying energy waves swept across madly. The entire Town Lord's mansion was shrouded in it. And it is still spreading far away. The Town Lord, who was working with his wife, suddenly stopped. Zhou Yumei said, "What a Candle Demon Tian Hongyao, he actually dared to attack me in my Town Lord's mansion." After saying that, he got up to check. The lady, who was at a critical moment, hugged him and said, "Master, why are you going to do that? That boy was able to force Tian Hongyao to take action. It must be very difficult if he wanted help. Celia would have asked for help long ago. It would be useless for you to go there." Devil Strike Hex thought about it and felt the same way. He smiled and said, "Madam, your analysis is very thoughtful. Let's continue. Master Harder Master is so good." Buzz. This side of the main hall. But the dull thud, Tian Hongyao exerted all his strength. And the floor tiles on the ground shattered. However, he still couldn't break free from Hu Xian's restraints. Hu Xian smiled and said, "It's easy to take action, but it's hard to stop. After that, increase your strength." Tian Hongyao could feel a pure and powerful force bursting out from Hu Xian's hand and rushing towards his fist. That wasn't what frightened him. The terrifying force was directed at his fist, spreading to his arm, and then to his entire body. Shocked and terrified. It's unbelievable that this guy's control over pure power has reached such a terrifying level. As the power grew stronger, the fear in his heart was also magnified to the extreme. Stop it! Yan Hongyao roared in horror. Outsiders also saw that his body was swelling up due to his increasing strength. Only then did I understand what Yan Hongyao had experienced. Looking at Hu Xian, he was also terrified. He didn't expect that even the leader of the Candle Demon clan was not his opponent. Stop it, the woman yelled. Chapter 854, Unexpectedly. At this moment, Shumochin Hongyao's body swelled like a balloon, as if every part of it was filled with gas. This scene is so shocking. No one doubts that once it explodes, nothing will be intact. The woman felt even more desperate when she saw this. I told you to stop. He actually pounced on Hu Xian but didn't dare to attack, because she knew she was no match for him. However, what she did shocked everyone in the audience. She hugged Hu Xian and bit his lips hard. Hu Xian could have avoided it, but he didn't feel any danger and so he didn't. But I never expected this woman to be so crazy. However, even more shocking things are yet to come. The woman's hand moved downward and then grabbed suddenly. Such an exciting thing made Hu Xian tremble. The woman's actions became more and more excessive. Stop, Hu Xian roared, speechless. Lie. Please let my husband go. I will do anything you ask me to do as long as you let him go. The tone is seductive and extremely alluring. The other hand even lifted up the collar. A white picture comes into view, matched with the mature temperament. In the past, Hu Xian would have really fallen. Bang! Hu Xian suddenly exploded and kicked the woman hard, sending her flying. The woman who flew backwards was in disbelief. You know, she had just used her charm. Although her appearance is average, under the influence of her charm, almost no man can escape her control. But the young man in front of him kicked him away. This scene shocked countless people. Even Esalia was affected by her charm now. When she came to her senses, she looked at Hu Xian in shock. How could he resist the seductive spell that even a woman like him couldn't escape? Boom! With a deafening bang, the body of the Candle Demon Yan Hongyao exploded into a bloody mist. This scene shocked the entire audience. Husband? The woman threw herself into the blood mist and screamed in pain. Suddenly, a look of extreme hatred turned towards Hu Xian. You killed my son and then my husband. From now on, Night Charm Scarlet Disc, will be yours. What the hell? Hu Xian was a little confused. I thought this woman was going to fight me to the death, but I didn't expect that she was actually going to pester me. Scarlet Disc, are you crazy? Big brother is already dead, and you still want to betray him? Another middle-aged man who looked somewhat similar to Yan Hongyao shouted angrily. But the way he looked at the Scarlet Disc was full of madness. And he was obviously bewitched and lost his mind. Scarlet Disc suddenly looked at him and used her charm. Tian Hong Tai, do you like me? The latter said, obsessed lie, I like it. And you're willing to do everything for me? The last trace of rationality in his eyes disappeared. And he walked towards the Scarlet Disc obsessively and said, I do. Then blow yourself up. Good. Yan Hong Tai's body was visibly expanding, getting bigger and bigger. Boom! It exploded like a rainbow. When Celia saw this scene, she was shocked. I didn't expect the Scarlet Disc charm to be so terrifying. If this is used, how many people, except your own husband, can bear it? Scarlet Disc walked towards Hu Xian step by step. Hu Xian did not dodge. She came to Hu Xian, looked at him affectionately and said, either kill me or take me in. I killed your husband and son, and you still want to follow me? Hu Xian couldn't help but ask curiously. If you lose your husband, you can find another one. Aren't you excellent? If you lose your son, I can have many children with you. Please accept me. As she said that, she threw herself into Hu Xian's arms and hugged him tightly. At the same time, there is a pleasant and intoxicating fragrance. There was no such fragrance before. Hu Xian looked down at the Scarlet Disc. The more he looked at it, the more beautiful it became. He liked it more and more. His eyes gradually became blurred. Take me in. Please. From this moment on, I am yours. When clothes fall off, it makes people sink even more. Esalia, a woman standing nearby, was so bewitched that she stood still. Hu Xian suddenly hugged her in his arms. At that moment, the corners of Scarlet Dai's mouth curled up, revealing a wicked smile. She looked into Hu Xian's eyes, waiting for him to be completely lost. I roared in my heart, bitch. I don't care who you are or how powerful you are. I must kill you and avenge my son and husband. However, the disappointed look never completely gave way. In response, she had to step up her offensive. He squatted down slowly and took off Hu Xian's pants. It was at this time that Hu Xian pretended to be lost. Scarlet Disc was overjoyed when he saw this. Go to hell. With a low roar, a dagger carrying a deadly poison stabbed at Huaxian fiercely. You really want to kill me? Huaxian's cold voice suddenly came. Scarlet Disc's body trembled and he looked over, seeing Huaxian staring at him with cold eyes. Why aren't you bewitched by me? Don't you like women? He asked, unwillingly. Huaxian grabbed her, held her in his arms and said, of course I like it. But I don't believe that you will still be devoted to me even if I kill your husband and son. Kill me. Scarlet Disc raised his neck and closed his eyes. This scene, on the contrary, fascinated Huaxian. I didn't expect that such a resolute woman could have such an attractive side, coupled with being teased by the scarlet butterfly again and again. He had a lot of anger that needed to be vented. So he held her and left. Cecilia froze in place. I don't know what's wrong. Rushed into a room at random. Scarlet Disc sensed something was wrong, opened his eyes and asked angrily, what are you going to do? Huaxian smiled and said, didn't I kill your son? I'll give you another one right away as for your husband. Am I not a better husband? Under the Scarlet Disc's angry and disbelieving gaze, Huaxian exploded directly. When a layer of barriers was broken, Huaxian was stunned. Staring at the Scarlet Disc, he asked in disbelief, you are still a virgin? Tears flowed from the corners of Scarlet Disc's eyes, and his cultivation level dropped visibly. However, Huaxian felt a powerful force surging into his body and his cultivation began to rise. Extremely shocked. This power is extremely mysterious and can actually improve both one's realm and physique at the same time. Realizing that this power was not simple, he dared not delay. Get moving now. As he exercised, the force grew stronger. Boom. After a while, there was a muffled sound, and his cultivation level broke through. However, this is just the beginning. With the breakthrough in his cultivation, Huaxian worked even harder and more crazily. A full 5 hours. The battle is over. Scarlet Disc collapsed on the bed exhausted. His face was pale, and there was no trace of cultivation on him anymore. He looked like an ordinary person. She was in tears and looked at Huaxian unwillingly. Huaxian was in a good mood. I thought Scarlet Disc was a dirty woman. I didn't expect her to be a virgin and have a rare physique. However, if a woman with this physique loses her virginity, all her cultivation and physical characteristics will be taken away by the man. Now both his realm and physique have reached the 62nd level of the evolutionary gene, an improvement of 11 levels. It is so shocking. Chapter 855. They are all mine. At this time, blood was oozing from the corners of Scarlet Disc's mouth, and his pale face was completely bloodless. Huaxian was shocked and could tell at a glance that she had committed suicide by biting her tongue. He quickly took action to control her and took out the silver needles to treat him. The pills that were made for the town master before being fed to him, although not for healing, did have certain medicinal effects. When combined with erase spells, the effect is very good. After dozens of stitches, Scarlet Die's complexion gradually turned rosy. Huaxian opened her cherry mouth and his bitten tongue was recovering visibly. In just a few minutes, he fully recovered. Why don't you let me die? Scarlet Disc questioned angrily. Because you are my woman now, how can I bear to see you die? You bastard. You took away everything from me. Why are you still torturing me? Scarlet Disc was extremely angry and wanted to bite her tongue to commit suicide. Huaxian quickly stopped him and said, does being my woman make you feel wronged? He held her in his arms, his hands not restless. Asshole. You're a beast. Okay, I have a way to restore your cultivation and even improve it. I didn't believe it at first. But when I thought about Huaxian's miraculous medical skills, I began to doubt it. Are you telling the truth? Of course it's true. It won't do me any good if I lie to you. By the way, honey, what's going on between you? Tian Hongyao and Shu Mo Hex? How can he be worthy of me? He is just a pawn for me to hide my identity as he may. As for the Candle Demon Hex, it was just a child I picked up randomly when I pretended to be pregnant and gave birth. I used charm to make all the people in the Candle Demon clan believe that it was the child of Tian Hongyao and me. So that's how it is. I didn't expect that. I almost missed out on a wonderful wife. You said you could help me recover my cultivation and even take it to the next level. Come on. Don't worry, honey, I can't do it yet. But I promise you, I will be able to do it in the future. You just want to hold me back, right? Wife, what you said is so rude. Besides, if I didn't really like you, given your current status as an ordinary person, you would have completely aged in a few decades. Would I have bothered to hold you back? Scarlet Disc thought about it carefully and realized that this was the case. But I still feel unwilling. Then why did you save me and not let me die? Because I am a responsible man. If I do touch something, I will definitely take responsibility. After saying that, he took a bite. Scarlet Disc felt the evil thing approaching him, and struggled silently. No, it hurts. Hey, pain is not an excuse. After saying that, he attacked directly. You beast. A few hours later. Scarlet Disc collapsed completely. Asshole, I hate you. As he spoke, he fell asleep from exhaustion. Hubby, you're going too far. A resentful voice came from the side. Huaxian looked over suddenly and saw Esalia standing there without him knowing when. Wife, when did you come? I've been here for a few hours. Impossible, how could I not feel anything at all? It would be strange if you were obsessed with women and had any perception. Come with me. He dragged Huaxian away. Hey, wait for me, get dressed. Esalia doesn't care about that. He grabbed Huaxian and rushed to the next room. Then he took the initiative to attack and take down Huaxian. The next day at noon, Scarlet Disc woke up and found herself alone. She smiled in despair, thinking that all men were bad. I just want to bite my tongue and commit suicide. But when I thought about how depressing it would be to die like this, I gave up. Next room. Huaxian also woke up. Esalia was lying on him with her legs spread out, which made him smile bitterly. I gently moved her away and wanted to take out my clothes to put on, only to realize that I had just come into this world and didn't have any spare clothes. I had no choice but to rush back to the next room naked. I found Scarlet Die lying on the bed, deep in thought, and didn't even realize I came in. He walked over with a smile and pounced on him. Scarlet Disc screamed in fear. Wife, what are you thinking about? Huaxian asked, pressing on her. I wonder if some bastard, who took advantage of everything, doesn't want to take responsibility anymore. What are you talking about? Am I that kind of person? After saying that, he stood up and put on his clothes. And he picked up Scarlet Disc and dressed her. How is it? Does it still hurt? Snort. The Scarlet Disc snorted angrily and turned away. Huaxian smiled and picked her up. At this time, the door opened. Husband, you are partial. Esalia looked at her with resentment. How can I be partial to you, my husband? It hurts me too. Okay, I understand. So, Huaxian held one in his arms, and carried one on his back. Just walked out the door. A group of women came over from a distance. Husband. They shouted excitedly. It's Anna and the others. Everyone was envious when they saw Huaxian, carrying one child on his back or hugging another. I'm not jealous. They understand that in this world, there are always many women around outstanding men. I just hope I can have a place in Huaxian's heart. What's wrong? Didn't you get enough rest last night? Huaxian asked, looking at their haggard faces. Honey, I missed you so much last night that I couldn't sleep, okay? And Yao said with a pout. I see. It's my husband's fault since you didn't sleep well. You should go back to sleep for a while. Brother, I'm worried about my family, Grace whispered. Oh, I forgot about this. Well, my wife, Celia, take some people from the town lord's mansion with you, and let's go to Fengai village together to see if they have bullied Grace's family. Good. After saying that, Esalia endured the pain and left to mobilize troops. Let's go to the gate and wait for Esalia. Thank you, brother. Grace was deeply moved. With people from the town lord's mansion stepping in, who in Fengai village would dare to touch their parents? Silly girl. Why thank me, we are all family, let's go. Husband. Are we family too? Are you? Hu Jing asked courageously. Huaxian stopped and looked over and asked, what did you call me? Are you? Hu Jing was extremely nervous, but she still mustered up the courage to say, husband. Huaxian suddenly laughed and said, you call me husband and ask me if I am mine? Really? Are you? Hu Jing excitedly threw herself into Huaxian's arms and kissed him hard on the face. Brother, can I do it too? Seeing this, Enzianzian also plucked up the courage to ask. Okay. You'll all be my babies from now on, let's go. Arrived at the gate. Unexpectedly, Esalia was already waiting at the door with a large group of soldiers. It is worth noting that the town owner is also there. See Huaxian leading the way. He laughed and said, son-in-law, I heard that you are going home. Take these gifts with you and say hello to your village chief on my behalf. After saying that, he handed a space ring to Huaxian. Thank you, father-in-law. Chapter 856. Not contempt. After thanking him, Huaxian looked around quickly. There are millions of demon crystals, and some other weapons and equipment as well, which is considered a big deal. Now that there is no system, demon crystals are also a necessary currency for Huaxian. My boy. Remember to come back early. In the town chief's mind, Huaxian has already become his son-in-law. In addition, Huaxian's treatment restored his fighting strength to that of an 18-year-old, and he conquered 3 ladies in one night. It was hard for him not to be happy. Good. Under the leadership of Esalia, the large army left the town's main mansion. Along the way, countless passers-by were shocked by this scene. I know that guy. When I entered the city yesterday, he said he knew the town lord. I didn't expect it to be true. I also saw that guy killing someone in the street. The person he killed was the young patriarch of the Candle Demon clan. Oh my god, That woman looks so familiar. Fuck, isn't that the wife of the Candle Demon clan leader, the mother of Candle Demon Hex? Why is she with the man who killed his son? All the way down, it was a huge mess. In front, a large group of people, led by an old man, were heading towards the town's mansion. Get out of the way, they are from the Candle Demon clan. I heard that Candle Demon Hex was killed by the people from the Town Lord's mansion. They are going to fight the Town Lord's mansion to the death. I saw the leader of the Candle Demon clan and his wife go to the Town Lord's mansion last night. Countless people at both ends of the street were shocked. They all followed the movements of both teens. Soon, each of them saw the huge movement. Me in the middle of the street. The scene immediately became quiet. The atmosphere was suffocatingly depressing. The people watching the show all retreated into the distance passively. The eyes of all the Candle Demons fell on the Night Charm Scarlet Disc. They are all eyes that want to kill. The old man in the lead asked angrily, Scarlet Disc, why are you the only one alive? As both of my sons are dead? Old Patriarch, do you even need to ask this? Scarlet Disc. That bitch betrayed us. An old man cursed angrily. The look in his eyes when he looked at Scarlet Disc was filled with not only hatred but also unwillingness. Oxian could tell at a glance that this old guy had been planning to get the Scarlet Disc. Very good, Scarlet Disc, if you put it away like this. Did you team up with the people from the Town Lord's mansion to kill your husband and son? The old patriarch asked angrily. Scarlet Disc said coldly, first of all, Candle Demon Qian Hongyao has never even touched my hand all along. I have only used charm to control him. Since he has never touched me, you should know that Candle Demon Hex is not my son. The reason I stayed in your Candle Demon clan was just to avoid being hunted down by my enemies. Now, my husband is her. The devil's lucky star. After saying that, he jumped up from the tall horse he was sitting on and fell into Huexian's arms. Huexian hugged her and smiled. Thus call me Huexian. Amit. Old Patriarch, please give the order to send them down. The old man was extremely angry. He would rather destroy what he cannot obtain. And what are you still standing there for? Ill. The old patriarch led the charge. Ill. Asilia also gave the order immediately. The army behind us is about to take action. Huexian quickly stopped him and said, I can handle my own affairs myself. Boom. The pressure from the 62nd level of evolutionary genes erupted. It's just the pressure from the realm, not including the pressure from the physical strength. This caused thousands of people from the Candle Demon clan to be stuck in the quagmire, unable to move. At this moment, all the members of the Candle Demon clan fell into terror. Huexian's eyes were full of fear and shock. Even if the people around were not targeted, they were shocked when they felt the aura from Huexian. It's unbelievable. This guy looks no more than 30 years old, right? He actually possesses such a terrifying level of strength. He is definitely not from our Feng Huo town, someone exclaimed. Yes. He must be from a big city outside, maybe from the demon sect. It's also possible that he came from the Magic and Martial Arts Academy. People are talking about Huexian's background and identity. Enya was stunned and said, my husband is so strong, but why did he show weakness before? My husband must have always been this strong. Otherwise why wouldn't he be afraid of the Wolf King? That's right, my husband is confident, so he is not afraid of the powerful Wolf King. And he is brave enough not to be afraid of the Town Lord's mansion. We are so stupid, we keep worrying about our husbands. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Huexian burst out with increasingly powerful momentum. Riding on a tall horse, he walked towards the people of the Candle Demon clan. As they got closer, the people of the Candle Demon clan were so terrified that they broke out in cold sweats. Before long, everyone was drenched in their own sweat. Old Patriarch, what should we do? A young man asked in fear and despair. Old Patriarch, I don't want to die. I'm still young and I haven't married yet, please save me. Old Patriarch, I don't want to die either. The younger generation of the Candle Demon clan roared in despair. The old patriarch looked gloomy as ink. He was upset and in an extremely bad mood. Who are you? I'm afraid the Candle Demon clan has no grudges against you, so why are you targeting my clan? The old patriarch glared at Huexian and asked loudly. Huexian smiled coldly and said, so you guys came to trouble me without clarifying the situation. Can I think that you are bullying others by taking advantage of your power? Huexian's voice became increasingly cold. This made the people of the Candle Demon clan even more panicked. Don't mess around, we have people from the Candle Demon clan in the demon sect. If you kill us, the strong men from our clan in the demon sect will not let you go. The demon sect. Is it very powerful? Huexian asked with a sneer, not understanding the demon sect. It gives people the feeling that they don't take the demon sect seriously. How arrogant and courageous, you don't even take my demon sect seriously. Following this angry voice, two figures came rushing over. A whole audience was shocked and looked over in disbelief. They didn't expect that there were disciples of the demon sect in Fenghuo town. Hu Xian also looked over with some surprise. En Yao and the others all started to panic. The main reason is that the demon sect is very famous. Although it is not as famous as the Demonic and Martial Arts Academy, it is also very prestigious. It is definitely not something that the forces of Fenghuo town can provoke. A man and a woman came above the crowd, looking down at Hu Xian from above. You are the one who despises my demon sect. The people of the Candle Demon Clan were delighted to see that they were wearing costumes that were truly those of the Demon Clan. The look he gave Hu Xian was full of gloating. I thought to myself, you are so bold as to look down on the demon sect. Now, let's see what you can do. Everyone expected that the disciples of the demon sect could kill Hu Xian directly. Hu Xian looked at the other party and said coldly, I can't say he despise you, but as a disciple of the demon sect, you are indeed pitifully weak. Oh my god. As soon as these words were spoken, the whole audience went into an uproar, with countless people exclaiming in surprise. Chapter 857, Beware of Fraud. The two people from the demon sect were so angry that their faces turned pale and blue as disciples of the demon sect. It was the first time for them to suffer bullying in a small place like Fenghuo town. Boom boom. The momentum of the two people burst out at the same time, and the powerful aura of the realm oppressed Hu Xian. The whole audience was shocked. The timid ones retreated even further away. Very good, very good. You dare to look down on our demon sect today. We'll let you see how powerful the disciples of the demon sect are. The young man was about to take action after he finished speaking. Another veiled girl said, Brother, there is no need for you to take action to deal with this guy. After saying that, he flew lightly towards where Hu Xian was. He had a nonchalant look on his face, not taking Hu Xian seriously at all. Countless people at the scene focused their attention on the girl. As the girl moved, all eyes finally fell on Hu Xian. I want to know if he can really remain calm when facing the approach of the demon sect disciples. However, Hu Xian looked indifferent and did not take his opponent seriously at all. They were all very confused. Is he pretending to be calm, or does he really ignore the demon sect's strength? Someone muttered in confusion. Someone said, anyway, when he killed the young patriarch of our Fenghuo town Candle Demon Clan, he was ruthless and didn't even blink an eye. In my opinion, this guy must be someone extraordinary, that's why he even ignores the demon sect. Such a scene made the two people from the demon sect feel uneasy and frowned. Junior sister, be careful of traps, the young man couldn't help but remind her. The girl also became alert. As he got closer to Hu Xian, he saw that he was still very calm and didn't take him seriously at all, so he drew his weapon to be on the safe side. The sword is unsheathed. Die? The girl struck with her sword and killed Hu Xian. So strong. The pressure brought by the sword energy alone made the onlookers around tremble with fear. They all looked at Hu Xian, wanting to know how he would respond. Hu Xian still looked calm, as if he was not the one being attacked. This scene makes people feel that he is too pretentious. The next moment, Hu Xian raised his hand and waved it lightly. There was a slight turbulence in the space, but there was no exaggerated scene. Phew. However, when the girl's sword energy fell on the slightly turbulent space, it was easily dispersed. This scene gives people a weird feeling. The expressions of the two people from the demon sect changed drastically. As disciples of the sect, they knew better and were well aware that only absolute strength could accomplish this. His eyes fell on Hu Xian, and he couldn't understand why this guy was about the same age as him and others. But it gives people the feeling of the strength of the older generation. As disciples of the demon sect, they were geniuses among geniuses, yet they were not as good as the other side. Could it be that this guy ignores the demon sect because his origin is more terrifying than the demon sect? And within 1,000,000 miles, there is only one force that is more powerful than the demon sect, and that is the Demonic Martial Arts Academy. Look at this guy again. Young and confident. Are you from the Magic and Martial Arts Academy? The girl couldn't help but ask. Hu Xian smiled slightly and said, Yes. The girl frowned. The sword pointed at Hu Xian again and said, Even if you are a student of the Magic Martial Arts Academy, if you dare to despise our demon sect, I will never let you go. Hu Xian smiled and said, If you don't let me go, what are you going to do to me? A nonchalant look made their hearts even heavier. People around him also increasingly felt that Hu Xian was not simple. I became extremely curious about his identity. Who is this guy? Is he really from the Magic and Martial Arts Academy? No matter where he is from, we cannot afford to offend this guy. At this time, the young man from the demon sect came in front of the girl, stared at Hu Xian and said, Do you dare to tell me your name and where you are from? You are not qualified to know, Hu Xian said disapprovingly. You? The young man was so angry that he couldn't speak. And the anger in him was getting heavier and heavier. Boom! It was as if a seal had been lifted on his cultivation. Brother, the girl behind him shouted urgently. Don't worry, today we'll let this guy know how powerful our demon sect is. After he finished speaking, a long sword appeared in his hand. The blade was sharpened. The cold light was intimidating. He swung it and killed Hu Xin. The speed was so fast that more than 80 of the people around could only see an afterimage. I was extremely shocked and thought that this disciple of the demon sect was really strong. His eyes fell on Hu Xin again. I wonder if he'll panic. Hu Xin kicked him out. The speed was so fast that no one present could see it clearly. Bang! A muffled sound was heard. Everyone saw an afterimage flying away as fast as lightning. Boom! Only when it hit the ground heavily did people see it clearly. Extremely shocking. Unexpectedly, the person who flew out was the young man from the demon sect. The young man spat out a mouthful of blood and looked at Hu Xin with eyes full of fear and terror. If the other party had been more severe, I would have lost my life. Everyone's eyes were on Hu Xin, trying to see through him. Hu Xin jumped off his horse and walked towards the girl from the demon sect step by step. Faced with this, the girl was very panicked. She knew very well that even her senior brother was no match for him, so she was even less of a match. Faced with Hu Xin's approach, she subconsciously stepped back. Faster and faster. His steps became chaotic and he fell to the ground. The veil also falls at this time. A peerless face came into people's sight. What a nice view. Both men and women were stunned when they saw her beauty. Hu Xin, on the other hand, had a calm expression as he walked step by step to the front of the girl, bending down to look at the girl. He smiled and said, "She's quite pretty. How about this? As long as you become my wife, I won't mind your provocation to me. You wish, I? Buzz." Before he could finish, the space trembled and an extremely strong murderous intent burst out from Hu Xin's body, spreading in all directions. At this moment, everyone in the audience fell into horror. The way he looked at Hu Xin was like looking at a devil from hell. Countless people were trembling. Hu Xin continued. "You'd better think it over before answering me, otherwise, you and your brother will not be able to leave alive." The girl's face was pale, and she gnashed her teeth in anger because she was threatened. Hu Xin suddenly looked at the young man from the demon sect with extremely cold eyes. At this moment, the young man from the demon sect was angry and full of regret. I didn't expect to encounter such a terrifying and powerful person in a small place like Fanghuo town. Feeling Hu Xin's murderous intent and cold gaze, he was terrified to the extreme. I had a feeling that I would die at the hands of this guy in the next second. Shrouded in the fear of death, he just wanted to survive. "Junior sister, promise him. He is so outstanding you will not lose out if he becomes your husband." In order to survive, he didn't care that his beloved junior sister was kidnapped by someone. He just wanted to get through the current crisis first. Chapter 858, Torture. "Brother, you." The girl felt heartbroken when she heard this. She never expected that her senior brother was so afraid of death that he would sacrifice himself. He smiled bitterly. He had been thinking about staying together with his senior brother forever. But he didn't expect him to be this kind of person. "Junior sister, you should stay and follow this brother. Senior brother is going to take care of the sect's affairs." After saying this, he left quickly regardless of his injuries. Hu Xin did not make things difficult for him. The girl looked at her brother's back as he left, and her heart felt even colder. "I am extremely disappointed with this senior brother who betrayed me and left when I was in danger." Hu Xin smiled and said, "My beautiful lady, from now on, you are mine." The girl put the sword on Zi's neck and said resolutely, "Even if I die, I will never let you succeed." After saying this, he was about to hang himself. A powerful energy wave came from Hu Xin's body, and the girl suddenly felt that she could not move. At this moment, she was shocked to the extreme. I didn't expect this guy to be so terrifying and powerful. Even the deacons and elders of the demon sect's outer sect are not as powerful as him. And he looks so young. Even the students of the Magic and Martial Arts Academy can't be so evil, right? While she was stunned, Hu Xin had already snatched the weapon from her hand and picked her up. Feeling the warmth in Hu Xin's arms and looking at him, I found that this guy was not that annoying. Although he was arrogant and did not take the demon sect seriously, the strength he displayed was so great that no one among the younger generation of the demon sect could be a match for him. He does have the strength to look down on the demon sect. "Husband, you are too fickle. You fall in love with every girl you meet," En Yao said with a pout. The others also looked at him with resentment. Seeing this, Hu Xin smiled and said, "What the wives said is true." After saying this, he put the girl down and said, "You can go now." After saying this, he jumped back onto his horse. "Ladies, let's go." Druth. He was the first to leave on his warhorse. "Hello, hello." A large group of people quickly followed. These people were very excited. After all, they were following a strong man who even the demon sect did not take seriously. In their opinion, Huaxian must be from the Magic and Martial Arts Academy. And only someone from the Magic and Martial Arts Academy could be so outstanding. As Huaxian and his group left, the scene became even more chaotic. So strong. I feel like this guy is probably not weaker than our town lord. Nonsense, didn't you see that the wife of the Candle Demon clan leader was snatched away by this guy? He doesn't even take the demon sect seriously. This guy is not only powerful, but his identity must be extraordinary. Keep your voices down. I have a feeling this matter won't be simple. The demon sect has suffered a great loss this time, and I'm afraid they won't let it go. The girl from the demon sect looked at Huaxian's leaving back and felt a little lost. Watching Huaxian and the others walking further and further away, he hesitated for a while and then chased after them. When Huaxian and his group were leaving the city, they caught up with them. Under the disgusted gaze of En Yao and the others, he jumped up and landed on Huaxian's warhorse. Then, he plucked up his courage and hugged Huaxian tightly. "What are you doing?" Huaxian asked curiously. "Didn't you say that I, Sky Dragon Kalia, belong to you? What, you don't want to admit it? How could that be? It's just that my wives don't seem to like you, so, you're going to abandon me? You heartless man." Although she said this, she held Huaxian even tighter. "Have we ever had sex? Do you think I can just abandon you? Isn't it just a relationship?" After Kalia finished speaking, she hugged Huaxian's waist and spun him around violently. And he sat in front of Huaxian, hugged Huaxian's neck tightly, and looked into Huaxian's eyes. While looking at Huaxian, he took a bite. It took a full 3 minutes before they reluctantly separated. Her face flushed as she asked shyly, "We are in a relationship now, right?" She said it easily, but her rapid breathing made Huaxian understand how nervous she was. "Okay. It does matter, but it's not good to rush like this. No, I want this." Huaxian didn't expect that this girl had such a side to her, and his heart melted. "Okay, that's it. Brav." Huaxian hurried away. If he didn't leave, En Yao and the others might kill Kalia with their eyes. The warhorse is extremely fast. It took about 2 hours to reach the junction. Everyone rushed towards Fenkai village. This side of Fenkai village, a man and a woman, 2 elderly people. The old woman was tied and hung on a tree, covered in blood and looked extremely weak. The old man collapsed on the ground, his body covered with footprints, blood streaking from the corners of his mouth. His eyes were red as he looked at the dying old woman hanging on the tree. Ewarden struggled hard, but his body seemed not to be his own and was completely out of control. "Alien. And so you gave birth to a good daughter, but she betrayed the village and caused my son to be beaten and disabled. Wait. When your daughter comes back, I will make her live a life worse than death," a middle-aged man said with murderous intent. "Dad, I want Grace to be my sex slave. I want her to be under me for the rest of her life. I want to torture her forever." Jiita Han warned angrily. "Well, my son, you can do whatever you want. Village chief. Something terrible has happened. Something terrible has happened." The villagers on guard arrived in a panic, riding on their war horses. The village chief was so angry that he asked angrily, "What are you in such a hurry about?" "Village leader, the demon Ray is Grace has returned." "Asshole, isn't it a good thing that Grace is back? What do you mean by acting like it's the end of the world?" The village chief cursed. "Village chief, not only Grace has arrived, but also the army from the town lord's mansion." "What? The army of the town lord's mansion? You mean to say that Grace brought the troops from the town lord's mansion?" "Yes, I also saw the disciples of the demon sect." "What, the disciples of the demon sect are here too? What's going on?" The village chief was extremely shocked. He wondered if he had offended anyone recently and was worried that a disaster would happen. The villagers at the scene also looked at the village chief in panic. "Village chief, this matter is probably not simple. After all, these people came here with Grace," an elder said in a deep voice. "Let's go and take a look." In the distance, Huaxian and his men sped up their horses and rushed over. "Oh my god, it really is the army of the town lord's mansion." The villagers, who had originally not believed it, cried out in shock when they saw this scene. Grace is really in the army. And he is riding a warhorse. And the beautiful woman being held by someone is really wearing the clothes of the demon sect. "Dad, Mom." When Grace saw her parents in such miserable condition, her heart ached and she cried out, "Hurry, hurry, hurry." Riding on a warhorse, he rushed forward at the fastest speed. Hearing their daughter's voice, the dying couple tried hard to open their eyes. "Daughter," the father shouted with difficulty. Chapter 859. Rapid success. "Daddy." Grace jumped off her horse, flew to the demon Ray as so Gra, hugged him and cried bitterly. "Daughter, don't worry about me, hurry savior." "Mother." It was very difficult to finish a sentence. Grace finally reacted and looked up at her mother who was hanging on the tree, covered in blood, scars and dying. "Mom. It hurts like a knife is cutting my heart." He leapt up. cut the rope with a sword, and fell to the ground holding his mother. Female. As soon as he opened his mouth, the demon steal and spat out a large mouthful of blood. If you look closely, you can see bits of internal organs in the blood that is spurting out. Mom. Grace was extremely heartbroken and felt extremely guilty. Daughter, don't cry. I can't do it anymore, please take good care of your father. After saying that, he grabbed Grace's hand and gradually let go. Life is fading away quickly. Seeing this scene, Grace's eyes turned bloodshot and she was extremely angry. Mom. Seeing this, Huaxian leapt over, quickly took out a pill and fed it to the demon Ste Alien. Only then did he avoid Grace's hands and lay Alien flat. And performed the silver needle technique. Everyone at the scene watched quietly, and no one dared to make any noise. As the silver needle technique was performed, Ayan's body floated up, and this scene shocked the whole audience. What a strong medical skill! An old man exclaimed. As the silver needles were inserted one by one, the dying Alion's face gradually turned from pale to rosy. Under everyone's gaze, he recovered better and better. Everyone looking at Huaxian was shocked by his terrifying medical skills. Especially Yan Ting Kalia. As a disciple of the demon sect, she understands the horror of Huaxian's medical skills even better. There was no magic elixir, but only ordinary tonic pills and a handful of silver needles, but a person whose half-body was already in the underworld was brought back to life. It was so horrifying. About an hour. Alien started coughing violently, which was caused by the lung repair. Mom. Grace screamed out excitedly. Just touch Alien. Don't get excited. This is an important time for treatment. Grace quickly covered her mouth, fearing that her voice would disturb Huaxian. Under the shocked gaze of countless people at the scene, Alion's injuries were getting better and better. Another hour passed. It is a miracle that he recovered from all the injuries and stuttering. Daughter? Alien shouted still weakly. Grace looked at Huaxian. Huaxian nodded and said, your mother is fine now. Ma. He hugged Alien and started crying. Daughter, I'm fine. Don't cry. Mom, I'm sorry it's my fault. I'm useless and I've caused you to suffer. Silly child, you are right, it is your mother's incompetence that has prevented you from having a good life. By the way, who is this? Mom, this is my husband. The devil, Lucky Star. Husband? You are my daughter's husband. Which makes you my son-in-law. Son-in-law, your medical skills are so superb, I wonder if you can cure my husband. Grace's father. Huaxian nodded, looked at Soji and said, it can be cured. But his body has been injured for too long and most of his body tissues are damaged. It will take a lot of regular medicinal herbs to cure him. Hearing this, Oyan smiled bitterly. He knew his family's situation, while even eating was a problem, let alone precious medicinal herbs. At this time, Celia said, husband, what medicinal herbs do you need? We have them in the town lord's mansion. Husband, town lord's mansion? Who are you? Everyone in the audience looked at Esilio in shock. I am the devil's stripe Esilia. You are the only son of the town master, but how come you are? I am a girl. There is nothing to be surprised about. After that, he said to Grace, sister, after you get your revenge, just take uncle to our town lord's mansion for treatment. Thank you, sister. Grace was extremely grateful. We are all family, it would be awkward to say thank you. When the people in Fankai village heard the word revenge, they were frightened. All eyes fell on the pale-faced village chief Ji Chang Kong. Huaxian and the others also looked at him. Under the watchful eyes of the public, Ji Chang Kong was under tremendous pressure. Ding dong. He knelt heavily in front of Huaxian, sir of the town lord's mansion. And the town lord's daughter, Ji Chang Kong respectfully welcomes you. As for the matter of Soji and Alien, it was all because of my disappointing son Jiita Han. He distorted the facts and misled me, which caused such great harm to Soji and his family. Now, as the village chief, I am willing to sacrifice my own family for the greater good and hand over the culprit to Soji and his family for disposal. Dad, are you crazy? I am your son. Jiita Han roared angrily. I didn't expect that at this time, my father would abandon me directly. Shut up. Even if you were my son, I would never forgive you if you made a mistake. Moreover, you almost killed Soji and Alien. You deserve to die. After that, he looked at Grace and said, Grace? The culprit is right here. What are you going to do with him? Grace looked at Huaxian. Huaxian smiled and said, wife, you can do whatever you want with me. Thank you, husband. Mom and dad, tell me what to do. Grace asked, looking at her parents. Soji looked at Elaine. Alien smiled bitterly and said, since we are all fine, let's forget about this matter. Thank you, Anna Alien. Thank you. Desperate Jiita Han immediately knelt down in front of Alien to express his gratitude. Even the village chief's father couldn't save him. Only if Alien and her family forgave him did he have a chance to survive, so Jiita Han was sincerely grateful. Daughter, let's go to the town lord's mansion to save your father. Elian ignored Jiita Han and said to Grace. Honey, can we go to the town mansion now? Grace looked at Huaxian and asked. Huaxian said, let's go back to Fengling village first, so that our family won't worry, and then go to the town's lord's mansion. By the way, uncle and aunt, please see if there is anything you need to pack after we leave this time. We won't be coming back. Huaxian asked Grace's parents. There's nothing to clean up in our house there, nothing valuable. Alien said bitterly. In that case, let's just get going. Village leader. Do you have any objection to requisitioning a warhorse and a carriage? He asked Ji Chang Kong, who was trembling with fear on the side. The latter was startled and quickly said, no problem. I will bring you the best horses and a carriage. The village chief hurried away and took care of it himself. The villagers of Fengkai village looked at Grace and her family with great envy. They knew that the Grace family, who had always been unpopular and bullied by them, had become successful. Not long after, the village chief arrived with a warhorse and a carriage pulled by 2 warhorses. Sir, the warhorse and carriage you requested are here. Chapter 860. Yanotaram Lucidum is big as a millstone. I hope Fengkai village will take care of itself and stop doing things that are against the will of heaven and earth, otherwise there will be retribution. After saying that, he picked up the demon Reyes So Gra and got on the carriage. The demon Stellion took care of the carriage. Janting Kalia rode a warhorse alone, and there was an extra warhorse, which he left where it was, and left in the shocked gaze of the villagers of Fengkai village. When they walked away, the scene went into an uproar. Oh my god, Grace is so lucky that she was favored by the son-in-law of the town lord's mansion. And the town lord's daughter doesn't despise her. That's right, Grace has since transformed from a pheasant to a phoenix and has soared to the sky, so Gra and Alien have benefited even more. Hey, my girl is much better than Grace. Why don't she have such good luck? The warhorse galloped at full speed, at an extremely fast speed. Soon we returned to the fork in the road and headed towards Fengling village. About an hour later, the villagers on guard in Fengling village discovered this place. Recognizing that they were the army from the town lord's mansion, one person quickly returned to the village to report the news, and another person came to greet them. Devil Big Fortune, are you back? This guy was so excited when he saw Huaxian, Enyao and the others. Well, we're back. Great lucky star. What's the matter with you coming back with the army from the town lord's mansion? The guy asked in great confusion. I am now the son-in-law of the town lord is worried about my safety, so he sent troops to escort me. What? The son-in-law of the town lord's mansion? This is called being dumbfounded. It's unbelievable. Okay, let's get going. Huaxian and his companions walked around him and headed towards the village. It took this guy a long time to come back to his senses. And he muttered in shock, how amazing, even the town lord likes you. Soon they approached the village. The village chief and all the villagers, young and old, were already waiting at the village gate to welcome us. Lucky star, you are really our lucky star. All the villagers had heard about it and were all happy and smiling. Village chief. The mayor asked me to give this to you. Coming in front of the village chief, Huaxian handed the space ring given by the mayor to the village chief. After seeing it, the village chief was stunned. Village head, what gift did the mayor give us? The surrounding villagers were very curious. Demon crystals, a full 1 million. What? The villagers were dumbfounded. 1 million demon crystals. So scary. There are also many excellent weapons and equipment. With some of these, our village can be countless times stronger. The village chief was extremely excited. A pug rushed in front of Huaxian. It was none other than the shrunken wolf king Orson. Wow, so cute. Esali and the others were very happy and ran over to tease Orson. Knowing that these women were Huaxian's people, Orson also tried to please them. That's so cute, hubby. I didn't know you had a puppy. Enyao said, Orson is not a puppy, but the Wolf King. Wolf King. The soldiers around were shocked. Yes, Orson is the Wolf King raised by our husband. Village chief, I came back this time to give you the things the mayor sent me. Then Grace's father continued treatment. So, Grace, is that the Grace from the next village? Yes. It's me, Grace came out and said. Everyone's eyes then fell on Grace and the people around him. Alien. Is it really you? An old woman said excitedly. Mom, it's me. The mother and daughter hugged each other. Alien, why are you back? Mom, Grace is now the wife of Da Fuxing. He took us away from Fengkai village. Okay, let's get out of there. And you can live a good life. Great fortune star, since you need to save Grace's father, don't waste time. Go quickly. By the way, the town master has given a gift, so our village must give a gift in return. It's nothing good, so you can take this and give it to the town master. The village chief actually took out a Ganotarum lucidum the size of a millstone. The aura is compelling. Everyone around was stunned. Village chief, you still have this treasure? Asked a villager. Apparently the villagers didn't know that the village chief had such a big Ganotarum lucidum. Huaxian took the Ganotarum lucidum. Suddenly, I felt a vast spiritual power rushing towards me, which was extremely shocking. Village chief, where did you get this Ganotarum lucidum? I couldn't help but ask. The village chief smiled bitterly and said, "It was luck. I fell into a deep pit and found this Ganotarum lucidum. It was so powerful that I almost exploded and died after taking just a little bit. I never dared to take it again." Village chief, do you still remember where that deep pit is? Can you take me to see it? Huaxian asked excitedly after putting away the Ganotarum lucidum. Yes, it's over there, about 50 kilometers away. Not far. Okay, then please take me there, village chief. Orson. Following Huaxian's words, Orson transformed and returned to his original form. This immediately shocked everyone in the Tau Lord's mansion. Especially when they felt the terrifying aura coming from Orson, their expressions changed drastically with fear. Esalia, who treated Orson as a puppy, looked even paler. Seeing this, Enyao said proudly, "I've already told you that Orson is the Wolf King. Do you believe it now?" I was also shocked. Orson was obviously much stronger than yesterday. Huaxian was also surprised. Orson had obviously reached the 71st level of the Evolver, and it was obvious that a lot of the remaining dragon blood in his body had been absorbed by him. Surprisingly, Orson's absorption ability is so strong. And Orson's bloodline must be complicated. Of course, this is a good thing. Huaxian jumped up and landed on Orson. "Village chief, come on." Then he said to the others, "Just wait for me in the village. The village chief and I will be back soon. No one has any objections." The village chief was a little excited and jumped up and landed on Orson. "This is the first time in my life that I have sat on a powerful monster like Orson." "Go that way." The village chief pointed the way and Orson rushed out. The speed was so fast that the village chief had to hold on to Orson's hair tightly. When Huaxian and the others walked away, the scene went into an uproar. "Orson is so strong, he feels even stronger than my father," Celia said in shock. "That's not right. At that time, Orson was at the 64th level of evolutionary genes. Now he seems to be even stronger." "Not much. No matter how strong Orson is, he is not as strong as our husband." Orson was flying at a high speed, his wild wolf blood spreading out, and all the beasts and monsters avoided him. In less than half an hour, they smoothly arrived at the big pit where the village chief picked Ganotarum lucidum. Huaxian stood at the edge of the gate. The pit was only 3 meters in radius and was overgrown with weeds. If you didn't pay attention, you would not be able to notice the big pit at all. "Grandson, this is the pit. It's very deep. I only fell on the first platform, so I had a chance to escape." Only when there were no outsiders around did the village chief dare to call Huaxian his grandson. "Grandpa, you and Orson wait here, I'll go down and take a look." Chapter 861, Possessed. Huaxian couldn't wait any longer. Ganotarum lucidum as big as a millstone can grow below, and Huaxian thinks that there may be a spiritual vein. Although the entrance to the cave looked ordinary, he was still looking forward to it. Without waiting for the village chief to speak, he jumped down. With the transparent eye opened, the darkness had no effect on him, and he could see everything around him clearly. In less than a minute, it landed on a small platform, which I guess was the platform the village chief mentioned. "Look around. The stone wall behind me is not too steep, and anyone with a little skill should be able to climb up. There is a bumpy spot on the left-hand side with a huge white spot on it, and you can feel a faint spiritual energy on it. I guess that's where the village chief picked the Ganotarum lucidum. Walk over and put your hand on the rock like protrusion." It started out normal. Just when Huaxian was about to stop, the blood in the body seemed to be awakened and began to boil. Huaxian was shocked. That was the bloodline of the dragon clan. This stone actually activated the dragon blood in his body. Although the dragon bloodline has always existed and is useful to Orson, it has never been activated. Now it is activated by touching this stone? With the activation of the dragon bloodline, buzz. There was a muffled sound inside the body, and his cultivation level actually broke through. Huaxian didn't have time to be happy because he was stunned by the shock. Buzz buzz buzz. More and more bloodlines are being activated, and it seems that they are about to be fully activated, and the cultivation level is improving by leaps and bounds. Fortunately, a strange energy enveloped him, preventing the momentum brought by his breakthrough from leaking out. Otherwise, the village chief at the entrance would be scared to death. After 3 full hours, the dragon bloodline was successfully activated. Huaxian quickly checked his own situation and found that his realm had reached the 3rd level of the pseudo-god gene. And this is just brought about by the awakening of the dragon bloodline. Huaxian discovered that the cultivation barrier caused by the system's shutdown seemed to be broken. Although his cultivation level was not restored much, the awakening of the dragon bloodline could restore his cultivation level to the pseudo-god gene realm, which was really an unexpected surprise. "I finally have a place in this world. I thought it was over. An old, distant voice sounded in my mind. You are just like me, you don't belong to this world, and are not recognized by the rules of this world, so everything you have in the outside world is useless here. However, I have now gained recognition from this world, so I will help you gain recognition from this world in this way. Everything you experienced in the outside world will also be restored here. Hearing this, Huaxian's body trembled and he was extremely excited. Everything can be restored. Doesn't that include the system? He found that he had a strong dependence on the system and it was difficult to separate himself. Senior, who are you? How can you awaken the dragon bloodline in my body? Of course I am from the dragon clan back then. I infiltrated the demon clan and climbed the ladder to heaven. I didn't expect to come to this world when I reached the 11th floor. I'm not as lucky as you in this world. I was treated as a pet. Fortunately, that guy died at the hands of his enemy, so I was able to be reborn. But after 30 million years in this world, I still could not gain recognition from this world, and could not prove the supreme path to prolong my life, so I eventually died. To prevent people from the outside world from suffering any more misfortunes, I have given up reincarnation and my soul is imprisoned here. Only my people can wake me up. Just now, I have transmitted my cultivation level in this world to you now. I will completely merge my soul recognized by this world with your soul. In this way, you will be recognized by this world. And everything you do in the outside world will also be effective here. Since you can climb the ladder of the Demon Academy, your achievements in the outside world should be not bad. I hope you can figure out this world. Okay, I don't have much time left. Relax your soul and accept my fusion. Huaxian had no doubt about his words. It was mainly because of the intimacy between dragon souls, and because of his cultivation, his body was also very close to his soul, so he relaxed his vigilance. And then the other party's soul merged. However, as the other party's soul merged into the back, Huaxian discovered something was wrong. Senior, aren't you going to merge your soul with mine? Why do you keep squeezing my soul consciousness? Kid, have you finally figured it out? Do you really think I will help you? To tell you the truth, I just want to take over your body and resurrect. Now, I have taken control of your soul. As long as I kill your consciousness, I can take over your body and revive. After waiting for 30 million years, I can finally be resurrected. Don't worry, kid, I will definitely keep your body alive and well. After saying this, his soul turned into a storm and launched a fierce attack on Huaxian. Huaxian's soul power was also suppressed and he was completely unable to fight back. It seemed that his consciousness was about to be completely wiped out by the opponent. Huaxian was also helpless. He didn't expect that the 11th level of the ladder would be so terrifying. It seems there is no escape. Soon, the soul consciousness was completely merged with the other party. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have been recognized by the world, and the system has awakened. Boom boom boom. The terrifying strength quickly returned. After taking over Huaxian's soul, he was shocked when he felt his physical strength recover. The further he went, the more panicked he felt. He had never heard of such a powerful realm. Could the soul of such an existence really be devoured by himself so easily? Not until his strength was fully restored and no danger appeared did he finally remember that this was a different world. It turned out that the other party was practicing all kinds of cultivation, and his highest level, the Demon Clan level, had reached the first level of Intermediate God Lord. It was too terrifying. The other realms are not low either. In the outside world, my cultivation at my strongest period was actually not as good as this guy's worst period. Now, I have gained the recognition of this world and taken over this guy's body. Now everything belongs to me. It makes me excited just thinking about it. I am Long Aoten. Before he could finish his words, a cold voice sounded in his soul consciousness. Are you happy too early? It was a very familiar voice, and the guy was stunned in disbelief. After a while, he asked in horror, how is it possible that you are not dead? Huaxian said inferently, hasn't anyone told you that there is a kind of soul called the immortal soul? Huaxian was very lucky that he had a trace of immortal soul, otherwise he would be really finished. How can you have an immortal soul? That means complete immortality. You deserve to die for lying to me. Buzz. Huaxian's soul power also fully returned as the system awakened. The powerful soul instantly overwhelmed the guy. We must destroy his consciousness. No, please don't kill me. I can tell you a big secret. Chapter 862, System Returns. Huaxian no longer trusted the guy who had deceived him once. Kill him instantly. Although dangerous, this guy's soul has indeed been recognized by the world, and everything about him is no longer rejected by the world. Ding! The system awakens, everything that was sealed returns. The system consumption task is activated. Complete the consumption of 4 Demon Crystal Kings within 10 days. If the task fails, the host will be killed. Complete the task to get a random reward. Hearing the familiar voice, Huaxian smiled. Money is indispensable in any world. Demon Crystal King, one is enough to buy Feng Huo Town. Right? Confidence is back. Look into the abyss outside the small platform. See the end at a glance. Transparent eyes see through everything around. This pit was created by the evil dragon in order to attract outstanding people to be chosen by him and take over his body. The millstone-sized Ganodarum lucidum is just bait. He firmly believed that if word of the millstone-sized Ganodarum lucidum spread, it would definitely attract many people, and he would be able to possess the bodies of the most outstanding people. Unfortunately, the excellent person he waited for finally came. But he was too excellent, and he was the one who failed in the end. There was nothing good left, and Hu Xian's body flew up with just a thought. Fly out directly. Location of the cave entrance. The village chief in Dorson waited. The village chief looked worried. His intuition told him that this bit was not simple. That's why he never said it. If he had not been grateful to the Tau Lord, he would not have taken out the millstone-sized Ganodarum lucidum and exposed this place. I feel a little regretful. I shouldn't have told Hu Xian. What if something happens? Oh, Orson suddenly roared. The village chief trembled and looked over quickly. And I saw Hu Xian flying out. Extremely shocking. You must know that in this world, only monks with extraordinary genes or above can fly at will. In the genetic evolution stage, those who are able to fly do so with the help of secret techniques or flying-related martial arts. For example, Kaliyo and others from the demon sect, their previous short flight was carried out with the help of flying martial arts. It seems easy, but it actually consumes a lot of energy. Apart from showing off, it has no practical use. The village chief carefully felt Hu Xian's current flight and found no energy fluctuation at all, which shocked him. He asked in disbelief, "Grandson, what realm are you in now?" Hu Xian was in a good mood and smiled, "Just barely, in the pseudo-god realm." What? Although Hu Xian had already made great reservations, he still shocked the village chief. False god. That already belongs to the realm of God. Okay, village chief, we should go back. By the way, this is for you. Consider it as me buying your Ling Zia Chai. He handed for Demon Crystal Kings to the village chief. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have consumed 4 Demon Crystal Kings within 10 days and received a random reward, the Heart of the World. Ding! New mission complete and consume 8 Demon Crystal Kings within 10 days. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, a random reward will be obtained. This familiar feeling made Hu Xian feel relaxed. Hurry up and check out the uses of the Heart of the World. Heart of the World can imitate the rules of any world, allowing the host to go to any world without being affected by completely different rules. Hu Xian was overjoyed. It seems that the system is also aware of its own shortcomings, and the World Heart reward makes up for this shortcoming. The village chief looked at the Demon Crystal King in his hand, which was filled with extremely strong demonic power. He was stunned and couldn't recover for a long time. Village chief, village chief. Hu Xian shouted many times before the village chief trembled violently and reacted. Grandson, what is this? Such a rich and pure demonic power, did you get it in this? Grandpa village chief, this is the Demon Crystal King. I indeed got it from this pit. And this pit should be the grave of some super important person. It's a bargain for me. Hu Xian spoke easily, but the village chief was shocked. And he handed the Demon Crystal King back to Hu Xian and said, "This is such a treasure, grandson, keep it for yourself. My old bones can't use it." Grandpa village chief, don't be polite to me. I still have this stuff plenty. Just take it. Orson came up to Hu Xian, shaking his head and wagging his tail. Hu Xian took out a pill and said, "I told you before that I would give you a rich reward. Swallow it." Throw the pill at Orson. Then he swallowed it in one gulp. The next moment, an extremely terrifying aura burst out from Orson's body, getting stronger and stronger. The effect of the drug was so terrifying that Orson's blood began to evolve visibly. The body is growing rapidly. It grew bigger and bigger, and soon became like a small hill. The village chief standing by was stunned. As Hu Xian waved his hand, much of Orson's aura leaked out. At the same time, he also took action to help Orson fully absorb the effects of the medicine. It took a full quarter of an hour for Orson to absorb all the effects of the medicine. It is 100 feet tall and 130 feet long, exuding a primeval aura, like a prehistoric giant beast. The terrifying realm has even reached the level of true god. Thanks to Hu Xian's help, Orson's cultivation became stable and restrained, and outsiders could not see any flaws at all. Even so, Hu Xian still felt it was not enough. He set up an array directly inside Orson's body to help her conceal her cultivation level. Then he said, "Orson, return to your true form." "Yes, master." Having reached the level of a true god, Orson can naturally speak human language and even transform into a human form. But he didn't. "Ozane, you will guard Fengling village from now on, and you can also take care of Feng Huo town. I will come back to visit when I am free." and I will definitely not treat you unfairly. Orson understands. When the village chief heard this, he knew that Huxian was about to leave. I also understand that this guy who fell from the sky is definitely not simple. The previous one was probably due to weakness caused by injury. Now that he has entered the ancient tomb of a powerful being, he might have encountered a great opportunity to recover. He smiled bitterly, thinking that perhaps this opportunity should be his, but unfortunately he was afraid of death and did not dare to go down to explore. Village chief. Let's go back, Huxian said as he jumped onto Orson. A village chief smiled bitterly and said, I'd better go on my own. Orson said, come up, since you are destined to be with the master, and the master asked me to take care of you. We are considered relatives. Orson knew very well that the master who could break through to the true god level by taking out a pill must have only met this village once and could not be a native of the village. Then I won't be polite. The village chief took a deep breath, jumped up and landed on Orson. Orson rushed out quickly. This side of the village. The situation is very bad. At this moment, countless bandits surrounded the village. Fortunately, there were troops from the town lord's mansion, so they were not killed directly. People from the town lord's mansion, this matter has nothing to do with you. This is a matter between us bandits and Fengling village, please leave. Chapter 863, Bandits surround the village. You arrogant bandits, you actually dare to come to the village under the jurisdiction of the town lord to cause trouble. I advise you to leave quickly, otherwise you will die without knowing how. The leading general shouted angrily. He is under tremendous pressure. Just because he is now the most powerful man in the village. Since your army of the town lord's mansion is stubborn and refuses to change its ways, then you should be buried with these stupid villagers. Gil. Stop, why are you attacking Fengling village? The devil strike Tessalia stood up and asked angrily. What a beautiful girl. Kill all the men in Fengling village and take the women away, reward your brothers when you return. Yes. Gil. Thousands of bandits attacked together. The villagers and the town's army fell into despair. After all, there are too many people on the other side. Who gave you the courage to kill me? A cold and familiar voice came. The villagers were stunned. He looked up in disbelief towards the sky where the sound came from. I saw a figure slowly falling from the clouds. Who are you? The bandit leader asked in shock when he saw that the other party was able to fly in the air without any pressure. You've provoked me several times, but you don't know who I am. You guys are really bad at being bandits. Honey, it's really you. En Yao and the others reacted and were extremely shocked. I only have one feeling. My husband has become stronger again. Babies, it's me. Huxian slowly landed beside them. Husband, these bandits want to destroy our village. You must not let them go. En Yao threw herself into Huxian's arms and hugged him. Okay, I will never let them go. You are so arrogant. Forced flight must have cost you a lot of energy. Others, kill him. Whoever gets his head can pick any of the women around him as his wife. Hearing this, the bandits' eyes instantly became hot. Each of En Yao and the others has a hot body and exquisite looks even without making up. They are very attractive and heartwarming. Now that they have the chance to get it, these bandits are like they took stimulants. Kill him. The bandits roared excitedly, with only one target in mind, rushing towards Huxian. I wish I could chop off Huxian's head right away and pick out a beautiful woman. The bandit leader saw this and smiled coldly, thinking, no matter how strong you are, I have thousands of brothers who can tire you to death. Everyone in front of Huxian stepped back in fear. It's just because the aura of these bandits is so scary. In the eyes of these bandits, Huxian was just a prey to be exchanged for a wife. Go to hell. The first person to approach Huxian was an old man who jumped up with an axe in his hand and shot Huxian hard with the axe. The prey is mine. But before Huxian could make a move, another middle-aged man, who was second only to the old man, took the initiative to attack the old man in order to seize the prey. Damn it! How dare you attack me? You are a traitor, the old man roared angrily. Had to get back on this guy. Bullshit, the boss has already said that whoever gets this guy's head will get to choose a beautiful wife. If I don't grab it, will I give it to you? Go ahead and fight me. My beautiful wife is mine. Give yourself up, kid. The other skinny guy was quite fast and supported the old man and started fighting with the middle-aged man. The fisherman took advantage and rushed towards Huxian. Do you think I'm nothing? Phew. The skinny guy had his weapon arm cut off by an old man with one knife. Old Taigui, you are a despicable sneak attack. The skinny guy gnashed his teeth in anger. Who wouldn't want such a beauty? I'll kill anyone who dares to snatch it from me. After saying that, he rushed towards Huxian. Huxian didn't move at all, as if he was frightened. In the eyes of these bandits, they are lambs to be slaughtered. Kill him together. The old man and the middle-aged man who approached Huxian first. Seeing this, tacitly gave up the fight and rushed towards the old man who attacked the skinny monkey. You are looking for death. The old man became furious upon seeing this, and retreated quickly, but his mouth was still hard. If you have the guts, don't run away. The first old man rushed towards Hu Xian at the fastest speed. Damn, the old man is so cunning. A middle-aged man was furious. He gave up on attacking the old man and rushed towards the first old man. What the hell are you doing? The bandit leader was furious when he saw this scene. I thought to myself, I asked you to kill that guy, but you started fighting among yourselves. It made me so mad. Boss, didn't you say that whoever gets that guy's head will be rewarded with a wife? Who wouldn't want such a beautiful daughter-in-law? Asshole. Kill that guy first. There are so many women. There are plenty of opportunities. What? The bandits then put aside their past grudges and attacked Hu Xian together. Hu Xian smiled coldly and pointed a finger at the bandit leader. The next moment, the bandit leader was shocked to find that his body was out of his control and was slowly floating up. At the same time, a powerful force continued to flow into the body, and the body began to swell. It's going to burst soon. Damn it, how can you be so powerful? The bandit leader roared angrily. The shouting woke up the other bandits, who didn't understand what their leader meant. Looking back, I saw that the leader was like a ball, and it seemed like it was about to explode. I was extremely shocked. Boom. As expected, the bandit leader exploded. Everyone present turned their attention back to Hu Xian. The bandits looked at him as if he were a devil. I just felt cold all over. Oops. Orson returned, with the village chief. Quickly came to Hu Xian. It's just in time to come back and kill these bandits. Hu Xian said coldly. Yes, master. After Orson answered, he rushed out after the village chief jumped down. Orson actually spoke. En Yao exclaimed in shock. However, when Orson burst out with terrifying fighting power, countless people at the scene were stunned. The bandits were wailing everywhere, filled with fear and despair. Run. The surviving bandits had only one thought in mind, to escape and leave this devilish place. However, Orson is now at the level of a true god. Even if he suppresses them, these bandits will not be able to escape. A few minutes, thousands of bandits were all killed. Orson returned to Hu Xian and once again became a wagging pug. However, looking at the battlefield littered with corpses, no one thought Orson was cute anymore. There was only one thought in my mind: horror. Ding, the system rules are being upgraded. Some programs cannot be used, and the consumption-ask program still exists. The sudden voice from the system made Hu Xian frown. The rules have been upgraded. And he wondered what would happen next. It took a long time for people to come out of their shock and their eyes fell on Hu Xian. Hu Xian smiled and said, "Don't look at me like that. Orson was just lucky and awakened his inherited bloodline. Don't worry, villagers, from now on. Orson will stay in the village to protect you all." Chapter 864, The Power of Rules. The villagers were ecstatic when they heard the news. They all witnessed how powerful Orson was. And it was their blessing to be able to stay and protect the village. Okay, it's time for us to leave for the town lord's mansion. After Hu Xian finished speaking, he walked quietly towards the captive war horses, and hied one and jumped on it. Seeing this, the others quickly untied the horses. Finally, the village chief and the villagers left the village with a long and reluctant farewell. "Honey, did you lie to us before?" En Yao asked curiously on the way. "What did I lie to you about?" Hu Xian asked back. "You are so powerful, but you said you fell off a cliff in the mountains. You are lying." "I admit that I was fighting with an expert and fell off a cliff with serious injuries. I have recovered from my injuries now. But don't worry, my love for you is genuine no matter what happens. I will never abandon you." "Really, hubby?" "Of course it's true." "Thank you, husband." Everyone was worried about being abandoned by Hu Xian, but now they are relieved to have received Hu Xian's promise. "Husband, what is your level of cultivation?" Hearing this, even the surrounding soldiers looked over curiously. "And hold your breath and listen carefully. My cultivation level, guess." Hu Xian laughed and said mysteriously, "DSK, I won't guess anyway. The more powerful you are, the better." At this time, Hu Xian took out a pill and handed it to Grace, saying, "Give this pill to your uncle, and he will recover quickly." Grace had no doubts, took the pill, and excitedly came to the carriage. Walking in, "Mom, this is the pill my husband gave me. He said that Dad will recover after taking it." "Really? Then give it to your father right away." Alyan was extremely excited. She took the pill and gave it to her husband. Before Gra could react, he only felt the pill enter his mouth and transform into an extremely powerful medicinal force, quickly rushing through his body. A surprising scene appeared. His body, which had lost consciousness and had no sensitivity, could now feel the temperature. The fever and flu are getting stronger. There was an expression of great shock on his face. Less than a quarter of an hour. Gra sat up suddenly. "Husband, Dad." Alien and Grace both shouted excitedly. When the people outside heard the noise, they all understood that the pill given by Hu Xian had taken effect. Waited for a while again. The curtain of the carriage opened and a middle-aged man walked out. It was none other than Sojira, who had been paralyzed for decades. Ding dong. Sojira knelt down in front of Huaxian in the carriage. Thank you, son-in-law. Huaxian quickly waved his hand to help him up and said, Uncle, we are a family, you are being so formal. I can't bear it. Honey, thank you, Grace said with great emotion. When I say thank you, I get angry. Aelion, who was about to say thank you, quickly shut up and looked at Huaxian with a look of great satisfaction. Daughter, you must follow the lucky star well in the future and never do anything to let him down. Mom, don't worry, I'm not stupid. How could I do anything to let my husband down? Huaxian said, now that uncle is well, let's hurry on. The large army set off again. A few hours later, the large army returned to the town's mansion. The old butler came to greet him personally. Celia asked curiously, Old housekeeper, where is my father? The old butler smiled awkwardly and said, I'm busy. Busy? What's going on in town lately to keep Dad so busy? The old butler smiled bitterly and said nothing. Huaxian, however, smiled as if he had guessed something. Honey, what are you laughing at? Celia asked curiously. You guess. Oh, husband, you are like this again. Tell me, what are you laughing at? Huaxian smiled and whispered something in her ear. Celia screamed, extremely shy. Ding, the system upgrade is complete. The growth task is to join the demon sect as an ordinary person and become the leader of the demon sect. You can obtain one of the power of rules to leave this world. Huaxian was stunned. Notice the keyword, the power of rules. In other words, even if he has restored the system now, he cannot leave this world at will. He must obtain the power of rules to leave this world before he can leave. The next moment, Huaxian only felt the emergence of a powerful force that he dared not explore, and soon everything was sealed off, and he became an ordinary person. What the hell? Huaxian was about to vomit blood. The system was finally restored, but it actually harmed him like this? In this case, wouldn't it be very dangerous for me to live in this world? Orson. Master, you command. Fortunately, the connection with Orson that was previously established through the system is still there. Come to the town lord's mansion to find me. Yes. Master. Fortunately, he had given Orson a magic pill before, which allowed his cultivation to soar to the level of a true god. It can also be considered as one's own support. I also feel that this system is even more deceptive than climbing the 11th floor of the ladder. Honey, why do I feel that you are different from before? Celia asked curiously. I also feel that my husband is different. Others also quickly expressed their opinions. Huaxian said. Old housekeeper, please step back. Yes, uncle. The old butler left, surrounded by his own people. Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, My wives. You can sense it too. I am very ordinary now. To be honest, I was cursed and all my cultivation was gone. They were all so shocked. After a while, Enyao asked suspiciously, Abi, are you kidding me? Honey, I also think you must be joking. After all, you lied to us before. Enzu also said. Hey. You can see for yourself. Huaxian stretched out his hand. Seeing this, they quickly surrounded him, grabbed Huaxian's wrist, and the demonic power penetrated into his body. After taking turns to investigate, I were all shocked. After looking at each other, Celia said, My husband really has no demonic power in his body. How could this happen? Husband, have you really been cursed? Enyao asked in disbelief. Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, Why would I lie to you? So, husband, how can we break the curse? It's difficult now. We can only take one step at a time. So, husband, what are you going to do next? Go to the demon sect. Since the curse is harming me, I will go to the demon sect and start over. The curse can seal my previous cultivation, but it can't seal all the new cultivation, right? But husband, I heard that the requirements of the demon sect are very high, and we are not qualified to enter, Celia said. Enyao said, My husband is also very talented. He was tested in our village before and was found to have high-level bloodline. There will be no problem for him to join the demon sect. Then what should we do? We can't join the demon sect. And then we can't be with our husbands. Celia expressed her concerns. Chapter 865, Come to the door. Everyone's eyes fell on Huaxian. You can just practice well in the town lord's mansion, or Sen will accompany me to the demon sect. So you can rest assured. But husband, we miss you. I miss you. Too. Abi, you can go, but I have to become your woman. Me too. Those who have not slept with Huaxian have mustered up the courage to express their opinions. Okay, then I will stay here for a few days before heading to the demon sect. Achanting Kalia said worriedly, Husband, if you go to the demon sect, I'm afraid you will be targeted by your senior brother. I know, but as long as Orson is here, his targeting is useless. Abi, senior brother's master is an outer sect elder. I'm afraid he will be difficult to deal with. By the way, husband, there are disciples of the Candle Demon clan in the demon sect. and I'm afraid they will cause trouble for you, Celia said. Don't worry. If I can't even handle this little thing, how can I be qualified to be your husband? Well, who will accompany me tonight? I. They started scrambling for it one by one. Okay. Come one by one, let's go tonight, Yuan Seal. After saying that, he hugged Yuan Seal and left. Others were envious. Huaxian stayed with them for the next few days. It wasn't until the 7th day that the peaceful days were broken. Just because four disciples of the demon sect came to the town lord's mansion. Facing the disciples of the demon sect, the town master did not dare to be careless and learn it from them personally. Town lord. To be honest, we are here to look for a guy called Big Fortune Star. The town master Diakai also guessed their purpose. He was powerless to cover up this matter, even if he wanted to. He said to the old housekeeper beside him, "Go and call the lucky star. It's the town master. Please take a seat." Everyone. Snort. A few people snorted angrily and walked towards the seat of honor. Sitting in the top seat. He didn't take the town owner seriously at all. The town owner could only smile awkwardly at this. The old housekeeper quickly found Huaxian, who was busy even in broad daylight. "Sir, something terrible has happened. For disciples from the demon sect have come and are looking for you. I'm afraid they have bad intentions. My husband must be causing trouble for you." The person being pinned down by Huaxian was the demon sect disciple Tianting Kalia. She said worriedly. Huaxian smiled and said, "It's okay, I can smooth it out." Worried that they might do something wrong, he stood up and fearfully put on his clothes and left. Kalia also quickly put on her clothes and followed behind. Her good thing was interrupted, not to mention Huaxian. She was also very angry. Soon, Huaxian arrived at the reception hall. As I walked in, I felt four sharp gazes looking at me. Huaxian looked over. The leader asked coldly, "It was you who killed my Candle Demon clan's people?" After hearing this, everyone understood that the guy in the lead was actually a member of the Candle Demon clan. The town master looked at him curiously, and also rang out, saying in surprise, "You are the Candle Demon Ochei, Akieo?" "It's me." The town master smiled bitterly. "It's been 10 years since we last met. I didn't expect you to have completely changed. I didn't recognize you. I'll settle your account with you later." After saying that, he looked at the other 3 people and asked, "Who of you will deal with this guy? This guy actually dared to attack the demon brother Shakhide. I will deal with him." After this guy finished speaking, he walked towards Huaxian step by step inferiorly. At this time, outside the hall, a pug walked in. He came to Huaxian, wagging his tail, looking flattering. In response, the 4 members of the demon sect ignored Orson. The guy approached Huaxian step by step, taking deliberately slow steps. He found that Huaxian was not afraid and frowned. Buzz. The momentum burst out, and the momentum of the evolutionary gene level 30 pressed over. Huaxian is an ordinary person now, so naturally he cannot withstand the aura of a cultivator. Orson speaks awfully. Orson disappeared instantly. The next moment, bang! With a dull thud, Orson jumped up and kicked the guy hard, sending him flying. This scene shocked the whole audience. Boom! The guy smashed into the wall of the hall, causing the defensive formation to ripple violently. Seeing this situation, everyone knew that this guy was bearing a lot of force. The guy tried hard to hold back but still couldn't, and spit out a mouthful of blood. Several of his ribs were broken and his face was pale. Looking at Orson in pug form, his expression was extremely ugly. At this moment, Orson returned to Huaxian, shaking his head and wagging his tail. A long time. The remaining 3 people finally reacted. The Candle Demon Ikea looked at Orson gloomily for a long time, and his eyes fell on Huaxian. "You just rely on this dog? People rely on the dog's power?" Huaxian smiled coldly. "Orson, knock them all down for me." Orson disappeared instantly. The 3 members of the demon sect immediately became alert, drew their weapons, and defended with all their might. Bang! One person was kicked away by Orson without any awareness. The other 2 were so frightened that their bodies trembled violently and were terrified. Bang! There was another muffled sound. And another person was kicked out. With 2 loud bangs, the 2 men hit the wall one after another and rolled to the ground. Their injuries were even more serious than the first guy. The only one left at the scene was the Candle Demon Ikeo. Orson in pug form looked at him and walked towards him leisurely. It was obviously playing with its prey. The expression of the Candle Demon Ikeo was extremely ugly and extremely angry. He did not expect to be played by a dog, a beast. "Die, you evil creature." With the sword drawn, he charged towards Orson with confidence. Sword slash. He even displayed powerful sword skills. A terrifying sword energy took shape, like a giant energy sword, and slashed Orson heavily. In response, Orson stood up on his feet, and his movements looked funny and cute. At the moment when the sword energy approached in the blink of an eye, a small foot gently slapped out. It seemed like a random and funny slap, but it unleashed a terrifying force and the space was instantly distorted. Booming magnet. The powerful sword energy of Shumo Ikio was shattered so easily. This was not a big deal. Orson S. little paws slapped the sword lightly, shattering the sword energy, then he attacked Ikio with the remaining power. Damn it. Ikio was in a terrible mood. I thought this revenge was a good opportunity to show off my power, but I didn't expect to be easily controlled by a dog. It's so frustrating. This fucking dog looks like an ordinary pug. Why is it so fierce? What kind of breed is this? Break it for me. No matter how depressed the Candle Demon Hex was, he had to attack with all his strength to break Orson's palm. Booming magnet. Although he broke the palm strike, he was also not flying. Blood instantly appeared at the corner of his mouth, showing that he was seriously injured. It flew out and hit the wall. The formation flickered so violently that it almost broke the defense. Ikio still couldn't hold it in and spat out a mouthful of blood. Everyone was shocked. I didn't expect that Orson's casual shot could be so terrifying. Everyone became extremely curious about Orson's strength. Huaxian then walked to the top and sat down, looking down at Shumo Ikio and the other four and asked, "Are you looking for me to kill me?" Chapter 866. Demon Sect. The cold voice made the four defeated people tremble and feel scared. He was especially horrified when he saw that Orson was still beside Huaxian. Devil's lucky star, the higher-ups of my demon sect already know about you. And I'm here today to take you to the demon sect. If you can pass the demon sect's assessment, the demon sect's top leaders have decided to make an exception and accept you as a disciple of the demon sect. Hearing this, the Tau Lord understood clearly that the talent displayed by Huaxian caught the attention of the demon sect, so they wanted to recruit him into the demon sect. Huaxian didn't expect that he would find a pillow when he was sleepy. What a coincidence. Seeing that Huaxian didn't say anything, the guy continued, "Devil Big Fortune Star, are you willing to go back to the demon sect with us?" Although she asked this, she secretly hoped that Huaxian would refuse. If such a master from the sect comes, he will definitely be in trouble. Huaxian smiled and said, "Since the demon sect has taken the initiative to invite me, how can I refuse? Let's set off for the demon sect." Orson. Orson let out a deafening roar, and his body changed and became bigger and bigger. Orson, keep a low profile. Huaxian spoke, and Orson, who was already as big as a buffalo, stopped growing. Everyone at the scene looked at Orson in shock. "What are you standing there for? Kalia, why don't you come up?" Kalia reacted and jumped onto Orson Furfulsi. Huaxian looked at the others and said, "My dears, practice hard for me in the Town Lord's mansion, and I will go to the demon sect to conquer the world for you." Orson. Go, driving Orson away. Only then did the demon sect members dare to breathe a sigh of relief. Just now, Orson gave them an extremely strong sense of crisis. They had only felt this sense of crisis from the high-ranking members of the demon sect. In other words, this guy's pets are at least at the extraordinary genetic level. So scary. This person must not be offended. Naturally, he didn't dare to follow Huaxian back to the demon sect. The leader said to the town master, "Town master, we are injured. Is it okay for us to recuperate in the town master's mansion for a while?" The town owner hurriedly said, "No problem." He also firmly believed that with the threat posed by Huaxian, they would not dare to cause trouble in the town lord's mansion again. Huaxian and Kali boarded the Orson and left Fenghuo town under the shocked gaze of countless residents in the town. "Go east," Kali appointed. Orson. Full speed ahead. At Huaxian's command, Orson disappeared instantly. The sudden terrifying speed almost blew Kalio away. Fortunately, she kept holding Huaxian. This time the hug was tighter. As for Huaxian, although he was an ordinary person, Orson built a defensive barrier in front of him, and the speed did not have any effect on him. Kalia's nervousness was all caused by inertia. After I got used to it, I was shocked. Looking at the after images flashing by on both sides, I couldn't help but ask, "Husband, what realm is Orson at? This speed is too terrifying." "Secret. Hubby, there's no outsider here. So just tell me, okay?" Tianting Kalia started to act coquettously. "I have to say, this is a woman's killer weapon." Huaxian couldn't resist immediately. "Okay, I'll tell you. Orson is now in the realm of True God." "What?" Kalia was shocked to the extreme and couldn't recover for a long time. After 3 full minutes, she said in disbelief, "Husband, did I hear you wrong? You said Orson is at the level of a true god?" "You heard it right, Orson is at the level of a true god." "What about you, husband?" "I used to be very powerful, but now I'm cursed and I'm just an ordinary person. I have to start all over again," Huaxian said somewhat depressed. "Honey, I'm sorry for bringing up your sad story. There's nothing to be sad about, it can be considered as experience. Well, I will go through it with my husband. Next, Orson hurried at full speed, getting faster and faster. Along the way, no living being could feel it. Even when passing by a creature, I would only feel a gust of wind. I was just wondering how the gust of wind could suddenly appear. About 3 hours. The towering mountain that stretches for thousands of miles soars into the clouds and exudes an aura of spirituality comes into view. Achan Ting Kalia said, "Husband, that is where the Demon Sect's mountain gate is." On the mountainside, a small hill was cut into a huge square, and right above it was the majestic gate of the Demon Sect. Except for elders and above, other disciples are not allowed to fly above the Demon Sect unless there are special circumstances. In addition, disciples who have not yet entered the sect cannot appear directly at the mountain gate. They need to hike up the hill below before they are qualified to worship at the mountain gate and receive the assessment. Hearing this, Huaxian nodded. He also didn't want to expose Orson. So he said, "Orson, land right below. And we will go to the Demon Sect on foot." "Yes, master." Orson landed on the road below in an instant. After Huaxian and Tian Ting Kalia came down, they immediately turned into another pug. Looks harmless and extremely cute. The two men and the wolf walked towards the foot of the mountain. Along the way, you can meet many people who are not disciples of the Demon Sect. Judging from their appearance, they seem to be hanging out near the Demon Sect. Huaxian looked around and had to admit that the environment around the Demon Sect was very beautiful and indeed suitable for sightseeing. Look, a disciple of the Demon Sect, and a beautiful lady at that. Someone saw Dragonfly Kalia screaming. More people looked over. Noticing Huaxian, some people became puzzled. That guy looks like an ordinary person. How could he be with the disciples of the Demon Sect? It seems that they have a close relationship, probably a family relationship. He probably brought his family members through the back door to see if he could join the Demon Sect. Oh, I really envy those people with connections. There was a lot of discussion, and some people were deliberately speaking loudly, as if they were afraid that Huaxian couldn't hear it. Huaxian was too lazy to pay attention to these people, but some people are self-righteous. I saw a young man walking over. He is elegantly dressed and has a graceful demeanor. Most girls have stars in their eyes when they look at him. The young man was also very confident and came directly to the heavenly court. "Kalia, my dear lady from the Demon Sect, I am the young master of Crazy Demon Town, Demon Bull Hua White. It is an honor to meet you. I wonder if we can be friends." After introducing himself confidently, he extended his hand. When the people around heard the young man's introduction, they were shocked. "Oh my god, the young master of Crazy Demon Town is a first-rate town. Second only to a fifth-rate city. His status and position is terrifying." "Yes, I heard that in the future. Crazy Demon Town is very likely to be promoted to a fifth-rate city, so he will be the young city lord of the future. I was saying that this guy is extraordinary. I didn't expect that he is the young master of Crazy Demon Town. A first-class important town. I wish I could be his partner." There was a lot of discussion around. When the Demon Bull Huawei heard these people's discussions, he smiled and became more confident. Chapter 867, Betting. But Achan Ting Kalia said coldly, "Sorry. I don't need a friend like you, get out of the way." As soon as these words were spoken, the noisy scene immediately quieted down. Everyone looked at Heavenly Kalia in disbelief. "I thought, judging from the way you are dressed, you are just an ordinary outer disciple of the Demon Sect. How can you be so aloof?" In their opinion, it would be easy for the Demon Bull Huawei to join the Demon Sect, and his status and position would definitely not be bad. It was her blessing to be able to look upon Kalia. The Demon Bull Huawei was also stunned. It took him a while to react, and he asked in disbelief, "What else did you say?" "I said, I don't need friends like you, get out of the way." Kalia's voice became even colder. It was affirmed and the scene was even more shocking. Pretending to be noble, if it were me, I would immediately want to throw myself into the arms of the magic Bull Huawei T and let him love me. That's right, he is the young master of a first-class town. His status is no worse than that of an ordinary outer sect disciple of the Demon Sect. How could you look down on him? You are blind. Countless girls cursed with envy. The devil Bull Hua White looked very sad and aggrieved, and asked again, "Girl, do I disgust you?" Seeing this, many girls around him were heartbroken and wanted to love him deeply. "I am extremely envious of Kalia." Sky Dragon Kalia frowned and said with great disgust, "Get lost. This is the first time I, Kalia, have seen such a disgusting man like you. I just want to throw up." As soon as these words were spoken, the face of the demon Bull Huawei T also turned gloomy. "It was the first time that I was insulted by a woman in front of so many people. Hey, even if you are a disciple of the Demon Sect, so what? How can you treat my idol like this?" "That's right. You're just a bitchet. Your blessing that my man loves you, but you don't know how to cherish it. If it were me, I would have gone straight to bed with my idol." Dragonfly Kalia was furious. Uxian said coldly, "Shut up. Don't forget who you are. How dare you humiliate the disciples of the demon sect like this? Are you tired of living? Hearing this, the girls who had lost their minds trembled and their faces turned pale instantly. It suddenly dawned on me. Yes, insulting the disciples of the demon sect in their own territory is simply seeking death. Countless people felt a chill on their backs and cold sweat broke out instantly. And you, I don't care if you are the young town master or some Omaha dog, do you think you can have any ideas about my wife? Huaxian said coldly to the demon bull Huawei. The already gloomy face of the demon bull Warwit became even gloomier. He frowned and looked at Huaxian and said, Boy, you are an ordinary person, and you dare to talk to me like this. You are very arrogant. I was also a little surprised. The girl from the demon sect was actually this guy's wife? You were still playing in the mud when I was mad. Why don't you get out of here? Huaxian's tone became uglier and uglier. Everyone around him was sweating for him. After all, it would be easy for an ordinary person to get into trouble if he was so crazy. Boy, I have to admit that you irritated me. Since you can win the heart of the female disciple of the demon sect, you must have some skills. Do you dare to fight? Does he dare? He's just a waste. Huaxian looked at him, saw through his identity at a glance, shook his head and said, A demon has become a lackey of other races. Are you qualified to talk to me? You are outrageous. The follower was extremely angry. No one knew that this was his Achilles heel. Huaxian shook his head and ignored him. He looked at the demon bull Huawei and said, If we want to compete, then we have to compete with difficulty. I came here today just to join the demon sect. If you have the guts, compete with me and see who can join the demon sect. Unfortunately, I am here to join the demon sect as well. Really? Then let's compare them. Do have connections, so it won't be difficult for you to join the demon sect. I am gifted, so I will definitely be able to join the demon sect as well. So how can we decide who wins? The demon bull Huawei said confidently. Especially when he mentioned the word gifted, he raised his voice even more. Huaxian smiled and said, Then you are not simple. It depends on who has a higher status after joining the demon sect. Okay. But since it's a bet, there has to be a stake. Okay, go ahead. Huaxian looked relaxed throughout the whole process, which made people wonder where his confidence came from. The demon bull Huawei glanced at Dragonfly Kalia and said, If you lose, I want her to be my woman, and you to be my dog. Dragonfly Kalia's face instantly turned cold. Just about to speak, Huaxian interrupted, If you lose, you must swear to be my slave. You still want me to be your slave? You ray dreaming. Huaxian shook his head and said, Let's not waste any more time talking. Let's climb up to the demon sect's mountain gate first. After saying that, he pulled Sky Dragon Kalia towards the mountain gate. There are no disciples guarding the mountain gate, and anyone can go up. However, there are 9,000 steps in the stairs, and with the help of a gravity formation, ordinary people cannot climb up at all. There are also many practitioners on the stairs trying. Even for people with cultivation, walking on the stairs is difficult. Only those who wear the demon sect disciple token can pass through unimpeded. Only Kalia knew that the higher the level of cultivation of an outsider, the greater the impact he would have when walking on the stairs. Those who didn't know all looked at Huaxian. The demon bull Huawei said, The gravity of each step of this staircase is increasing. I'm afraid you can't even climb up this staircase. Huaxian smiled slightly, said nothing, and walked up the stairs. Everyone in the audience, including those on the stairs, looked at Huaxian. Huaxian felt a weak gravity, but for him, it didn't matter even if his cultivation was sealed. He took a step down, then quickened his pace and walked upwards. Dragonfly Kalia followed closely behind. As for Orson, he followed along completely unaffected. Before anyone could react, Huaxian had already walked a long way away. Everyone was shocked. The demon bull Huawei frowned, realizing that this guy was not simple. Damn, could he be a disciple of the demon sect disguised as an ordinary person? I think so too. I have climbed the mountain stairs like him as a martial artist. 1,000 steps is my limit. That's right, I've only taken 1,300 steps. Look at him, he has almost taken 2,000 steps. The scene went into an uproar. The demon bull Huawei obviously didn't know Otiikan's secret either, and frowned. Kalia, didn't you lend him your demon sect's identity card for security? Kalia said coldly, Our demon sect's identity card is recognized by the soul mark, so it is useless to lend it to others. My husband is so good that he scared you. Just admit defeat now. Is he considered excellent? You may have never seen anyone excellent. After saying that, he stepped onto the Tiikan. Chapter 868. Direct, Chief Disciple. As he walked up the embankment, the demon bull Huawei realized that things were not that simple. Gravity will actually increase due to one's own cultivation. In other words, no matter whether you are a cultivator or not, the formation on the ground will automatically match the appropriate gravity. So looked at Huaxian. This guy is really walking briskly despite gravity. There's something strange. Although he felt the strong gravity, he, the magic bull Huawei, was a genius and was naturally not scared. Follow Wu Xian's example and quicken your pace. When I had walked almost 1,000 steps, I suddenly felt an enormous pressure and cold sweat broke out on my forehead. Looking up at Hu Xian, he had already walked halfway. And the speed remains the same, as if there is no pressure. How could he have known that climbing the ladder to heaven is 1,000 times more difficult than this step, and Hu Xian could still do it with great speed? So what is this little bit of pressure now? The people watching were also shocked. In the competition between a person with cultivation and a person without cultivation, the one without cultivation actually has the upper hand. I seriously doubt that guy is not affected by the gravity formation on Tekan. He must be a relative of his. There is something strange about him. The demon bull Huawei climbed the mountain gate based on his strength. There was a lot of discussion at the scene. When the magic bull would walk to the middle under increasing pressure. Hu Xian is almost at the top. Although this was not a competition yet, he was at a disadvantage halfway through, which made him very unhappy. Extremely unhappy. On the demon sect side, a group of senior executives are discussing something. Suddenly, the crystal screen above the main hall lit up. It immediately attracted the attention of the high-ranking members of the demon sect present. You know, this screen is connected to all the important places in the demon sect, and it will only light up when a very important situation occurs. Everyone is curious, what caused the screen reaction this time? Soon, the climbing steps at the mountain entrance and the image of Hu Xian about to reach the summit appeared on the screen. Oh my god, this guy has no skills at all, but he managed to reach the top in one breath? Someone exclaimed. Only they knew that this meant that the person who climbed the mountain gate was not simple. This guy is followed by the Dragonfly Kalia. Could he be the devil big lucky star mentioned by the devil Shakhan? That's right, apart from him, I can't think of anyone else who is so evil. I didn't expect him to come so soon. It seems he is going to participate in the assessment of my demon sect, but why doesn't he have any cultivation? If the clan has any doubts, they can ask Yanlong Kalia and find out. No hurry, let's wait until his assessment is over. Let's go and take a look. Then, a group of senior officials left the hall. At the mountain gate, Hu Xian reached the summit without even taking a breath. Everyone who witnessed this scene was shocked. Looking at the demon bull Huawei, he was panting and sweating profusely at this moment. He had only walked 3/4 of the distance. The last journey was extremely difficult for him. His steps were slow, but he persisted. At this moment, he finally understood that the disciples who were able to ascend to the demon sect's mountain gate to take part in the assessment were not simple in themselves. No wonder all the disciples of the demon sect were so evil. I am a top-notch genius in crazy demon town, but now it is so difficult for me to climb the stairs at the mountain gate. I don't know what kind of talent and status I would have if I entered the demon sect. Suddenly I wasn't so confident anymore. Under the attention of the whole audience, another quarter of an hour passed. The demon bull Huawei finally reached the gate of the demon sect with his strong willpower. Ding dong. But he was so tired that he collapsed on the ground, forming a sharp contrast with Hu Xian next to him. Facing the stairs of Hu Xian and Tiantinkalia, the demon bull Huawei felt his face burning. It's just a mountain climbing entrance. I don't think you can be better than me in the following tests. At this time, an old man arrived. All eyes fell on the old man. After seeing his identity from the ID card on his waist, he was shocked. This person is actually an inner sect elder of the demon sect. Why would someone's assessment attract the attention of the demon sect's inner sect elders? The demon bull Huawei quickly stood up, diddied himself up, and was about to speak with a smile. But he found that the elder of the demon sect walked straight up to Hu Xian. I suddenly had a bad feeling. Sure enough, the elder asked, "What's your name?" "The Devil's Lucky Star." Hu Xian replied with a smile. Everyone then noticed that Hu Xian remained calm when facing the inner sect elders of the demon sect, the real top leaders. This courage not only satisfied the elder, but also the higher-ups in the dark. This boy is worthy of being called the Devil's Lucky Star. He is truly amazing with such courage. His future achievements are immeasurable. This boy may be able to take on great responsibilities. The elder in front of Hu Xian smiled with satisfaction. Not bad. You can remain calm in front of me. You are very good. Elder, I'm not bad either. The demon bull Huawei said anxiously. I feel very uncomfortable. The elder looked at him, smiled and shook his head, saying, the entrance to the mountain gate of our demon sect has a total of 9,000 steps. If you can reach the entrance without any pressure in one breath, you can be exempted from the subsequent assessment and directly join the demon sect. Moreover, he is directly the chief disciple of the inner sect of the demon sect. What? The demon bull Huawei was dumbfounded. A bet hasn't even started yet and I've already lost. Everyone knows that the chief disciple is the most powerful and top disciple in every sect. It is said that he holds a status no less than that of an elder. After the elder finished speaking, he ignored the shocked people, stared at Huaxian and asked, "I wonder if you are willing to join my demon sect and become the chief disciple?" Huaxian still looked calm, as if the chief disciple had no appeal to him at all, and said calmly, "Okay." Such a scene caused an uproar at the scene. This guy must be related, maybe he is the illegitimate son of the demon sect's leader. I think so too, it must be. Otherwise how could an ordinary person soar to the sky? No, you can't do this, I don't accept it. The demon bull Huiwei roared angrily. "What are you dissatisfied with?" asked the elder. The demon bull Huiwei roared loudly. "I don't think his talent is better than mine. He was able to climb the mountain gate in one breath, but he was just taking advantage of the situation. Are you questioning my cheating in the demon sect?" An air of indifference enveloped him. The demon bull Huiwei's body trembled, and his voice became softer. He said to Huaxian, "You make a bet with me. Do you dare to test your talent with me? If your talent is better than mine, I am willing to admit defeat." Everyone's eyes were on Huaxian. Huaxian said calmly, "It's just a talent test. It just so happens that I also want to know what my talent is." And he looked at the elder and said, "Please make the arrangements, elder." The elder nodded and said, "Follow me. I am also very curious about Huaxian's talent." Chapter 816 Scene, Talent Competition. Inner Sect of the Demon Sect. Talent Testing Room. This is not a talent testing room for ordinary disciples. Only inner sect disciples and above are qualified to take the test here. However, the elder brought them here directly, which shows how much he values the upcoming talent test. When Huaxian and Moanai Yuhuai arrived here, they found that a large group of senior executives were already waiting there. The demon bull Huiwei did not expect that he would come to the inner gate to test his talent. He glanced at Huaxian, but no longer thought that it was because of himself, so it must be because of him. What is this guy's identity? Why does the demon sect pay so much attention to him? I was filled with doubts. At this time, a group of high-ranking members of the demon sect came to greet them. The leader of the sect said with great enthusiasm, "Devil's Great Fortune Star, I am the leader of the demon sect. Demon Tahan Qun. Devil's Great Fortune Star, I am the great elder of the demon sect, Demon Yanjin Metal. Devil's Lucky Star, I am the second elder of the demon sect." Looking at these senior executives, each of them introduced themselves to Huaxian in a friendly manner, as if they were welcoming an important figure. Demon Bull Huiwei was stunned with shock. Looking at Huaxian's back, I wondered what kind of monster I had provoked. Huaxian remained calm throughout the whole process, and he remained composed and felt no pressure at all when facing the high-level officials of the demon sect. This scene was even recognized by the top leaders of the demon sect. Only with such a character could one reach the top of the demon sect's mountain gate in one breath. My fellow demon sect leaders, let's test your talents first. Someone made a small bet with me, and he seems very unconvinced. This guy is really brave to bet with the chief disciple. It just so happens that we are also curious about the identity of the chief disciple, so let's start the talent test. The clan leader said with a smile and took the lead into the testing room. At this moment, the demon bull Huiwei had no confidence at all. He smiled bitterly. Things had come to this point and he could only take one step at a time. When we arrived at the test room, we saw at first glance that the space inside was huge, with hundreds of advanced testing instruments, and it was not crowded at all. Buzz. At this moment, one of the testing instruments suddenly lit up with a dazzling light. And the movement was so huge that it was shocking. This made everyone present couldn't help but subconsciously look at the crystal screen of the instrument. The words "Greatest Bloodline" were displayed on the screen, and the talent test had not yet ended. "Who is testing this?" asked the clan leader. The disciple in charge of the tests said respectfully, "Master and elders, it is the senior sister, the demon Liz Govaya, who is conducting the test." An elder was watching the test that had not yet ended, and said in surprise, "I remember correctly, the demon Liz Govaya's previous talent was the Great Ultimate Primary, right? It's already a top-grade primary talent, and the test hasn't ended yet. Does that mean that the demon Liz Govaya is very likely to have a breakthrough in talent?" The others nodded repeatedly. The master said, "The blood of the demon Liz Govaya is extraordinary and has infinite potential. She should have made further progress. In this way, my demon sect finally has a presentable disciple." Everyone nodded in agreement. They were not in a hurry to test Huaxian and the demon bull Huiwei. They were all watching the test of the demon Liz Govaya, wanting to know to what extent her talent had been improved. You know, the demon Liz Govaya is the demon sect's current #1 genius and the strongest person, known as the eldest sister. The wait was short. The test of the demon Liz Govaya finally came to a halt. Bye. The clan leader was the first to sigh. Others also felt sorry. A pinnacle of supreme bloodline talent, just a little bit away from becoming a super quality bloodline. Unfortunately, I failed to break through. At this time, the test instrument is turned on. The demon Lizgovaya came out. Also a look of regret. Seeing the sect master and others, he asked in confusion, "Sect master? Elders, why are you all here?" The great elder said, "We have a disciple who can climb the mountain gate in one breath without any pressure. Now we are bringing him here to test his talent." A demon Lizgovaya's gaze subconsciously fell on the stranger Huxian and the demon Bulhwawi. Huxian also looked curiously at the demon Lizgovaya wearing a special mask. Based on his experience and judging from her figure, she was definitely a super beauty, probably no less than a legendary level, but he didn't know what kind of legend she was. As for the demon Bulwalwit, he was so obsessed with the figure of the demon Lizgovaya that he was stunned. S look also made the demon Lizgovaya ignore him and finally stare at Huxian. I couldn't help but ask, "Are you the one who climbed up the mountain gate in one breath?" Huxian nodded. "It's me." "You are so confident. I am curious about what kind of talent you have to be so outstanding." Huxian smiled and said, "I am also curious about my talent." The clan leader said, "In that case, let's start the test. I'll go first." The demon bull Walwood rushed into the testing apparatus where the demon Lizgovaya came out. I thought to myself, this is an instrument that has been tested by the goddess. Would being in it mean that I am closer to the goddess? After walking in, the lingering scent of the demon Lizgovaya made him extremely excited. I exclaimed inwardly, "She is indeed a goddess. The lingering fragrance is so charming, I must pursue her." The instrument is shut down and the test begins. Huxian walked to another instrument next to him, turned it on and walked in. In response to this, everyone's eyes fell on the instrument he was on. After the instrument was turned on, it responded instantly. He is not afraid that the demon Bulhwawi will enter the instrument first, nor will he react as quickly as the instrument where Huxian is. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. A reaction of the instrument is based on talent. The better the talent of the person, the more sensitive the instrument is and the faster the natural reaction will be. Huxian is undoubtedly one of these. At this moment, no one cared about the test of the magic Bulhwawi, and their eyes were fixed on the instrument screen where Huxian was. Everyone is looking forward to seeing what kind of terrifying talent he has. Buzz. The instrument made a slight roar, and the secondary bloodline arrived. Waited a few seconds. There was another roar, and the ordinary blood arrived. Also within a few seconds, the medium bloodline arrived. It took no more than 20 seconds to test 3 bloodlines in succession. This scene shocked everyone present, and then they were filled with smiles and anticipation. After all, the people being tested are from the demon sect. Let's look at the demon Bulhwawi, who has just tested out his ordinary bloodline talent. Boom! This time there was a loud bang. As expected, high-level bloodline talent appeared. And the instrument is still changing rapidly. Less than 30 seconds. Boom! With a loud bang, the ultimate bloodline talent appeared. Everyone in the demon sect was extremely excited. That's because of the appearance of top-grade bloodline talent. The speed of the instrument is still very fast. Sure enough, in less than a minute, the ultimate talent appeared. They also became nervous, worrying whether Huxian could break through to the ultimate bloodline talent. Chapter 870. Forbidden Land. Boom! With a loud bang, the talent test broke through. The whole audience was shocked. He stared at the instrument screen in disbelief. And I became extremely excited. Super bloodline talent appeared. Every high-ranking member of the demon sect was trembling, with an excitement in their hearts that was indescribable. However, just when they hadn't adapted yet. Boom! A deafening sound, like thunder, resounded throughout the testing room. Their bodies trembled violently and they stared at the talent test screen in disbelief. Someone muttered in shock, royal blood. He stutters when he speaks. Huxian doesn't want to be too high profile. The system suppresses my talent to the peak of royal bloodline. With the suppression of the system, the pace of the talent test finally slowed down. Even so, looking at the talent that was still on the rise, the demon sect's high-ranking officials clenched their fists, feeling nervous and excited. For them, super-grade bloodline talent is already amazing, and royal bloodline talent is simply unimaginable. But now it appears before my eyes, and my heart is numb with excitement. Finally, when the talent reached the peak of the king's bloodline, the instrument test was completed. Damn, congratulations on testing out the peak talent of the king's bloodline. The instrument actually opened its mouth to congratulate. It also made everyone come back to their senses. The instrument turned on automatically and Huxian walked out, smiling and confident. The senior sister looked at Huxian and found him to be very handsome. She couldn't help but be moved. Huxian's eyes fell on the instrument next to him. When everyone noticed this scene, they remembered that there was another guy testing talent. They all looked over subconsciously. Just in time, the instrument test is finished. High-level bloodline talent. The instrument was turned on and the demon bull Huawei came out. Seeing that everyone was looking at him, he said proudly, "What do you think? I am very talented, right?" Huaxian smiled and nodded. "It's really amazing, not too far from me." Everyone laughed when they heard this. The demon bull Huawei frowned and said in a deep voice, "What do you mean?" The eldest sister demon Lizgovia pointed to the instrument next to her and said, "Little guy, take a look for yourself." The demon bull Walwood looked in the direction pointed by the demon Lizgovia. When I saw the talent level displayed on the instrument, I was stunned. After a while, he asked in disbelief, "Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How could you be a king with the highest talent? It must be fake, you lied to me." The sect master said, "There are so many high-ranking members of our demon sect here, and I am here to testify you actually said it was fake. Are you questioning us?" The tone was quite gentle after all. The high-level talents of the demon bull Huawei were not too bad. Huaxian smiled and said, "You lose, and you will be my slave from now on." The body of the demon bull Huawei trembled violently, feeling very unwilling. "Why, you can't afford to lose." Kalia from the Heavenly Court, who was not far away, came over and said. She had always been there, but the people present were all high-ranking members of the demon sect, and she was an outer disciple, so she had no say and could only wait from a distance. But now, seeing that her man had tested positive for the king's bloodline talent, she became more confident. "So what if I'm bad? My man is awesome." "Hubby, you are awesome." The high-ranking members of the demon sect who were originally frowning, when they heard Kalia address Huaxian, they looked at each other and immediately understood. The sect master glanced at her disciple ID card and said with a smile, "Since you are the wife of the chief disciple, I will make an exception and allow you to become an inner disciple." "Thank you, sect master." Ayunting Kalia was extremely excited. She threw herself into Huaxian's arms, full of admiration. If it weren't for him, she would never have the chance to enter the inner gate of the demon sect in her life. "Lucky star, now that the talent test is over, please follow me," the sect leader said to Huaxian. After walking a few steps, he stopped and said to the others, "The fact that the great fortune star has tested out the king's blood talent must not be leaked to anyone, otherwise they will be killed without mercy." When he uttered the last few words, a terrifying murderous aura erupted. Those with low cultivation level turned pale and terrified. Ding dong! The demon bull Huawei was so frightened that he knelt down. Huaxian pulled Tianting Kalia and followed the sect leader away. Walk all the way to the back mountain. The further Kalia walked, the more frightened he became, because he knew that the mountain at the back was the sect's forbidden area, and no one except the sect master was allowed to enter. Now, is the sect leader going to take her husband to the forbidden area? No surprise. When the sect leader arrived at the entrance to the forbidden area in the back mountain, he stopped. He looked at Kalia. Kalia's body trembled and his face turned pale. Huaxian said, "Master, my wife won't follow me, right?" The clan leader smiled bitterly and said, "Well, let's go in together." After saying that, he took out a formation key, squatted down, and placed it on the uneven ground. Immediately, the formation portal opened. The leader said, "Go in." Huaxian nodded and pulled Kalia in. The sect leader then put away the key and rushed in quickly. There is no way. After removing the key, the portal closes at an extremely fast speed. After entering the forbidden area, Kalia was stunned with shock. The demonic power inside is more than 100 times that of the outside world. "I thought if I practice in such an environment, even a loser can soar to the sky. How is the demonic power here?" The clan leader asked with a smile. "It's very rich, very rich." "It's shocking," said Kalia. Huaxian said calmly, "Normally, there should be a demon Ragan spirit vein here." "You actually know the demon Ragan spirit vein?" The sect leader was shocked. Huaxian nodded and said, "I've seen it in ancient books. My boy, I know you are not simple, so I don't have any requirements for you. Since you have joined my demon sect, I hope you will treat the demon sect sincerely." Huaxian nodded, "Master. Don't worry, the demon sect will be my home from now on." These words were spoken sincerely. After all, the system's task was to make him the leader of the demon sect. When the clan leader heard this and saw that Huaxian looked sincere, he was extremely happy. "You have a conscience. Come with me." Following the sect leader, we walked down a winding path. The deeper you go, the stronger the demonic power becomes. At Qinlong, Kalia almost couldn't help but practice on the spot. Soon, we arrived at the depths and found a bamboo forest. However, this is not ordinary bamboo, it is all magic bamboo. Each one exudes a strong demonic spiritual power. There are still many bamboo shoots on the ground. After Huaxian looked at it, he said, "Those are good ingredients. If I cook them, I can help you improve your cultivation further." "What?" When the sect leader heard this, he cried out in shock and stared at Huaxian in disbelief. After a while, he said, "You mean You can make food supplements, or food supplements that can help people break through after eating them? Yeah, Huaxian nodded. Chapter 871 Stealing a Disciple. The clan leader was skeptical after all. Any chef who could make food supplements was an old man who had spent his entire life studying cooking. When Huaxian was tested before, the bone age instrument showed he was 27 years old. At this age, even if you start studying cooking since you were in your mother's womb, you won't be very good at it. And the divine chef who can create recipes that can improve people's cultivation is 1 in billion. She is a terrifying existence comparable to a true god. Since your cooking skills are so good, when you meet the sex ancestor later, ask for permission to pick some bamboo shoots to see your cooking skills. Good. After walking for a while, a row of bamboo houses appeared deep in the bamboo forest. 3 people were playing chess in a small yard. 2 old men were playing chess, and an old woman was making tea and watching. Noticed someone coming. The 3 old men stopped what they were doing and looked over. Seeing the sect leader coming with 2 young men, they all became confused. Especially one of them is an ordinary person. As they approached, an old man asked with dissatisfaction, Demon Han Group, what's going on with you? The Demon Han Group smiled and said, old ancestor, you can see for yourself. Opened the surveillance video of Huaxian climbing the mountain gate and testing his talent. Immediately, the 3 of them looked at the video. When they saw Huaxian climb the mountain gate in one breath and without any pressure, they were all shocked. An old man instantly appeared in front of Huaxian and grabbed his wrist to examine it. The other to watch the talent test video. It's strange, just normal, nothing special, the old man who was investigating Huaxian muttered in confusion. Look. The other 2 old men suddenly spoke in unison. Upon seeing this, the old man looked at the talent test video in confusion. What? After seeing it, he screamed. King's blood talent. It was not until the talent test in the video was over that they reacted and their eyes fell on Huaxian. The king's bloodline has the highest talent. What's your name? You 3 elders. I am the Devil's Lucky Star. Devil's Lucky Star? You are blessed to have the peak talent of the king's bloodline. The 3 old men gathered around and looked at Huaxian, becoming more and more satisfied the more they looked. It just so happens that I don't have any apprentices. You can be my apprentice, the old woman spoke first. Demon Yak Sai, you are being ridiculous. Your apprentices have all gone to the Magic and Martial Arts Academy. How can you say you have no apprentices? Besides, it is not convenient for a woman like you to teach male apprentices. An old man said, then looked at Huaxian and said, boy, be my apprentice, I promise. Don't fight over the demon Ragan source. It just so happens that I haven't accepted a disciple for a long time, so I'll accept this one. Demon Mo Wentian, as the boss. It's not good for you to snatch disciples from us. You 2 grown men, are you ashamed to compete with a weak woman like me for my apprentice? After the devil Yak Sai finished speaking, he looked at Huaxian and said, boy, why don't you become my disciple? Let me tell you, all my disciples are female, and they are all beautiful. If you become my disciple, you will have many opportunities. Devil Yak Sai, you are going too far. How can you seduce a disciple? What do you mean by seduction? They are senior brothers and sisters, so it's normal for them to be attracted to each other. 3 elders, please stop arguing. All about this, all 3 of you become my masters. That's fine, I'm the boss, so I'm naturally your master chef. I am the 2nd oldest, the 2nd master. The demon shocks you, I said, depressed lie. You are simply bullying people. Hey, how are you bullying me? According to the ranking, this isn't too much, right? 3 ancestors, there is one more thing. The sect leader said. What is it? The 3 asked in unison. It was the chief disciple, Da Foxing, who said that he has superb cooking skills and can use magic bamboo shoots to make delicious dishes that can help people break through their cultivation. What? The 3 people's eyes immediately fell on Huaxian. The demon Yak Sai questioned, disciple, are you sure you are not joking? Huaxian smiled and said, master, how dare I deceive you? Seeing Huaxian so confident, they looked at each other and became a little excited. You know, their cultivation has been stagnant for hundreds of years. If this continues, old age and death will be waiting for them. In that case, I will go get some bamboo shoots and try my cooking skills, said the demon Long Yuan. Okay. 3 masters, please wait a moment, sect master. After saying that, he pulled the demon Kalia to pick bamboo shoots. Who is that girl? Asked the devil Mo Wentian. The sect leader smiled bitterly and said, she is the cultivation partner of the Great Fortune Star. Although her talent and cultivation are very ordinary, she is deeply loved by the Great Fortune Star. I see. Well, for a cultivator to not despise the weak and treat everyone equally is a rare state of mind. Let's continue playing chess. Huaxian led the demon Kalia into the depths of the bamboo forest. We encountered many bamboo shoots along the way. Huaxian doesn't pick any of them. Demon Kalia couldn't help but ask, "Husband, aren't those bamboo shoots good?" Uexien smiled and said, "Okay, they are all good. But since we want to make delicious food, we must pick the best bamboo shoots. Just wait when you eat the delicious food your husband prepares. Your cultivation will surely improve by leaps and bounds." Demon Kalia believed Uexian's words without a doubt, and was looking forward to it very much. Chuckle. Suddenly I heard a rooster crow. "Honey, there seems to be a bamboo partridge over there," the devil Kalia said in surprise. Uexian smiled and said, "Not only bamboo chickens, look at what this is." Uexian picked up a brown bug and said, "Wow! This is a bamboo shoot wormet, it's so big the devil's spiritual power is rushing to my lungs, honey. This bamboo shoot worm is very nutritious, right? Well, it's really good. Grab some more and it will be delicious again. And I'll catch them together." Demon Kalia excitedly helped catch bamboo shoot worms. I have to say that there are a lot of bamboo shoot insects in the magic bamboo. In less than a quarter of an hour, hundreds of them were caught. We also saw bamboo partridges. Wife, let's see if we can catch some bamboo partridges. Well, I'll give it a try. Demon Kalia rushed towards a bamboo chicken. Cluck, cluck. The bamboo partridge screamed and flew away at a very fast speed, so it was obviously impossible to catch it. The Demon Kalia rushed towards the next one. Uexian picked bamboo shoots. After a long time, the Demon Kalia came back dejectedly. "Husband, am I so useless that I can't even catch a bamboo chicken?" Uexian smiled and touched her head, saying, "Silly girl, even though these bamboo partridges look ordinary, their cultivation level is higher than yours. It's normal that you can't catch them. Let's go back and cook, and come back to catch them when your cultivation